Standing before Chen Tianli, Ye Chen looks up with sheer determination and declares that he will never take this dragon vein. Chen Tianli asks him if he truly understands what he is saying, to which Ye Chen confidently replies that he does. Impressed by his resolve, Chen Tianli bursts into laughter, declaring that the Samsara Cemetery indeed chose the right person. Chen Tianli praises Ye Chen, saying that if he had bad intentions, he would have fooled him, but instead he is willing to teach him his lifelong skills. However, upon examining Ye Chen's head, Chen Tianli laments how weak Ye Chen's current realm is, noting that he cannot yet comprehend most of these unique skills. Ye Chen retorts that if he were already strong enough, he wouldn't need help, and urges them not to waste precious time. He marvels at how several powerful figures showed up on their own. Chen Tianli then explains his reason for appearing, advising Ye Chen to utilize the dragon vein here to practice for a day and break through his current realms. When Ye Chen worries that he won't survive a single day in the extreme heat, Chen Tianli reassures him that he will repair the local formation to protect him. Suddenly, Chen Tianli launches Ye Chen into the cultivation area, telling him to practice immediately while he protects him for the next 24 hours. Outside the cave entrance, Bailey Xiang and his daughter worry about Ye Chen's safety. Bailey Xiang warns that if Ye Chen remains inside for too long, the exploding dragon energy will cause temperatures to skyrocket to thousands of degrees, and the entrance will seal shut, trapping him inside. As the cave entrance seals shut with a heavy thud, panic ensues among the group. While some express faith in Ye Chen's abilities, a worried Bailey Xiang decides that they must gather enough people to force the stone entrance open. Suddenly, Ye Chen's voice echoes from inside the cave, telling them to return to the capital and not to wait, as he will follow them in a day. Hearing this, Bailey Lanying rejoices that he is safe, and her father agrees to return to Beijing first while making alternative arrangements. A large military helicopter flies through the vast clear blue sky, carrying the group back to safety. Watching the helicopter depart, a man reports over the phone that the cave has sealed and Bailey Xiang is leaving. On the other end, his father assumes everyone else inside was wiped out, expressing relief that their family status remains safe and ordering him to return home. After hanging up, a bearded man with a knowing smile decides that it is best to keep any information regarding Ye Chen's survival to himself. Deep inside the boiling cave, Ye Chen sits in quiet meditation, enveloped in a protective sphere of blazing golden energy above the glowing molten lava. Observing the meditating youth, Chen Tianli quietly questions whether Ye Chen truly has what it takes to break their fate. He acknowledges that while reaching the Li He realm in his 20s is incredibly impressive for this world, it is still far below the standards of that other place. Doubt lingers in Chen Tianli's mind as he wonders if placing all their hopes on this young boy will truly work. Ultimately, he hopes that their efforts are not in vain, choosing to trust the decision made by the master of the reincarnation cemetery. Suddenly, a powerful surge of energy erupts around Ye Chen as he successfully breaks through to the second level of the Li He realm. Chen Tianli is utterly shocked by how quickly he achieved this in less than half a day, far exceeding his expectations. To Chen Tianli's surprise, Ye Chen shows no intention of stopping his cultivation even after breaking through. He notes that practicing in such an environment must feel like a painful, burning torture for someone of Ye Chen's realm, yet the boy endures it without a single complaint. Amused and highly intrigued by Ye Chen's greed for strength, Chen Tianli smiles widely and decides to fulfill his promise, allowing the boy to stay and train for the entire day while he continues to protect him. With his eyes flashing open, Ye Chen achieves another breakthrough, reaching the third level of the Li He realm. Feeling the terrifying power coursing through his hands, he marvels at how he managed to advance 2 small realms in just a single day. Chen Tianli barks at Ye Chen, revealing that he has actually been cultivating there for 3 whole days instead of 1. A shocked Ye Chen bows deeply to thank his seniors for their hard work, and Chen Tianli tells him that the sacrifice was well worth the immense gains. Chen Tianli instructs Ye Chen that it is time to leave the cave. Hearing this, Ye Chen looks up in surprise and asks if he is supposed to go alone. The vast volcanic cave glows with a warm crimson light as the young cultivator and his guide stand together in the rocky chamber. Ye Chen asks if Chen Tianli plans to leave him and act on his own. With a faint smile, Chen Tianli confirms his departure, stating that he must attend to some matters elsewhere for a few days and will rejoin him later. Ye Chen questions how that is possible, reminding him that spirits cannot wander far from the Samsara Cemetery. Chen Tianli agrees but reveals that he managed to obtain a drop of holy dragon water from the Qinling dragon vein over the past couple of days. With blue magical energy and a glowing spectral dragon swirling around him, Chen Tianli explains that by using the holy dragon water and a secret method, he can temporarily condense a physical body for up to 10 days. Chen Tianli notes that although this temporary physical body will significantly restrict his overall power, it will still provide him with enough strength to go out and accomplish what he needs to do. Chen Tianli floatingly explains that his actions are ultimately for Ye Chen's sake and for the Samsara Cemetery, revealing that this was his main motivation for appearing in the first place. Chen Tianli promises to meet Yi Chen again in 5 days and warns him to behave himself in the meantime. He cautions that the capital is far more complex than it appears, with hidden masters lurking in the dark who pose a genuine threat to his safety. Repeating the words 5 days, Ye Chen sighs with a grim expression, muttering that even if he doesn't actively seek out trouble, trouble has a way of finding him anyway. Chen Tianli gestures with a smile, telling Ye Chen that he has a special parting gift to bestow upon him before he departs. A brilliant, glowing pinkish-purple sword silhouette manifests in the air, radiating powerful spiritual energy in all directions. When Ye Chen asks if the glowing object is a sword, Chen Tianli explains that it is the Yu Yang sword, which is actually a powerful sword technique. He instructs Ye Chen to take it and mobilize it with his blood and energy when needed, promising that it will make him unmatched in China. Chen Tianli mentions that while he wants to teach Ye Chen more, the timing isn't right just yet. He promises to explain everything upon his return and urges him to leave the cave now. Chen Tianli flies ahead, calling for Ye Chen to follow him out, to which the young cultivator obediently agrees. With a deep rumble, the heavy stone door opens and Ye Chen steps outside. In the blink of an eye, Chen Tianli vanishes completely, leaving his destination a mystery. Just as Ye Chen steps out, 2 soldiers salute him respectfully, introducing themselves as members of the Iron Blood Battalion sent by General Bailey to wait for his arrival. Ye Chen calmly puts his hands in his pockets and begins his journey, telling the soldiers that it is time to head back to Beijing. Ye Chen suddenly pauses, his eyes narrowing as he spots a fresh set of footprints embedded in the dusty ground before him. Feeling a sudden chill, Ye Chen senses a wave of murderous intent coming from the direction of the footprints, noting that even the blood dragon within him has become restless. Kneeling down to closely inspect the tracks, Ye Chen realizes that someone has been secretly monitoring the area, leaving him to ponder who they are and what their true purpose could be. Returning to a modern apartment building, Ye Chen stands outside a familiar front door, reflecting on how long it has been since he was last home. Ye Chen opens the door and steps inside, calling out softly to announce his return. Upon hearing a playful voice from inside, Ye Chen is left confused, but is immediately greeted by delighted shouts welcoming him back. In the kitchen, 2 beautiful young women, Sun Yi and Sha Rockshui, are busy preparing a meal together, looking surprised and pleased to see him. Ye Chen is flabbergasted to see Sun Yi and Sha Rockshui in Beijing. His surprise deepens when his mother suddenly appears, welcoming him back and warmly inviting him to join them for the lunch they are preparing. Confused by the cooking arrangement, Ye Chen is playfully teased by his mother, who jokingly accuses him of forgetting her for his wealthy girlfriends. She winks and laughs about his impressive situation, leaving a sweating Ye Chen baffled by her jokes. Suddenly, Sun Yi leaps forward with a bright smile, throwing her arms around Ye Chen's neck to give him a warm, enthusiastic hug. Sun Yi proudly announces that their group's headquarters has moved to Beijing, predicting Ye Chen will become the richest man within 6 months. As she boasts of her success, a blushing Ye Chen nervously begs her to stop hugging him in front of his watching mother. Sha Rockshui chimes in, revealing that his mother spent the previous night asking numerous questions about their relationship, and that they even slept together, suggesting his mother is already fully supportive of them. With an exasperated expression, Ye Chen sweat drops and retorts that he is the one who cares, reminding them that she is still his mother and they should show at least some restraint. His mother then mentions that a beautiful female neighbor came looking for him earlier that morning, but ran away in a hurry after seeing Rockshui and Sun Yi there. Ye Chen looks surprised as he realizes that Wei Ying has come to find him. He worries that something might be wrong with her Shashuihan body and deeply regrets neglecting her while he was busy dealing with the dragon veins. Pulling out his phone, Ye Chen immediately calls Ying Qing, demanding to know Wei Ying's current location. Ying Qing informs him that Wei Ying is currently at the FK bar in Sanlitun, Beijing. Ye Chen is shocked and highly concerned due to her extremely low alcohol tolerance, ordering Ying Qing to send someone immediately to watch over her and make sure she doesn't drink a single drop of alcohol. Staring down at his phone, Ye Chen sighs with a worried expression, remembering how much Wei Ying sacrificed to help him break the ghost prison and resolving to ensure she doesn't make any mistakes. Ye Chen's eyes suddenly widen as he senses something unexpected happening nearby. Sun Yi and Sha Rockshui stand completely frozen, staring ahead with blank, utterly speechless expressions on their faces. Ye Chen's mother gives him a mischievous, playful smirk, teasing him about his complicated romantic situation. Sweat dropping, Ye Chen faces the girls while his mother exasperatedly advises him that if he wants to chase after other women, he shouldn't do it so openly right in front of them. Flustered, Ye Chen sheepishly explains that he has to head out for a bit, while the girls sigh, claiming they aren't the jealous type but still looking clearly unhappy. Xiao Roxu comments that the female neighbor seems kind-hearted and simple, and it would be bad if something happened to her. But before they can say more, Ye Chen quickly rushes out the door, telling them to eat without him. Inside a dimly lit nightclub, two sketchy-looking men notice a beautiful girl sitting at the bar, commenting that she is far more refined than the other women around. Feeling depressed, Wei Ying slumps over the bar counter, thinking about how close Ye Chen must be with the two beautiful girls living in his apartment. The bartender serves her a colorful cocktail, and she quietly thanks him. Wei Ying hesitates, remembering Ye Chen's warning never to drink without him, and decides to leave the glass untouched. Suddenly, the two men from the VIP booth approach her from behind, asking if she's lonely drinking by herself. One of the men aggressively grabs Wei Ying's shoulder with a sleazy grin, offering to accompany her to relieve her boredom. Before the man can do anything, a hand forcefully grabs and twists his wrist with a sharp crack, making him scream in agony as his friend yells in fury. Two imposing soldiers step in to protect Wei Ying, demanding to know what the troublemakers are doing. Terrified by the military presence, the two men flee the bar, while the soldier politely informs Wei Ying that Mr. Yi does not allow her to drink. As the soldier confiscates her drink, Wei Ying is left stunned, wondering how Ye Chen could possibly have the power to command such formidable soldiers to protect her. Just then, Ye Chen himself walks into the bar, announcing his return. Ye Chen stares deeply at Wei Ying, asking her with a stern and protective expression if she has been drinking. Wei Ying quickly reassures him that she didn't drink any alcohol and only came to sit. Ye Chen gently takes her by the hand, leading her out of the noisy bar to talk somewhere quieter as she blushes in embarrassment. They arrive at a quiet outdoor cafe with elegant greenery to have a serious conversation away from the loud music. Wei Ying asks where he has been all this time, mentioning she visited his place but only met his mother. Ye Chen deflects, telling her he was busy and that they need to discuss a very serious matter that requires her absolute answer. Flustered, Wei Ying's mind races as she wonders if he is about to confess to her. Instead, Ye Chen seriously asks if she wants to learn martial arts from him, completely deflating her romantic expectations and leaving her sweating in comedic disappointment. Wei Ying explains that she hates fighting and doesn't want him to be her master. Ye Chen bluntly warns her that without martial arts, her rare cold constitution will eventually kill her, pointing out that the Earth Spirit mystical stone protecting her has already cracked. Ye Chen raises his finger, preparing to transmit a powerful technique directly to her mind. Ye Chen taps Wei Ying's forehead, transmitting the cold heart technique to help suppress her volatile cold body. He tells her she has 3 days to mentally prepare before they begin training, declaring that he will save her life whether she likes it or not. As Ye Chen walks away, Wei Yin sits in silence, staring after him with mixed emotions. Staring down with tears in her eyes, Wei Ying tearfully whispers to herself that she isn't afraid of dying or unwilling to learn martial arts. She simply refuses to be just his apprentice. Meanwhile, at the luxurious estate of the Beijing Lin family, several powerful figures gather inside a grand meeting hall to hold an important discussion. Two formidable figures from the Blood Alliance, one with long blue hair and another with a metallic jaw guard, glare forward with cold, menacing expressions. Fanning himself casually, the blue-haired elder declares that the higher-ups are furious about the destruction of the Ghost Prison and the deaths of their Blood Alliance members, sneering that local forces have no right to touch them. A Lin family member reports that their investigation points directly to Ye Chen as the one behind the Ghost Prison raid, warning that China's top leader has repeatedly threatened them to protect Ye Chen, suggesting a powerful backer. The muscular giant furiously boasts that no force is stronger than the Blood Alliance, even offering to assassinate China's #1 leader. Terrified of the political consequences, the Lin family representative quickly begs him not to, promising to bring Ye Chen to them himself. A Lin family elder in a suit warns that the top leader is far too dangerous to touch and would trigger catastrophic retaliation. The blue-haired Blood Alliance elder relents and changes the subject, asking if they have heard about the Qinling Dragon Vein. The representative mentions he heard thousands died in the bloody conflict over the Dragon Vein and no one benefited. However, the flat-top giant corrects him, revealing that one person actually claimed all the benefits and stayed there for 3 whole days. Upon hearing the shocking piece of information, the Lin family members gasp in absolute disbelief. The patriarch of the Lin family is furious, explaining that they were delayed by Yi Tianzheng's affairs and missed the event, and is outraged to discover that someone succeeded in seizing all the spoils. The giant holds up a photo taken at the Dragon Vein, explaining that the kid must have possessed an incredible treasure to survive the extreme heat for 3 days, and demands that the Lin family capture both Ye Chen and the person in the photograph. The Lin family representative looks at the picture and is shocked to recognize the boy's face, realizing with horror that the person in the photo is none other than Ye Chen himself. The giant is stunned to learn that the Ghost Prison Destroyer and the Dragon Vein Cultivator are the same person. The Lin Patriarch notes that Yi Chen was a useless waste 5 years ago, suspecting he must have gone to the mysterious Kunlun Shu to undergo such a terrifying transformation. The representative looks nervous, haunted by the image of Yi Chen's overwhelming dragon-like martial prowess. The blue-haired Under reassures Julong that even in Kunlun Shu, their blood alliance is not to be trifled with. Reassured, Julong smiles wickedly and promises to deliver Ye Chen to them within 2 days. Meanwhile, Ye Chen arrives at a courtyard, waving his hand politely as he announces his arrival. Ye Chen walks into a quiet, traditional courtyard where an elderly man is drinking tea, warmly welcoming him and praising him as a young hero. The elderly man kindly invites Ye Chen to come over and take a seat, while a young woman stands closely behind his chair. A middle-aged man sitting at the table smiles warmly at Ye Chen, greeting him happily on their reunion. The young woman eyes Ye Chen arrogantly, wondering why her grandfather and Uncle Bailey are treating this random guy with so much respect, questioning if he truly has any real ability. Her grandfather immediately scolds her, telling her to stop talking nonsense and teasingly threatening to punish her again, making her sweat drop in comedic alarm. The elder introduces her as his granddaughter, Luo Rong, suggesting that since they are of similar age, they should hang out and get to know each other. Utterly uninterested in social pleasantries, Yi Chen gets straight to the point, declaring that he only came there to find out the location of the Lin family. Insulted by his cold indifference, Luo Rong explodes in anger, pointing her finger at Ye Chen and screaming that she has absolutely no interest in getting to know a brat like him anyway. Luo Rong angrily complains to her grandfather that Ye Chen is extremely annoying, but her grandfather sternly orders her to go back to the house. Tearful and deeply embarrassed, Luo Rong screams that her grandfather is a big fool before running away in frustration. Luo Rong's grandfather turns his attention back to Ye Chen, asking if he is absolutely certain about finding the Lin family and warning him that now is not the right time since 2 powerful masters from Kunlun Shu are currently visiting them. Ye Chen thanks him for the valuable information, but firmly replies that it doesn't matter, declaring his absolute determination to confront the Lin family and demanding that the promise be kept. Luo Rong's grandfather hands over a card containing the specific coordinates and address of the Lin family, warning Ye Chen that even if he goes, he might not be able to break their defensive formation. As Ye Chen prepares to depart, Bailey Shang stops him, warning him that he hasn't considered the safety of his family and loved ones, pointing out that the top families have spies everywhere who will retaliate the moment he sets foot on Lin family grounds. Ye Chen pauses to consider the threat to his mother and Xiaorok Shui. Seeing his hesitation, Luo Rong's grandfather offers to help by teaming up with Bailey Shang to put pressure on the Lin family and force them to release Ye Chen's father within 3 days. Yi Chen grimly replies that simply saving his father is not enough, reminding them of the tragedy of Yunhu Villa and declaring that he must kill Lin Julong to avenge what happened. Bailey Shang suggests that since the grudge is specifically between Yi Chen and Lin Julong, they should settle it the Warrior's Way on an official martial arts stage. Bailey Shang explains that by issuing a formal challenge, all their grudges can be legally settled in a duel on the martial arts stage, preventing any outside interference. Ye Chen admits he hadn't thought of this approach, while Luo Rong's grandfather agrees that this is an excellent method to minimize collateral damage, since both Ye Chen and the Lin family are highly important to China. Luo Rong's grandfather explains that Lin Juelong acted alone in the kidnapping of Ye Chen's father, and that destroying the entire Lin family would harm innocent people. He offers to work with Bailey Shang to rescue his father and proposes issuing the challenge for 5 days later. Ye Chen adamantly refuses to wait 5 days, declaring that the life-and-death battle against Lin Juelong on the martial arts stage must take place in exactly 2 days. Luo Rong's grandfather agrees to the timeline and prepares a formal war challenge letter, handing a copy to Ye Chen and explaining that another copy will be delivered to Lin Juelong. Ye Chen tightly crumbles the challenge letter in his hand, swearing to eliminate everyone in the Lin family if they dare to commit any underhanded actions behind the scenes. Waving farewell, Ye Chen walks away from the traditional courtyard as Luo Rong's grandfather and Bailey Shang watch him depart. Luo Rong's grandfather sighs with relief that the potential conflict has been contained, but Luo Rong returns, muttering in disgust about how such a rude and arrogant guy could have survived for so long. Luo Rong sneers that Ye Chen is completely outclassed and that Lin Juelong will easily tear him apart, prompting a furious glare from her grandfather. Losing his temper, Luo Rong's grandfather slaps her across the face and furiously yells that Ye Chen is a national hero, warning her that he will disown her if she ever insults him again. Crying hysterically, Luo Rong runs out of the courtyard. Her grandfather sighs in frustration, while Bailey Shang tells him to let her calm down while they draft the formal challenge letter. Outside, a luxurious red car pulls up, and a beautiful blonde woman named Zhu Ya rolls down the window, warmly offering to drive Ye Chen back. Yi Chen gets in the car and asks how she knew his location. Zhu Ya happily explains that Bailey Bing told her. Watching them drive away from afar, Luo Rong angrily mutters that Yi Chen is just a pathetic loser relying on wealthy women to climb his way to the top. Determined to get revenge, Luo Rong orders her family's loyal guard, Uncle Wan Hu, to immediately investigate Zhu Ya and find out where she came from. Inside the car, Zhu Ya asks Ye Chen when he plans to inspect the piece of land he acquired. Ye Chen replies that they must go tomorrow as the teacher's apartments are only temporary and he wants to build a proper home for his parents as soon as possible. Ye Chen steps out of the car and bids Zhu Ya goodbye, waving as he walks away and promising to contact her ahead of time. Zhu Ya waves back, feeling a sudden wave of sadness as she realizes how deeply she cares for Ye Chen, yet fearing he has become completely unattainable as he grows stronger. In the background, Luo Rong watches her. Uncle Wan Hu delivers the gathered information to Luo Rong, identifying the woman as Zhu Ya from the prestigious Zhu family of Jiangnan. Luo Rong arrogantly dismisses them as mere ants compared to her own family. Smirking maliciously, Luo Rong decides to confront Zhu Ya, mockingly telling her to stop sponsoring a useless gigolo and warning her that Ye Chen will be beaten to a pulp by Lin Juelong in 2 days. Luo Rong arrogantly points her finger and tells Zhu Ya to stay away from that idiot. Zhu Ya, deeply offended, fiercely snaps back that she will not tolerate any insults toward Mr. Ye. Zhu Ya turns around and prepares to leave, privately noting that Luo Rong clearly has a powerful background based on her incredibly arrogant attitude. As Zhu Ya tries to walk away, Luo Rong aggressively grabs her wrist, screaming that even Bailey Bing has to bow down to her and that she won't let Zhu Ya leave before she's finished speaking. Luo Rong forcefully pulls Zhu Ya back, refusing to let her go and ordering her to stop immediately. Sweating in shock, Zhu Ya suddenly recognizes Luo Rong's identity. However, she refuses to back down, declaring that even if Luo Rong is that powerful person's granddaughter, she has no right to insult Mr. Ye. Enraged by her defiance, Luo Rong shouts that there is nothing she is unqualified to do in China before delivering a harsh slap to Zhu Ya's face. Zhu Ya is knocked to the ground as onlookers gather in the square, whispering in shock and confusion about the sudden violent confrontation. Seeing the crowd gather, Uncle Wan Hu steps forward and unleashes a terrifying glare, roaring at the onlookers to disperse immediately. Luo Rong glares down with an icy, self-satisfied expression while Zhu Ya holds her bruised cheek in stunned silence. Standing protectively in front of Luo Rong, Uncle Wan Hu loudly warns the crowd that they have no right to stand around and watch. Uncle Wan Hu unleashes a powerful martial aura, warning the onlookers that the consequences of getting involved in things they shouldn't are far beyond what they can afford, causing the terrified crowd to quickly flee. Zhu Ya continues to glare silently as she holds her swollen face, prompting Luo Rong to mockingly ask if she has still refused to accept her place. Luo Rong coldly commands Uncle Wan Hu to slap Zhu Ya 10 more times. Uncle Wan Hu hesitates, asking his young mistress to let it go since no one actually provoked her. Luo Rong glares viciously at Uncle Wan Hu, sharply reminding him that calling him uncle was only to show him respect and warning him never to forget his place as a servant. Sweating under her pressure, Uncle Wan Hu complies and apologizes, while Zhu Ya looks up in absolute horror as the powerful guard prepares to strike her. Uncle Wan Hu raises his hand, telling Zhu Ya that sometimes right or wrong simply does not matter in the face of absolute power. Just as the blow is about to land, a mysterious man in a black coat and cap suddenly dashes in, successfully blocking and catching Uncle Wan Hu's strike in midair. The mysterious protector stands firmly in front of Zhu Ya, politely asking if she is hurt while she stares at him in complete surprise. Stunned by the sudden interruption, Luo Rong demands to know who the intruder is. The man removes his cap and reveals his face, sternly warning them that the palace master is already aware of this situation and that they must stop their actions immediately. He warns that if they dare to harm Miss Zhu, the palace master's wrath will be severe, but before he can finish, Uncle Wan Hu grabs him by the throat. Uncle Wan Hu violently slams the mysterious protector to the ground with a loud crash, standing in a fighting stance as Zhu Ya looks on in horror. Uncle Wan Hu glares angrily, declaring that he has long noticed a weak ancient warrior hiding in the dark, but did not expect them to be so arrogant. Arms crossed in defiance, Luo Rong sneers at the mention of the palace master, commanding Uncle Wan Hu to cripple the intruder and slap Zhu Ya in the face. Bowing to his young mistress's command, Uncle Wan Hu channels his purple martial energy as the mysterious protector looks up from the ground in alarm. Realizing he is completely outmatched, the mysterious protector prepares for the worst but resolutely lunges forward to fight Uncle Wan Hu. With a powerful, resounding impact, Uncle Wan Hu ruthlessly strikes the mysterious protector, overwhelming his defenses instantly. The mysterious protector is sent flying through the air, crashing heavily onto the hard pavement. Standing engulfed in a menacing purple aura, Uncle Wanhu's overwhelming power leaves the defeated protector staring in wide-eyed horror, whispering how incredibly strong he is. Suddenly, Ye Chen appears on the scene, standing calmly beside the fallen protector and praising his efforts, while Uncle Wanhu lunges in to attack. Looking up in stunned relief, the protector recognizes his savior and gasps out, "Palace Master!" With lightning speed, Ye Chen effortlessly catches and blocks Uncle Wanhu's powerful punch in midair. Ye Chen looks coldly into Uncle Wanhu's eyes, demanding to know how he dares to lay a hand on his people. Before Uncle Wanhu can even react, Ye Chen delivers a devastating slap that sends him spinning backwards. As Uncle Wanhu crashes into the distance, the fallen protector desperately begs Ye Chen to spare the guard's life for the sake of the chief. Luo Rong gasps in utter disbelief and terror as she calls out to her defeated guardian, Uncle Wanhu. Ye Chen hands a bottle containing 10 healing pills to the protector, explaining that one will cure his injuries and the rest are his reward, leaving the protector deeply grateful for the legendary panacea. Ye Chen asks Zhu Ya if Luo Rong was the one who hit her, while Zhu Ya tries to calm him down. Meanwhile, a trembling Luo Rong tries to threaten him using her family's name. Ignoring the warnings, Ye Chen delivers a swift slap to Luo Rong's face, sending her reeling as she cries out in shock that even her grandfather has never struck her before. Looking down with cold, murderous eyes, Ye Chen declares that beating her is nothing and that he is fully prepared to kill her. Outside the courtyard, Ye Chen ruthlessly lifts Luo Rong off the ground by her throat as Uncle Wanhu lies incapacitated on the pavement. Luo Rong struggles to breathe, letting out pathetic, muffled whimpers as Ye Chen maintains his icy, unyielding grip on her neck. Sensing his genuine murderous intent, Luo Rong realizes in absolute terror that Ye Chen truly intends to end her life, while Ye Chen notices something and mockingly asks if she is about to wed herself. Overcome by sheer primal terror, a yellow puddle forms beneath Luo Rong as she sobs hysterically, begging Ye Chen to spare her life. Ye Chen looks at her in disgust, thinking that despite being a trained Chinese warrior, she is incredibly timid and nothing more than a highly spoiled woman. Just then, Luo Rong's grandfather and his guards come rushing out, desperately shouting for Ye Chen to stop. The grandfather begs Ye Chen to forgive her since she is the chief's only granddaughter, promising that she will be punished, while internally lamenting why she had to provoke such a terrifying opponent. Zhu Ya grabs Ye Chen's arm, urgently pleading with him to stop because the Luo family is highly influential and killing Luo Rong would have grave consequences. Suddenly, the phone in Luo Rong's pocket rings and she tearfully manages to gasp out that her grandfather is calling. Ye Chen catches the phone as Luo Rong's grandfather barks through the receiver, ordering Luo Rong to return home immediately to be grounded for a year and demanding to speak with Ye Chen. Uninterested in hearing any excuses, Ye Chen bluntly tells the grandfather through the phone that there is no need for explanations as long as this never happens again. Ye Chen casually throws Luo Rong aside and walks away with Zhu Ya to inspect Beilishang's land, leaving the frantic guards to rush to their young mistress's aid. Back at the traditional estate of the Luo family, a heavy silence hangs over the grand residence. Luo Rong tearfully distorts the story to her parents, claiming she was attacked for no reason, prompting her mother to furiously promise revenge, while her father remains skeptical of her one-sided claims. Luo Rong's father sternly tells her to take this setback as a lesson, but Luo Rong tearfully protests, demanding to know why her father won't take her side against such a wild youth. Standing tall and imposing, Luo Rong's grandfather steps into the room, declaring that Luo Rong is the one who is actually crazy beyond measure. The grandfather sternly reveals Ye Chen's true identity, explaining that he is a Huaxia Major General, the Dragon Soul Chief Instructor, and a national hero who rescued Beilishang from Qinling. Luo Rong's father is left utterly dumbfounded, gasping in shock upon learning that the legendary Beilishang was actually saved by Ye Chen. Her father realizes Ye Chen's potential is so immense that he could become Huaxia's #1 figure, leaving a horrified Luo Rong to finally realize the scale of her mistake. The grandfather coldly warns Luo Rong that even if Ye Chen had executed her on the spot, he would never seek revenge against him for the sake of the nation. When Luo Rong's mother tries to appeal to family ties, the grandfather fiercely shuts her down, forcing a completely defeated Luo Rong to finally admit her wrongdoing and beg for forgiveness. Out in the barren, fenced-off wasteland, a black SUV sits parked as the wind blows across the dusty plains. Walking across the desolate grounds, Zhu Ya asks Ye Chen why he is so interested in this particular piece of land when it seems so unremarkable. Ye Chen crouches down to inspect the soil, explaining that there are things she doesn't understand and that this place is far more special than she could ever imagine. Ye Chen crushes a stone in his fist, noting that even the ordinary rocks here were once highly potent spiritual stones containing ancient energy. Ye Chen turns back to Zhu Ya, telling her that the secrets of this land go far beyond just that. Looking over the landscape, Yi Chen explains that a massive protective formation once stood here, marking the home of an ancient, elite family that was lost to time. Suddenly, a black SUV comes speeding through the dust, braking hard as it skids to a halt right in front of him. The car doors swing open and Bailey Bing waves cheerfully as she steps out to greet Ye Chen, flanked by a sturdy guard. Getting straight to business, Ye Chen calmly asks Bailey Bing if she brought the items she was asked to prepare. Bailey Bing holds up a wooden comb, confirming she brought it and explaining that it belonged to her mother. Looking highly skeptical, the guard steps forward and doubts if they can truly track someone down using nothing but an old comb. Ye Chen holds the wooden comb in his hand and looks up thoughtfully, saying that it's not necessarily guaranteed to work, but they can only try since it has simply been too long. The group stands together on a vast, desolate plain under the sky, waiting to see if Ye Chen can locate the missing mother using the old comb. Channeling his golden spiritual energy, Ye Chen commands that they get started, letting the energy envelop the wooden comb that floats above his open palm. The mother's wooden comb floats within a glowing, protective sphere of bright golden and orange fire, vibrating with ancient spiritual energy. Sitting cross-legged and meditating in mid-air, surrounded by a blazing aura, Ye Chen chants an incantation to reduce costs and make everything happen, declaring that the clear is the source of the turbid, while the moving is the basis of the still. Watching the miraculous sight, the guard stands completely astounded, sweating as he realizes that this is exactly the magical tracking method used by the legendary immortals. Ye Chen's eyes flash with a brilliant, swirling orange light as he focuses his immense spiritual power to break through physical boundaries and search for a person who is thousands of miles away. Floating within a massive vortex of swirling blue and gold cosmic energy, Ye Chen continues his search to find the ultimate path and solution to locating her. As a thick, swirling gray fog appears in the vision, Bailey Bing looks on in shock and confusion, wondering why she cannot see anything and if the place where her mother is located is simply too special. Narrowing his glowing eyes, Ye Chen realizes there is a completely different reason behind the obstruction, sensing a sudden and powerful counterforce. Suddenly, a violent, menacing pillar of dark purple and black energy erupts behind Ye Chen, shaking the surrounding area with a powerful shockwave. Bailey Bing gasps in absolute shock as Ye Chen quickly creates a glowing purple barrier of energy to shield the group from the terrifying spiritual eruption. With a thunderous, terrifying roar, two massive, ghostly demon beasts with glowing red eyes and jagged fangs materialize from the dark purple smoke. Ye Chen remains calm and serious as he instantly recognizes the entity, identifying it as the Black Wind Evil Talisman. In a memory, an ancient cultivator with long white hair stands surrounded by floating yellow talismans, noting that this uses the dark power of ghosts. Meanwhile, in the present, a shocked Bailey Shang demands to know what is happening. Ye Chen commands the group to stand back and boldly steps forward, declaring that a mere evil spirit has no right to behave so presumptuously in front of him. Gazing resolutely at the towering demonic beasts, Ye Chen unleashes his power in commanding voice, declaring that they will be destroyed. With a single thrust of his hand, Ye Chen unleashes a brilliant wave of golden and white fire that instantly incinerates the roaring purple ghosts. Within the cleared vision, a glowing orange orb reveals a long-haired, elegant woman in a long robe, Mu Wanning, walking gracefully through the desert. As the vision focuses on her footsteps, Bailey Bing tearfully gasps out, "Mother!" while her father, Bailey Xiang, is left in complete shock, confirming that it is indeed his wife, Mu Wanning. The vision continues to show Mu Wanning walking calmly alongside a mysterious hooded old man in a gray robe, both stepping into a swirling energy portal. The hooded old man, wearing a wooden token with the Chinese character Li on his belt, asks Mu Wanning if she is absolutely sure she wants to leave her family behind to go to Kunlunshu. A close-up of Mu Wanning shows a silent, downcast expression on her face as she prepares to make the ultimate choice. Mu Wanning stands resolutely before her hooded guide and confirms with absolute certainty that she is ready to go. When the old man asks if she will leave a letter or a message for her family, Mu Wanning replies that there is no need, as they would only endanger themselves trying to look for her if they knew. Mu Wanning explains that with her help over the years, the Bailey family's position in China is unshakable. Bailey Shang has become a general and Binger has grown up, meaning they no longer need her and she must complete her mission in Kunlunshu. With their backs turned to the viewer, Mu Wanning and her guide walk hand in hand into the hazy horizon as the vision begins to fade away. As the vision completely dissipates, Ye Chen is surprised to learn that Bailey Shang's wife came from Kunlunshu, noticing that Bailey Shang seems to have already guessed this truth as he heavily mutters that she really did go to that place. A distressed Bailey Bing asks her father if their mother really went to Kunlun Mountain, but a solemn Bailey Shang tells her that they will discuss this matter in detail later. Eili Shang steps toward Ye Chen, holding a brown paper envelope as Ju Ya and Bailey Bing look on. Bailey Xiang hands the envelope to Ye Chen, asking him to accept the land deed and declaring that from this moment onward, the land belongs to him. Waving goodbye next to his black SUV, Bailey Xiang wishes Ye Chen and Lin Zhuolong victory in their upcoming battle before driving away with his daughter. Looking on thoughtfully, Ye Chen laments that Bailey Xiang left in such a hurry, as he wanted to tell him that the old man who took his wife had a jade token on his waist that could serve as a valuable clue to a Kunlun Shu sect. Standing alone against the vast blue sky, Ye Chen decides to put the thoughts aside for now, telling himself that they can discuss it at a later time. A close-up of Ye Chen shows him looking incredibly serious as he contemplates the mysterious realm of Kunlun Shu. Ye Chen remembers his past, recalling that when he first entered Kunlun Shu, his strength was incredibly weak, and his master was not skilled in fighting, but rather specialized in medicine and unorthodox methods that did not align with his path. He remembers how his master took him to various sects, only for them to ruthlessly mock him, refusing to accept him because of his ordinary roots and claiming he would never reach the Lihei realm. With no other choice, his master took him to the brutal fighter's hell, a dangerous land of killing where Ye Chen miraculously survived and mastered the Nine Heavens' mysterious Yang art to embark on his path of cultivation. In the present, Ye Chen channels a bright blue spiritual flame in his hand, thinking that now his strength has greatly increased, he has broken his curse, and he will return to Kunlun Shu to reclaim what is owed to him once his current affairs are settled. Ye Chen fondly remembers the old man and a woman named Ji Siqing when Zhu Ya suddenly interrupts, asking what Kunlun Shu is and who Ji Siqing is. Caught off guard, Ye Chen nervously laughs it off and says she is just a friend, telling her it is time to head back. Amidst a violent storm, yellow bolts of lightning crash down upon a massive traditional palace nestled in the lush green mountains of Kunlun Shu. Disciples of the sect look up in awe as a majestic golden spiritual phoenix rises into the sky from the palace with a thunderous roar. The disciples cheer excitedly, marveling at senior sister Ji making her 7th breakthrough of the year and praising her as one of the top 10 geniuses and the most precious treasure of all Kunlun Shu. An arrogant male disciple holds his head in frustration, furiously complaining that he cannot understand why a genius like senior sister Ji only cares about a loser like Ye Chen while completely ignoring someone as talented as him. Suddenly, a terrifying golden aura erupts over the courtyard as a powerful voice demands to know how he dares to speak of her behind her back, telling him to say it to her face. A massive blast of golden energy slams the arrogant disciple to the ground, leaving him battered and spitting blood as he desperately begs senior sister Ji for forgiveness. Standing elegantly on her balcony, the purple-haired Ji Siqing sighs, wondering how Ye Chen is doing in China, where spiritual energy is scarce, and hoping he has encountered some fortunate adventures. Inside a luxurious conference room, several prominent martial artists and family members of the Lin family sit on leather sofas discussing a serious matter. A representative from the Ironblood camp presents a letter prompting the powerful Lin Zhuolong to look on with a fierce and murderous glare, thinking that someone must be tired of living to dare challenge the most prominent figure in China. The challenger's representative flings the white letter of challenge through the air, where it is caught perfectly by Lin Zhuolong's outstretched hand. Looking shock-eyed at the letter of challenge, a man sitting on the sofa exclaims, "Lin Zhuolong and Ye Chen? A fight on the martial arts stage?" Looking equally stunned, 2 other martial artists exclaim, "Ye Chen?" Looking back with disbelief, another family member asks, "It was Ye Chen who challenged you? How dare he?" Standing up confidently, Lin Zhuolong laughs and says, "Ha, interesting. 5 years ago, he was like an ant in front of me, and now 5 years have passed? I'll tell him nothing has changed. I, Lin Zhuolong, accept this letter of challenge." A representative warns him, the leader may personally watch the battle at that time, so please don't do anything tricky. The representative points out, this is China, not Kunlun Shu. This shocks the flat-topped disciple who exclaims, "You!" But the white-browed martial artist calms him down, saying, "Do not impulse." The representative adds, "One last thing. General Bailey Shang will come to the Lin family in person tomorrow to negotiate with you. You should be there by then, right?" Lin Zhuolong asks in disbelief, "Bailey Shang came to negotiate with my Lin family? Why?" The representative responds, "I don't know the details. They are military secrets. You will understand when you meet the general." He then commands him to leave. As the representative walks away, the white-browed elder notes, "Interesting, that guy actually wants to challenge you." Lin Zhuolong proudly smirks, "He is just a piece of trash. I can kill him in less than 3 moves." Then please go to the martial arts arena to watch. When I cripple his limbs and make him feel endless fear, it will be convenient for adults to ask him some questions. The white-browed elder looks closely and says, I believe in your ability, but I'm afraid it's not that simple. Since the ruler of China personally issued a declaration of war, it means that he is very optimistic about that kid. And that kid even stayed in the dragon vein for 2 full days. Lin Zhulong confidently smiles and replies, My lord, you are worrying too much. In the face of absolute strength, no matter how many tricks he has, he will be crushed. In a warm and cozy home, a group sits around a table enjoying dumplings. A blonde girl blushes and exclaims, Wow, it's no wonder that Auntie made these dumplings. They're so delicious. Below her, a purple-haired girl happily agrees, Yes, Auntie is a great cook. Sitting at the table, Ye Chen's mother laughs and says, You two are already flattering me before you even get married. Sun Yi and Ye Chen are stuffing their faces, and Sun Yi giggles, No flattery, just telling the truth. Looking over at Ye Chen, his mother says, Don't just focus on eating. When are you going to marry them? I want to have grandchildren. Flustered and blushing, Ye Chen replies, Huh? You want me to marry them all? Standing outside, the apartment building is seen under a crescent moon with the exclamation, Then marry them all, echoing from the window. Inside, Ye Chen suddenly spits out his food in shock, making a puff sound as the girls look on in embarrassment. Wiping his mouth, a flustered Ye Chen looks at his mother and asks, Are they all married? Mom, I thought you were a staunch supporter of monogamy. Smiling playfully, Ye Chen's mother raises a finger and says, Normally, this is true. Pointing her finger up, she continues, But a strong warrior transcends the mundane world, has many beauties around him, and having 7 or 8 wives is nothing. Not to mention the Jiang family, a top family in the capital, even small local families are like this. Let's not talk about anything else. For a martial arts family of Jiang Cheng's level, which clan leader doesn't have 3 wives and 4 concubines? Looking teasingly at Ye Chen's sweat-dropped face, his mother continues, Marrying 7 or 8 is considered too few. Of course, even if you get married, you are not allowed to bully them. I'm protecting Ruoshui and Sun Yi, understand? Both girls blush deeply. Sweating nervously, Ye Chen quickly nods and says, Okay, I got it. Standing up and stretching her arms, his mother smiles and says, I'm full, you guys keep eating. Tonight you must focus on practicing with all your heart and soul and not hear any noise. In a chibi-style close-up, Ye Chen's mother winks playfully, sticks out her tongue, and pumps her fists, whispering, But don't make too much noise. I'm afraid the bed will. Totally embarrassed, Sun Yu gasps, Auntie, what are you talking about? While Ruoshui flusters and shouts, No way! Ye Chen stands by looking completely dumbfounded. Giving a mischievous side glance, Ye Chen's mother chuckles, Then I will go practice. Left alone at the dining table, Ruoshui and Sun Yi share a silent, intensely blushing look of absolute embarrassment. Sun Yi shyly pulls on her dress, blushing heavily as she tells Ye Chen, Sun Yi told me about that. You have to take the initiative tonight. Ye Chen, caught off guard, blushes and asks, What's up? A close-up of Sun Yi blushing furiously as she whispers, When we left Jiangnan province, we said that the 3 of us would go together. Ruoshui steps close to Ye Chen, her cheeks red as she softly smiles and says, I remember now. Meanwhile, Ye Chen sweat drops, thinking to himself, I was actually trapped in a blind spot by Sun Yi? Ruoshui continues, But unfortunately, we still have to endure it. After all, my aunt is at home. What if she hears us? Ye Chen blushes with a playful, confident smirk, whispering to himself, That's it. Suddenly, Ye Chen wraps his arms around both Ruoshui and Sun Yi, grinning widely with sharp teeth as he says, Don't worry, she can't hear you. Tonight, none of you can escape. Both girls gasp in absolute shock, crying out, Ah, and Ha! Floating red hearts drift from the glowing window of the apartment building under the starry night, as one of the girls frantically shouts from inside, Wait a minute, I haven't taken a shower yet. Wait a minute. The next morning, Ye Chen sits in peace on the floor, exhaling a calm breath and thinking, The air is so fresh today, in his quiet sage mode. His mother walks up with a glass of water, asking, What about Ruoshui and Sun Yi? Ye Chen nervously replies, They went out early in the morning to take care of the group's business. Probably. Ye Chen's mother gives him a mischievous glare, making a playful grrr sound. With a sudden serious expression, Ye Chen's mother looks closely at him and asks, Come to think of it, you really didn't do anything last night? Sticking his nose up proudly, Ye Chen retorts, Mom, what are you thinking? Do you think I, your son, am the kind of person who lusts after women? Ye Chen confidently smirks, thinking to himself, Do you really think I didn't notice that you said you were practicing last night, but you actually came to the door and eavesdropped? I have already set up a triple soundproofing formation in advance. Not to mention the noise at night. Even if 100 bombs were detonated inside, there would be no sound at all. Taking a sip from her glass, Ye Chen's mother sweat drops and mutters, All right. Ye Chen then brings up another subject. Oh, by the way, Mom, Bailey Shrung's land. Spitting her water out in a sudden puff of shock, she gasps, "I got it!" Ye Chen's mother stares in absolute disbelief, drooling slightly as she screams, "Really got it? My God, how did you do that?" Ye Chen calmly walks forward and explains, "I happened to have some problems with him, so I took him down, and he also promised to help me rescue my dad. If nothing goes wrong, my dad will be back tomorrow." Looking concerned and sweating slightly, his mother wonders, can Bailey Shang really make the Lin family release the people? Ye Chen turns around and walks away, confidently declaring, "Some things are beyond their control. When I fight Lin Zhuolong in the martial arts arena tomorrow, all the grudges will be settled." Shocked and frightened, his mother desperately calls out, "No, Lin Zhuolong is more powerful than you can imagine. I have already gathered a lot of people in the past few days. We will find a way to deal with Lin Zhuolong when the time comes, so don't do anything stupid." Gently grabbing his mother's hand, Ye Chen reassures her, "It's just Lin Zhuolong, don't be nervous, and it's too late to say anything now." Distressed, she asks, "Too late?" Ye Chen proudly states, "Written, established, cannot be regretted. The letter of challenge is the #1 leader to fight anyone." Dropping to her knees in absolute shock, his mother stammers with a wide-eyed look, "#1 chief? But how is this possible?" Suddenly, Ye Chen's phone begins to buzz loudly on the floor. Looking down at it, he notes, it's my uncle, as the name Zhang Jianfeng flashes on the screen. Holding the buzzing phone, Ye Chen answers, "Hello, uncle?" while his panicked mother towers over him, screaming, "Second brother, Ye Chen wants to fight Lin Zhuolong to death. You must stop him." On the other end of the line, a sweating Zhang Jianfeng exclaims, "Ye Chen, I already know that you were going to go on the martial arts stage. I haven't seen you for a few days, and you have caused such a big incident. You even dragged in the #1 leader. What on earth do you want to do?" Smirking confidently, Ye Chen replies, "Of course it's to kill Lin Zhuolong. What else can you want to do?" Hearing this, Zhang Jianfeng yells back in anger, "You are crazy." Zhang Jianfeng desperately pleads into his phone, "I've discussed this with the old man, and he said that if you hand over those martial arts skills, he is willing to save your life in a critical moment." But Ye Chen coldly rejects the offer, saying, "No need for that. Tell the old man for me that if he can still walk, you are welcome to come and watch me kill Lin Zhuolong. If there is nothing else, I will hang up now." Zhang Jianfeng shouts, "Hey, wait a minute, Ye Chen, don't be impulsive, you are still thinking," as Ye Chen's thumb decisively presses the red end call button. Turning back to his mother with a gentle smile, Ye Chen says, "Please speak," as she softly tells him, "Chenner, I only ask you one thing." Looking intensely serious and sweat-dropped, his mother asks him, "How hopeful are you of tomorrow's battle?" With a fierce red-eye glare of absolute determination, Ye Chen smiles confidently and declares, "Of course it's the 10th floor." Meanwhile, in the distance, a quiet temple of the Beijing Lin family stands peacefully under a clear blue sky. Walking down the central carpet of a grand temple, a man in military uniform approaches several gathered figures. Bailey Shang points out, "Lin Ao, you are here too." Looking serious, Lin Ao remarks, "It seems that General Bailey has come with bad intentions today." Bailey Shang declares firmly, "Whether it is good or not depends on your choice. I, Bailey Shang, came here for only one thing, hand over Ye Tianzheng." Bailey Shang points directly forward, reinforcing his demanding posture. Lin Ao and his companions stare back in silence. Lin Ao smirks and says, "What did General Bailey say? I, Lin, don't even know who Ye Tianzheng is, so how can I hand him over?" Erupting in a fiery yellow aura, Bailey Shang yells, "Lin Ao, you still dare to play dumb? It would be best if we can reach a peaceful conclusion on this matter. If not, don't blame me, Bailey Shang, for being rude. Although your Lin family is a top martial arts family, you should also know that there are countless powerful people lurking in the dark in China, and they only listen to the country's orders." Bailey Shang continues firmly, "If we really want to destroy your Lin family, it won't work even if you have the Blood Alliance as your backer. Don't forget, China still has guardians." Lin Ao retaliates with an angry glare. "Bailey Shang, you dare to threaten me? If my Lin family really takes action, neither of these two people you brought with you will be able to leave alive." Stomping his foot with a booming sound, Bailey Shang is engulfed in flames and shouts, "Do you, the Lin family, really dare to touch me? Do you think that my Iron Blood Battalion is a vegetarian?" Bailey Shang points at them, shouting, "Open your eyes and see clearly what is going on." Lin Ao breaks into a cold sweat, wondering, Bailey Shang is so confident, does he have a backup plan? A guard runs in panicked, shouting, "My lord, something terrible has happened. The Lin family has been surrounded by the Iron Blood camp. Soldiers all outside." Outside the compound, rows of military trucks stand waiting. Lin Ao is shocked to hear that the entire Iron Blood Battalion has been mobilized. Bailey Shang's men stand proudly, thinking, "I didn't expect the entire Iron Blood Battalion to be mobilized. If even the Chinese guardians are alarmed, the consequences will be disastrous." Watching the confrontation, the two Blood Alliance elders note the two Blood Alliance elders happen to be out today, so if they really fought, both sides would suffer losses. Grinding his teeth in rage, Lin Ao points at Bai Li Shang and says, "Hateful, you can ask us to hand over Yi Tianzeng, but the prerequisite is that Yi Chen must survive the fight on the martial arts stage tomorrow. If he can't even stay alive, even if we hand over Yi Tianzeng, our Lin family will have been able to capture him long ago." Bai Li Shang looks thoughtful, realizing it seems that this is Lin Ao's bottom line, and he can only do this. A grand temple building is shown on a misty mountain slope with the label Kunlun Shu Wanjian Sect. Several Wanjian sect disciples are defeated and lying on the ground groaning in pain, while their master stands in panic. The Grand Master in white robes carrying a massive yin-yang shield floats in the sky as the sect master begs, "Master, we really don't know how we have offended you. Please have mercy on us." The Grand Master looks down and the sect master pleads desperately. "The Wanjian sect's 10,000-year foundation cannot be destroyed in my hands. I am willing to offer whatever your excellency wants." The sect master trembles in fear, thinking, even without his hands, I can tell from his aura that this person is too terrifying. If he wants, he can destroy my Wanjian sect with just a wave of his hand. The Grand Master asks calmly, "When did I ever say I would destroy your sect?" The sect master asks, Why did the Lord come to the Wanjian sect? The Grand Master questions, "Let me ask you, is Luo Jianxing a member of your Wanjian sect?" The sect master replies, "Sir, Luo Jianxing is the founder of our Wanjian sect. I wonder if you ask him." The Grand Master puts a finger to his chin, thinking, "As expected, this sect was founded by my useless disciple Luo Jianxing." The sect master is stunned, gasping, "A useless disciple? Could it be that you are Luo Jianxing's master?" The sect master is in absolute disbelief, shouting, "Master? You are the master of my sect's founder?" While the other disciples whisper in shock, questioning how someone so young could be the master of their legendary founder. The sect master drops to his knees in reverence, asking, "Grandmaster, I wonder why you came here." The Grandmaster summons a glowing jade pendant with the character sword on it, replying, "I came here for someone else." The Grandmaster declares, "From now on, if you see someone holding this jade pendant, see him as you see me." The sect master is stunned by the jade pendant and remembers a scroll passed down through generations by the founder of the Luojian formation. Remembering his predecessor's words that the portrait must be protected even if the sect disappears, the sect master rolls out an ancient scroll. The scroll unfurls to show a painting of the Grand Master standing with his massive yin-yang shield in the mountains. A close-up of the painted portrait of the legendary master. The sect master is filled with astonishment, shouting, "Really?" Realizing the Grand Master is indeed the legendary figure, the sect master commands, "Everyone listen up. From now on, seeing this jade pendant is like seeing the master. Anyone who obeys will be expelled from the sect." The sect master and all his disciples bow down in deep reverence to the floating Grand Master. The Grand Master smiles gently, thinking, "Good. This matter is over. I should go back." Looking at his floating shield, the Grand Master wonders with a soft smile, "I wonder how that boy's doing now." The scene shifts to a bustling construction site where workers are laboring hard to build a new compound. Ye Chen and his mother look at the project, and his mother comments, "It was built too fast." Ye Chen smiles, saying, "I didn't expect that either." A manager approaches them, saying, "Mr. Ye." The manager explains, "We started the work as soon as we received your call yesterday." Pointing to the workers and excavators, the manager continues, "These workers are the top craftsmen in China, and they flew here overnight from all over the country. The machinery used is also the world's top." Ye Chen asks, "Rushing to work overnight?" The manager laughs and replies, "Of course not. They are paid 20 times more than the market price, so they have to work hard." Ye Chen is pleased, thinking, "Good. With the current earning power of Tianzeng Group, it is more than enough to establish 100 Ye families." The manager whispers that they also used earth-based ancient warriors, and Ye Chen rewards him with several bottles of medicine, saying, "One bottle is yours, and the rest will be distributed among the brothers according to their contributions." The manager is overjoyed, gasping, "How can I bear this?" Running off with the medicine, the manager happily shouts, "Then I would like to thank Mr. Ye first." Ye Chen clenches his fist confidently. It won't be long before our Ye family will become the top family in China. His mother looks worried and warns him, "Chenner, there are more martial arts families in Beijing than just the Jiang and Lin families. The emergence of the Ye family will definitely affect the interests of many parties. Even if we can build it, we might not be able to keep it." Ye Chen responds with a fierce look, "Don't worry, Mom. If anyone dares to cause trouble for our Yi family, they won't be able to bear the consequences." Suddenly, a loud explosion occurs at the site with desperate screams. Looking startled, Ye Chen asks, "What's the situation?" as a giant pillar of golden light blasts into the sky. His mother yells, "Chenner, slow down." Dashing forward with incredible speed, Ye Chen yells back, "Mom, I'll be back soon." Workers lie injured on the ground as one supervisor laments. It was built with great effort, but it was destroyed in an instant. Writhing in intense pain, the injured worker screams, "Hands, my hands, ah!" While Ye Chen rushes to his side and notes with deep concern, the injury is serious. Looking terrified about his future, the worker weeps, "Boss, I have no feeling in my hands. What should I do? My daughter is still in college and my wife needs to take medicine. If I can't work, But Ye Chen quickly reassures him, "Don't talk, just swallow this pill." Ye Chen gently feeds the mysterious healing pill to the injured worker, who can only make a muffled sound of pain. Standing up, Ye Chen firmly commands the supervisor, "Take good care of the wounded," to which the supervisor immediately complies, "Yes." Suddenly, a hostile blonde-haired man accompanied by two martial arts elders approaches, demanding, "Who are you? How dare you save the person I hit?" The rest of the arrogant group mocks them, shouting, "That's right, what a courage! Where did this thing come from? How dare you start construction on the land that our young master he has set his eyes on? I don't know the height of the sky and the depth of the earth. Who allowed you to start construction here? Do you know who this land belongs to?" Ye Chen responds with absolute calmness. "I know, it originally belonged to Bailey Xiong, but now it belongs to my Yi family," sending the blonde man into shock as he gasps, "The Yi family?" The blonde man asks his elders, "Is there such a family in Beijing?" To which one elder replies, "I don't know. If it's a family of ancient warriors, we must have heard of it. It's probably some unknown secular family." Relieved, the blonde man laughs mockingly. "What the hell? It turns out they are just an ordinary family," before screaming, "Tell your people to pack up and get out. I'm taking over this land." Without another word, Ye Chen throws a lightning-fast, powerful punch directly to the blonde man's face, sending him flying backward through the air as his elder panics, "Master!" Ye Chen looks down coldly, declaring, "You seem to have made a mistake. The Ye family is the family that will stand at the top of the capital." Landing heavily in a crater, the blonde man grinds his teeth in rage, screaming, "What the hell is the Ye family? Damn, that guy is an ancient warrior. Come on, kill him." Ye Chen's mother runs to his side, warning him, "Chenner, this group of people are from the He family in Beijing. Although the He family is far inferior to the Zhang family, it should not be underestimated." She continues, explaining that they have been interested in this land for many years. But Ye Chen smiles confidently and remarks, "I see. That couldn't be more appropriate. Just killing the chicken to scare the monkey." Ready to make an example out of them, Ye Chen prepares to engage as the two He family elders leap forward, with one shouting, "Rock-crushing legs." The martial arts elder launches a massive high-speed kick toward Ye Chen, but the young master blocks the attack effortlessly and counters with his own swift kick. Shattering the elder's leg and sending him crashing to the ground in agony, Ye Chen faces the second elder, who unsheathes his sword and yells, "Die!" Dodging the sword strike with incredible reflexes, Ye Chen grabs the elder's neck in a vice grip and says, "You two pieces of trash who didn't even make the top 10 of the Grandmaster ranking, dare to kill me?" as the elder chokes in terror. Looking down on the remaining elder who is desperately pleading, "Don't come over here," Ye Chen unleashes a devastating, explosive pillar of golden energy, shouting, "Die!" Seeing the aftermath, two He family disciples look on in absolute disbelief and terror, stammering, Two clan masters were killed instantly? No, impossible. How is this possible?" Turning his icy gaze back to the blonde young Master He, Ye Chen steps forward and says, "Next, it's your turn," as the blonde man recoils on the ground, crying, "You, don't come over here." Desperately trying to use his family's status as leverage, the blonde man yells, "I am the eldest son of the Yi family, and my Yi family is also a family of ancient warriors in the capital. If you kill me, you will bear the wrath of the Yi family." But Ye Chen mockingly retorts, "Okay, then I won't go there," before dragging him through the air by his throat using raw kinetic energy. Choking in midair, the blonde man manages to gasp out, "If you dare to kill me, not only you will die, but also the woman you bring with you and everyone here. They will all die, and all will be buried with me." But Ye Chen only smiles with amusement. "What family? Ha ha ha." Preparing to deliver the final strike, Ye Chen raises his fist with an intense, deadly look in his eyes. With a swift and powerful blow, Ye Chen crushes his opponent, ending the threat instantly. The blonde man falls lifeless to the ground. As the He family disciples panic in terror, Ye Chen declares with an imposing aura, "From today on, this place belongs to the Yi family in the capital. Anyone who steps in will be killed. If the He family wants to retaliate, I, Ye Chen, will be waiting any time." One of the trembling disciples finally makes the connection, gasping, Ye Chen? I've heard this name somewhere before. It seems like he's the guy who's going to fight Lin Zhuolong in the martial arts arena tomorrow. I never thought I would be able to meet him in person. Ye Chen commands them, why don't you take the body and get out of here right now? And they quickly comply, yes, let's get out now, right now. As the terrified survivors drag the bodies away, Yi Chen's mother turns to him and asks, Chenner, did you let them go on purpose? And Yi Chen explains, that's right, there are so many people secretly targeting us now. Let's kill He Jiankey first as a deterrent. Ye Chen continues, confidently analyzing, when they bring the news back, those guys won't dare to move for at least the next 2 days. Once the results of tomorrow's martial arts competition are announced, I'm sure no one will dare to trouble us anymore. Meanwhile, inside a grand and quiet courtyard, 3 figures approach a high-ranking elder of the He family. The head of the family, He Guowang, is filled with shock as he asks, are you saying that Ye Chen is the current owner of that land? Not only did he kill 2 elders, he even killed Zhang Qi? A survivor nervously confirms, no, that's right. Moreover, Ye Chen wanted to set up his own business, the Ye family, sending the old man into a fit of silent rage. Unleashing his murderous intent, He Guowang declares, today I will lead all the masters of the He family to crush the Yi family and slaughter all his relatives. But a wise elder halts him, advising, the head of the family couldn't do that. Zhang Qi was being reckless this time. He didn't even think about the fact that Bai Lishang had occupied that piece of land for many years. Why not go to the martial arts arena tomorrow to watch and make a move based on the result? He Guowang asks, what if he wins? Are we going to have to swallow our pride? To which the elder replies, of course not. Rules are dead, but people are alive. If Ye Chen dares to establish the Ye family, he will definitely be attacked by many forces. We are not the only ones who want him dead. If all parties join forces, I don't believe he can survive. At the residence of the Beijing Zhang family, Zhang Jianfang listens to the news, laughing mockingly, starting his own business? The Yi family? Ha, you ignorant bastard! While his son asks, Father, given the status of our Zhang family, we will definitely go to watch the battle tomorrow. Will you take action then? If you save Yi Chen at the critical moment, he will definitely… Zhang Jianfeng snaps in annoyance. Save him? What a joke! I have done my best by not cheating him. But for the sake of blood relationship, you should help collect his body after he dies, leaving his son to sigh in resignation. Back at the teacher's apartments, Yi Chen sits in quiet contemplation, gathering a vibrant, swirling blue aura of energy around himself. From a distance, Yi Chen is seen floating gently above his bed, bathed in the brilliant glow of his cultivating power. As morning arrives, Ye Chen opens his eyes, thinking, after a night of training, although my realm did not improve, my state has been adjusted to the best. It's time to get up, while the scene shifts to the bustling Jingcheng Budo Square. Disciples and spectators stream through the massive gates of the square as a luxury red sedan pulls up to the entrance. As several guests step out of the car, onlookers whisper excitedly, we're here! He is that Yi Chen. He actually dared to challenge Lin Zhuolong, who had been ranked second on the Grandmaster ranking for many years. I really think my life is too long. And I heard that he is going to set up the Yi family. Walking into the venue, Ye Chen and his mother are met by a military commander who tells them, you are here, follow me in. As Ye Chen replies, and the massive golden gates slowly begin to open. Stepping inside, the group looks upon the massive, towering structure of the arena with awe. Looking over the vast battleground, the crowd erupts and murmurs, whispering, coming, it's Ye Chen, as they spot the young challenger. An expansive view shows the empty rooftops and stone-paved floor of the grand Jingcheng Budo Square under the clear morning sky. Standing tall beside the military commander and his mother, Ye Chen calmly awaits the arrival of his opponent. When the spectator stands, the crowd murmurs, that fearless kid is here. So young? How could he get Bai Lishang to be his backer? Who is that guy? I heard that Bai Lishang's daughter is very close to him. Among the crowd, a group of mysterious, dark-cloaked figures sneer, with one whispering, hehehe, turns out he's a pretty boy. A close-up reveals one of the masked figures narrowing his eye with a cold, menacing stare. Suddenly, a furious elderly man's face contorts in absolute rage as he screams, Ye Chen! Pointing an accusing finger, the angry elder bellows, you killed my son yesterday. Today, you can't leave alive. Showing complete indifference, Ye Chen calmly walks straight past the shouting elder without saying a word, leaving the old man sweating and completely dumbfounded as he gasps, Just walked over like that? Enraged by Ye Chen's complete indifference, the old man yells, he didn't even look at me. Am I just an insignificant ant in his eyes? Damn it, what a joke. Ye Chen, you will pay the price for your arrogance today. Walking through the gates of the Jingcheng Budo Square, Ye Chen silently thinks to himself, I saw a lot of familiar faces. The Zheng family really came to watch the game. A solemn, white-bearded elder stands amidst the crowd, watching the events unfold with a quiet, intense gaze. Looking at his uncle, the brown-haired man of the Jiang family thinks, "Look at my uncle, he must be worried about me." Ye Chen and military commander Bailey Shang exchange a brief, silent look of surprise upon entering the arena. Bailey Shang reassures him, saying, "We have strong men from the Ironblood camp guarding outside, so we are not afraid of them using any tricks. Whether your father can come back from now on depends on you." Bailey Shang continues, "Although there are rules in the martial arts arena, the official power of China cannot be involved. But I, Bailey Shang, promise that if something really happens, I will definitely find a way to save you." Ye Chen smiles and replies, "Then I would like to thank General Bailey in advance." To which Bailey Shang says, "Mr. Yi has been very kind to me, so I should be like this. But there are other variables in this battle. Look over there." Pointing toward the spectator stands, Bailey Shang explains, "You see, the person sitting there is Lin Ao, the head of the Lin family, but he is not important. If my guess is correct, they're from the Blood Alliance, and their strength is extremely terrifying." Staring at the terrifying representatives of the Blood Alliance, Ye Chen thinks, "I didn't expect that the people of the Blood Alliance would have such a relationship with the Lin family." Bailey Xiang adds, "But you don't have to worry too much. After all, this is China. In addition to the martial arts forces you are familiar with, there is another force in China." Looking around, Ye Chen asks, "By the way, who is that person over there?" Bailey Shang excitedly explains, "The one you are talking about, the legendary guardian of China, and also the most powerful person hidden in the dark of China. Besides, I know him. With him presiding over justice, even the people of the Blood Alliance will not dare to act rashly." Standing tall in his gray robes, the powerful guardian of China notices Ye Chen and gives him a respectful nod of acknowledgement. Ye Chen is surprised and asks, "Did the Chinese guardian just now say hello to me again?" While Bailey Shang replies, "Really? It seems he likes you very much, but the most important thing now is the one on the stage." Cloaked in a menacing purple aura, the formidable challenger Lin Zhuolong stands ready on the arena stage. Spotting his long-awaited opponent, Ye Chen narrows his eyes with absolute focus, whispering, "Lin Zhuolong." Fueled by painful memories of his family's tragedy from 5 years ago, Ye Chen glares coldly and declares, "Today I will make you pay with blood." With a swift, decisive leap, Ye Chen lands firmly on the stone floor of the battleground. The two powerful adversaries face off on the grand arena, with a heavy, tense atmosphere settling over the entire square. Grinning mockingly, Lin Zhuolong sneers, "Trash, we finally meet. If your mother hadn't pushed you into the lake 5 years ago, you would have died. Even if you survive today or even step into the martial arts by chance, you still cannot escape the fate of death." Ye Chen retorts coldly in his mind, "5 years ago, you destroyed my Ye family. Today, I will not only kill you, but also make you feel endless fear." The smiling referee introduces himself. "I will be the referee of this fight. Regarding the rules of the martial arts arena, I suggest you stand farther away and watch. Don't get in the way." Sensing the overwhelming pressure from the two fighters, the referee begins to sweat profusely and stammers, "Well, then you guys can fight on your own. What a strong fighting spirit. If we get too close and a fight breaks out, it will be disastrous." Lin Zhuolong chuckles. "I have to admit that you are much stronger than before." He suddenly unleashes a terrifying demonic purple energy, shouting, "But even so, you were still overestimating yourself," sending the crowd into a panic as they gasp, "What a terrifying momentum! Just the pressure he exuded made my body tremble and I could hardly breathe. Oh my God, how strong is Lin Zhuolong?" Looking at the stage, spectators whisper in disbelief. Look, on the martial arts stage, Ye Chen was not affected at all. It was obvious that the pressure was mainly directed at him. Lin Zhuolong scoffs. "Ha, you pretend to be so calm, but in fact, you have probably used up a lot of energy to resist my pressure." Leaping high into the air, Lin Zhuolong laughs maniacally. "Let me tear off your disguise and ravage you to death, ha 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 ha." Ye Chen meets the descending threat with a calm smirk, thinking, "Let's see who is overestimating his own abilities." Gathering his power, Lin Zhuolong manifests a massive, roaring blood tiger projection that radiates a fierce red light. Onlookers cry out in shock. Vision! Lin Zhuolong actually condensed the blood tiger vision. His strength is beyond our imagination. Believing the young challenger is paralyzed, the crowd gasps. Ye Chen was so frightened that he dared not move at all, but Ye Chen calmly raises his hand and calls out, "Heavenly Fire Palm." With a mighty roar of golden flames, Ye Chen's fire palm instantly incinerates the tiger, leaving the spectators stammering. What kind of move was that actually destroyed Lin Zhuolong's blood tiger vision directly? How is this possible? Wait, look! The intense flames continue to surge forward, with spectators noting, after the flames annihilated the blood tiger, they had not yet dissipated and burned towards Lin Zhuolong. Forcing his way through the heat, Lin Juelong gathers purple energy in his hand and grunts, so this is your confidence, but I only used half of my strength just now, and that alone is not enough to compete with me. Lin Juelong unleashes a swift purple energy slash to scatter the remaining embers of the fire blast. Moving faster than the eye can follow, Ye Chen breaks through the defenses and delivers a staggering punch to Lin Juelong. Charging his fist with devastating power, Ye Chen strikes decisively, crying out, "Killing Fist!" Blown backward by the impact, Lin Juelong grinds his teeth in shock, stammering, "What? Damn, I am not dreaming." Spectators exclaim. The first one to fall into a disadvantage was Lin Juelong, sending the warlord into a fit of rage as he screams, "You little bastard, you pissed me off," before launching a flurry of punches. Ye Chen evades the rapid-fire strikes effortlessly, weaving through the attacks with graceful, lightning-fast reflexes. Countering with his own lethal style, Ye Chen unleashes Luo Yun Tian of the Evil Fist sect, Evil Fist Shadow Combo, hitting Lin Juelong with a barrage of luminous strikes. As Lin Juelong screams in pain, the Blood Alliance elders analyze. Lin Juelong was completely suppressed. This guy is really not simple. Moreover, the movement he used to dodge Lin Juelong's attack just now was definitely not a skill that the Chinese could possess. The subsequent boxing techniques are top-notch, even in Kunlun Shu. While an angry elder thinks, this kid's strength is so terrifying, isn't he the useless descendant of the Zhang family? The Zhang family's brown-haired man cheers, "Good, well done," as his uncle watches in silence. Below, Ye Chen executes a fast-moving maneuver, calling out Silver Moon Step. Drawing a glowing purple blade, Lin Juelong bellows, "Don't get too carried away, you're not the only one who knows how to do it, and what I'm really good at is sword skills." Slashing through the air, Lin Juelong says, "It seems that I am really young. What the senior said was right. The secret you have is priceless. I'm curious about where you've been in the past 5 years. Kunlun Mountain or Kunlun Shu? Secret Realm? I asked someone to investigate Kunlun Shu, but no sect could find your name." Grinning sadistically, Lin Juelong screams, "I'm really curious about your experience. Don't want to talk? I have plenty of ways to force you to speak. First, I'll chop off your limbs, then dig out your eyes, leaving only your ears and mouth." While Ye Chen silently thinks, "The Lin family and the Blood Alliance actually went to Kunlun Shu to investigate me. Fortunately, no sect was willing to accept me at the beginning, so there is no trace of my existence in Kunlun." Forming a brilliant sword of pure golden light, Ye Chen leaps forward to clash head-on with Lin Juelong's blade in a massive explosion of sparks. Shocked to find himself completely matched, Lin Juelong thinks, "What's going on? I've already used all my strength, but I can't do anything to him?" Before Ye Chen unleashes a devastating move, shouting, "Bloodthirsty slash," and slicing down his opponent, who screams in agony. Ye Chen looks down mockingly at Lin Juelong, who is kneeling on the floor, and sneers, "It seems that your best sword skills are just this good." Onlookers gasp. Lin Juelong, he was beaten back again. The spectators continue to whisper, without any dirty tricks, he was completely at a disadvantage in the head-on confrontation. He was even mocked by Ye Chen. Sweating and bleeding, a humiliated Lin Juelong loses his mind in anger and screams, "Bastard, trash, scum, ah, 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 ah," while Ye Chen looks on with a cold, piercing gaze. Crouching low, Lin Juelong unleashes a massive pillar of dark purple energy, roaring, "Kill you! I'm gonna kill you!" The terrifying pressure waves of purple energy ripple across the entire arena as a strong wind sweeps over the Jingchang Budo Square. A white bird flies high above the arena, losing its feathers as Lin Juelong's enraged roar of "Kill you!" echoes throughout the area. Demonic eyes manifest behind Lin Juelong's towering purple aura as he maniacally screams, "I am going to kill you!" leaving the terrified onlookers to exclaim, "Such a terrible force, the air is shaking. We were just watching the fight, but we all felt our hair stand on end and were terrified." Watching in sheer horror, a spectator sweatily stammers, "Lin Juelong is going to use his ultimate killer move." The Zhang family patriarch, Zhang Lao, watches in grave shock, thinking, "I never thought that Lin Juelong actually had such hidden power. After this battle, the Lin family will be far ahead of any other top families." Another elder watches in awe, saying, "So strong. If it were me, there would be no chance of survival under this move." As others worry, Ye Chen is in danger. Zhang Lao sighs deeply, thinking, "The only one in the Zhang family who can handle this move is my eldest son who has already entered Kunlun Shu. Even I can't do it." Before adding, "Apart from those guardians who rarely interfere with worldly affairs, Lin Juelong is already the undisputed #1 in China." Among the spectators, the girls scream in panic, crying out, "Chen Ye Chen, and Mr. Ye," in fear for his life. Realizing the danger, Bailey Shang thinks, "Once Lin Juelong uses this move, Mr. Ye will definitely die. Even if it breaks the rules, I must stop it forcefully." But a firm hand grabs his shoulder as the Chinese guardian declares, "No, as an official, you cannot interfere in the martial arts arena." Bai Shang tries to protest, but the Chinese guardian confidently assures him, "I'm here, you have nothing to worry about." He then orders, "I just received news that a mysterious force in the northern border is slaughtering Chinese people. You don't need to watch the martial arts arena anymore. Take the Iron Blood camp to suppress it immediately." Stunned, Bai Shang stammers, "Mysterious power?" But the Guardian yells with intense authority, "Something is wrong. Why did they send me to suppress the northern forces at this critical moment? Get up immediately. If you are 1 second late, hundreds of Chinese people may die. This is an order." Remembering the Guardian's integrity, Bai Shang thinks he is one of the Guardians of China. He can't lie to me no matter what. He knew how important Ye Chen was to China, and with him around, everything would be safe. Before answering, "Okay, I'll take the Iron Blood Battalion there right away," and departing. Watching Bai Shang depart, a subtle, smug smirk appears on the face of the Chinese Guardian. On the stage, the massive purple demon projection looms menacingly over Ye Chen, radiating a terrifying pressure. Sensing the vast disparity in realms, Ye Chen notes, "I have seen that Lin Juelong's realm is above the 6th level of Li He realm. Although my martial arts skills are strong, my realm is still a little bit behind." Holding his sword ready, Ye Chen analyzes, "The threat here is not just Lin Juelong. I wanted to save some strength. Now it seems that it is impossible." Lin Juelong laughs maniacally, boasting, "Little bastard, I could have killed your whole family 5 years ago," as he continues to smirk with absolute malice. With a wild laugh of "ha ha ha ha," Lin Juelong's overwhelming purple aura shatters the stone arena ground, sending massive rocks flying everywhere. Channeling a brilliant, sparkling light blue sword energy into his blade, Ye Chen smiles confidently and counters, "Do you think you have me figured out?" Screaming, "Die!" Lin Juelong lunges forward to unleash his supreme technique, shouting, "Silver Moon 9 days," with a massive purple energy slash. A powerful purple crescent slash cleaves through the air, but Ye Chen calmly gathers a barrage of glowing light blue sword projections to shield himself and strike back. Taking a deep breath, Ye Chen prepares his own legendary counteroffensive, calling out, "Falling stars!" Innumerable glowing blue sword beams rain down like shooting stars, tearing through the purple energy field with high-pitched whistling sounds. The clashing sword energies collide repeatedly, creating sharp metallic ringing sounds as sparks fly across the stage. The overwhelming blue starfall energy pierces straight through Lin Juelong's defenses, unleashing a massive explosion. In a spectacular display of power, the falling star sword beams rain down upon the entire arena, leaving Lin Juelong completely sweating and wide-eyed in horror as he stammers, "What? Ah!" Ye Chen's relentless light blue sword rain completely engulfs Lin Juelong in a devastating series of explosions. The destructive starfall energy bombards the stone stage, sending smoke and debris flying high into the air. As a giant dust cloud rises, the spectators cough and shield their faces, stammering, "Cough, cough, cough, wow," as they wait for the dust to settle. Deep inside a massive crater carved into the stone arena, a bloodied and broken Lin Juelong lies motionless, bathed in a faint white light. The dust slowly clears to reveal the colossal depth of the crater, showing Lin Juelong defeated at the bottom. Gasps of pain escape Lin Juelong's mouth as he groans, lying completely battered and bruised on the shattered ground. Shocked, the spectators scream, "Defeated? Lin Juelong actually lost? Am I dreaming? Oh my god, is this true?" While Ye Chen's friend cries tears of joy, yelling, "You did it, Chenner, you really did it!" Cheering in relief, the girls hug each other and scream, "Win! Ye Chen wins, Mr. Yi!" An excited man turns to his father and yells, "Father, Ye Chen is only in his 20s. Even my eldest brother was not as amazing as him back then. You really misjudged this one." Staring in absolute shock, the silent Zhang family elder sweatily thinks to himself, "Am I really doing this wrong?" A peaceful silence falls over the Grand Budo Square as the smoke clears, leaving Ye Chen standing tall in the center of the battlefield. Lying helplessly at the bottom of the crater, a severely wounded Lin Juelong groans in excruciating pain. Glaring up with bloodshot eyes, Lin Juelong grinds his teeth and mutters, "Little bastard, you." Standing over him with his sword pointed down, Ye Chen looks down with cold indifference and declares, "Die." Just as Ye Chen is about to strike, a sudden piercing red sphere of light shoots through the air with a high-pitched hum. Reacting instantly, Ye Chen leaps high into the air to dodge the incoming projectile as a massive explosion erupts right where he stood. Ye Chen lands firmly in a defensive crouch on the stone floor, his eyes darting to find the source of the surprise attack. Narrowing his eyes in deep irritation, Ye Chen clicks his tongue, muttering, "Tss." Walking slowly onto the arena, a smiling, gray-haired elder from the Blood Alliance mockingly sneers, "Boy, what if you win?" Flanked by a massive, muscular fighter, the smug elder confidently declares, "You are not qualified to kill the people of the Blood Alliance," to which Ye Chen thinks they finally took action. Looking up with determined eyes, Yi Chen declares the winner has been decided. Life and death on the martial arts stage are determined by fate. I know there are still strong people hiding in the dark, and their duty is to maintain order. He then glares at the onlookers and yells, "Now these two old guys are breaking the rules. Why don't you take action?" In the distance, a solemn man in a traditional gray robe stands silently on the arena, facing Yi Chen. The mustached man in the gray robe remains completely silent, staring back with a heavy and unreadable expression. An aerial view of the arena shows the massive crater left from the previous clash, with the silent guardian standing watch as a tense atmosphere settles over the field. Close-up of the blue-haired elder from the Blood Alliance, who simply smirks and chuckles mockingly. Ha! Grinning with absolute arrogance, the flat-top elder laughs. Rules? Too naive. As long as people are in charge of the rules, everything can be accommodated. While the blue-haired elder notes, "That day Baili Shang sent the letter, and we happened to be out for this matter." Standing with his hands behind his back, the mustache guardian quietly contemplates. Guardians are also human beings, and as human beings, they have needs and desires. As long as we provide him with enough resources to tempt him, it won't be difficult to make him change his stance. Pointing an arrogant finger, the blue-robed elder steps forward and shouts at Ye Chen, "Boy, you don't seem to understand the situation. Today, when all parties are strong and stable, your establishment of the Ye family is equivalent to being hostile to all martial arts families in the capital." Joined by the massive Shu family patriarch, Shu Liyun, the elder confidently sneers, "That's right," before Shu Liyun adds, "To tell you the truth, every ancient warrior watching the battle here." A massive horde of sinister, dark-shadowed warriors with glowing red eyes manifests behind them, collectively declaring, "But I want you to die." The blue-robed elder laughs maniacally with wide, crazed eyes, shouting, "Even the elders of the Blood Alliance have joined the game. What are you waiting for? It's time to take action." With a swift sound of wind, a fighter leaps high into the air to launch the assault. Dozens of hostile martial artists leap down from the stands to surround Ye Chen's mother, his women, and his allies. The attackers mockingly sneer, "Yi Chen, today you won't get out alive. Even your woman, your mother, will be buried here," leaving the shocked women to scream in disgust, "You, shameless! You are too much, too dirty." The ponytailed Shu family patriarch and the blue-robed elder clasp their hands together in a respectful martial arts salute. Saluting the two powerful Blood Alliance elders, the ponytailed patriarch asks, "I wonder if the two adults are satisfied with my arrangement." Looking down with a confident smirk, the blue-haired Blood Alliance elder answers, "Good enough." Seeing their dirty tactics, Yi Chen is enveloped in a brilliant blue aura of energy and chuckles. "Haha, that's it! I guess the departure of Baili Shang and the Iron Blood Camp soldiers was also planned by you in advance." Looking on silently, the mustache guardian narrows his eyes and thinks, "You guys are all the same kind of people." The blue-robed elder channels a bright beam of blue energy from his forehead, roaring, "Yi Chen, you die." But before he can finish, Ye Chen reacts with lightning speed, shooting a beam of energy that pierces the elder's forehead as he calmly declares, "In that case, let's kill the noisiest one first." The spectators sweat in absolute shock and panic, stammering, "What? In front of the two elders of the Blood Alliance, he actually dared to kill someone? Madman! This guy is simply a madman who thinks his life is too long." Grinding his teeth in absolute fury, the flat-top elder roars, "Boy, killing a dog doesn't change anything. You are already exhausted, including your family, and can only be slaughtered by us." A horde of attackers lunges forward, shouting, "Let's go together, capture those women, perform well in front of the Blood Alliance elders." But they are met by Ye Chen's allies, who strike back with a powerful yell. A bearded ally unleashes a devastating punch, blasting away multiple enemy martial artists in a flash of golden energy. The powerful shockwave sweeps across the stone floor, sending the attackers flying through the air in complete defeat. Looking at his sister, the bearded warrior channels a blazing flame in his hand and declares, "Anyone who dares to touch them will be killed." Ye Chen smiles confidently at his ally and says, "Uncle, thank you, but I am prepared." Raising his voice, Ye Chen unleashes a booming command that echoes across the entire square. "Dark Palace, listen to my orders. Except for the people of the Jiang family, all the ancient warriors in the field can be killed." The hostile warriors look around in utter confusion, whispering, "What? Dark Palace? What the hell is that? I don't know, has this kid lost his mind?" Suddenly, multiple hooded figures with glowing pinkish-purple eyes silently manifest within the crowd, holding sharp glowing daggers. As the enemies continue to laugh, mockingly saying, "Dark Palace? Never heard of it. Haha, I'm afraid you must have dreamed about this." The hooded assassins strike instantly, slicing their throats as the victims scream in agony. Panicking as the assassins ruthlessly cut through their ranks, the enemy warriors scream, "A sneak attack! Someone's attacking! Damn, it turns out Ye Chen didn't come alone. He arranged it in advance." A massive wave of dark energy erupts across the battlefield, blasting the hostile martial artists away in a devastating explosion. Stepping forward, Ye Lingtian bows respectfully and announces, "Ye Lingtian, meet the Palace Master," while Lu Lingfeng also kneels, declaring, "Lu Lingfeng, meet the Palace Master." Hundreds of cloaked assassins bow in unison before Ye Chen, chanting, "Greetings, Palace Master," as Ye Lingtian proudly states, "We are..." A magnificent, glowing blue dragon manifests behind the kneeling army as they shout, "Fight to the death with the Palace Master," leaving the spectators to exclaim in horror, This Dark Palace? Ye Chen is the Palace Master? What the hell?" Terrified onlookers sweat profusely, stammering, "Where did they all come from? There is actually a new force that is hiding from us and growing in secret?" Analyzing the situation, the spectators discuss in shock, realizing that nearly half of the assassins are from the legendary Blood Plum Palace, the #1 assassin organization in China, and marvel at how Ye Chen managed to absorb such a powerful group to make his name resound throughout the land. Ye Chen orders, "Lu Lingfeng, escort my mother and friends away. Anyone who dares to stop me will be killed," to which Lu Lingfeng replies, "Yes, Palace Master," while Ye Chen's mother urges the others to cooperate so they don't become a hindrance. Lu Lingfeng quickly leads the group of women and assassins away across the sandy arena ground to safety. Glaring coldly, the blue-haired Blood Alliance elder sneers, "Did I let you go?" while thinking to himself, "Although these women are of little value, they're the best means to threaten Ye Chen. With them around, it would be much easier to force something out of him." Facing the elder, Ye Chen asks, "How do you want to do it?" But the blue-haired elder arrogantly waves his fan and boasts, "For ancient Chinese warriors, the so-called Dark Palace is indeed worthy of their fear. But in my eyes, it's just a pile of garbage." Ye Chen charges forward, shouting, "Dream on!" as the smiling elder counters, "Well done!" and their powerful techniques collide in a massive explosion of light. Blown back by the force, Ye Chen kneels and coughs up smoke, realizing the elder is at least at the 8th level of Lihei realm, or even the Zhenyuan realm. The elder leaps forward to strike him down, gloating that without his legendary sword skills, Ye Chen is no threat. Realizing the old man was forcing him to test his limits, Ye Chen grits his teeth and strikes his own chest, determined to overdraw his life force as a dramatic heartbeat thumps. A glowing red heart beats furiously as Ye Chen's eyes turn bloodshot with power and he roars, "Blood Dragon Natal Talisman, come out to me!" A colossal, glowing red dragon erupts from a massive golden talisman covered in ancient runes, shattering the ground in a spectacular blast. The magnificent crimson dragon coils around the towering golden talisman, lighting up the entire arena with celestial energy. Surrounded by cracking yellow lightning, the fierce red dragon roars with immense power as it prepares to obliterate the enemy. Watching the colossal crimson dragon wrap around the glowing ancient talisman, the shocked spectators stammer in disbelief. Blood? Blood dragon? That's not the stuff of legends. As the onlookers marvel at the massive talisman and wonder if a human could really create such a vision, the blue-haired Blood Alliance elder is overcome with sweat and panic, muttering, "Not good," as he rushes forward. Realizing Ye Chen is using a powerful secret technique, the blue-haired elder desperately tries to stop him, but Ye Chen's bearded uncle leaps in to defend him, roaring, "Don't even think about hurting my nephew. Get past me first." Gritting his teeth, the bearded warrior braces himself with a fierce battle cry as he prepares to block the elder's path. Glaring with absolute disdain, the powerful elder mockingly snarls, "Trash, get out of here!" and unleashes a swift, devastating attack that clashes violently against the uncle's sword. Blown back by the impact, the uncle slides across the stone arena floor before kneeling in pain and coughing up blood, yet he defiantly shouts, Old man, I will fight with you." Stealing his resolve, the uncle lunges forward again, but the elder easily deflects his strikes and mockingly sneers, "Get out of here, old man." With a sudden, deafening shatter, the elder's technique breaks the uncle's sword into pieces and strikes him directly in the chest, leaving him to scream in agony. Sent flying through the air by the crushing force of the blow, the uncle crashes violently into the ground, kicking up a massive cloud of dust and debris. Lying heavily wounded inside a deep crater, the uncle clutches his bleeding chest and bitterly wonders, "Damn, is this the only time I can buy?" Suddenly, Ye Chen appears standing confidently above the crater with glowing blue energy in his hand, reassuring him, "Uncle, this time is enough," as the uncle weakly asks, "Chenner, what are you doing?" Only for Ye Chen to reply, "Leave the rest to me." Raising his hand with absolute focus, Yi Chen channels his power and commands, "Blood Dragon, Natal Talisman, melt!" Guided by his command, the ferocious crimson dragon wrapped in yellow lightning roars with immense power as it descends. The entire battlefield is engulfed in a blinding wave of swirling red energy and cracking electrical currents. Drawing the massive energy into his right arm, Yi Chen declares Mystic Technique, Dragon Spirit Armor, as a legendary red and gold dragon-headed gauntlet manifests on his arm. Looking down at his newly armored gauntlet, Ye Chen contemplates, "This is the new secret method I realized and created after I overdrawn my life and merged the blood dragon with my natal spirit talisman. Although it can only last for 5 minutes, its power?" Unfazed by the transformation, the blue-haired elder summons a terrifying purple skeletal specter behind him and mocks, "So what if you use secret techniques? Compared to my blood alliance, you are nothing." Looking back with a cold, piercing glare, Ye Chen simply asks, "Really?" as he tightly clenches his glowing dragon fist. Leaping forward, Ye Chen unleashes a massive, swirling beam of golden and pink energy, roaring, "What about the blood alliance?" The devastating energy blast surges across the arena, tearing through the ground and obliterating everything in its path. With absolute determination, Ye Chen directs the concentrated beam of light directly at the elder, shouting, "It can still be shattered." Sensing the overwhelming destructive power heading straight for him, the panicked elder sweats profusely and yells, "Not good!" Coughing up a mouthful of blood, the elder desperately crosses his arms to block the blast, gritting his teeth as he roars, "Damn it, you must hold on." The colossal beam of energy completely overwhelms the elder, blasting through his defenses and sweeping him away in a massive explosion. The battered elder is caught by his muscular allies as they shout, "Careful," leaving the elder to realize in shock, his realm is lower than ours, and even though he is exhausted, he can still burst out with such strength. This kid may have a lot of secrets. Retrieving his fan with a swift motion of his hand, the elder commands, "All of us, attack!" Joined by the muscular fighter and the ponytailed patriarch, the elder glares at Ye Chen and declares, "We must capture this kid no matter what." As the 3 powerful warriors charge down the arena path towards him, Ye Chen watches them with a mocking smile and mutters, "What shameless dogs!" Enveloped in surging red energy and cracking lightning, Ye Chen prepares to meet them head-on, declaring, "Even if I, Ye Chen, die today, I will drag you to be buried with me." Ye Chen clashes directly with the 3 hostile martial artists in a spectacular explosion of power, while the attackers scream in fury, "You little thief, die!" Watching the incredible battle from the stands, the spectators exclaim in absolute shock, "1 against 3? He was actually fighting 1 against 3? And 2 of them are strong men from Kunlun Shu. My God, how strong is he?" The most outrageous thing is that Ye Chen is still in the upper hand. Standing in front of the Zhang family patriarch, the wounded uncle urgently pleads, "Father, Ye Chen's secret law has a time limit and we can't fight a protracted battle. Now is the time when he needs help. Please help." The patriarch remains deeply hesitant, contemplating, even though Ye Chen has shown his extraordinary talent and infinite value, helping him now will undoubtedly offend the blood alliance. This is extremely disadvantageous to the Zhang family. Disappointed by his father's hesitation, the uncle angrily declares, "Huff, you won't help me? I, as their uncle, owe them too much. Even if I have to risk my life today, I will." But he is suddenly cut off by a booming voice commanding, "Everyone stop right there," leaving both of them to gasp, "Huh?" Standing silently in a gray robe with his hands behind his back, the powerful guardian prepares to intervene. Stepping forward, the guardian unleashes a colossal pillar of brilliant blue light that splits the battlefield as he declares, "I am Tu Yuantian, the guardian of China, and I hereby order, stop it now." Standing majestically amidst the dispersing energy, the guardian commands once more with absolute authority, "Stop it now." Seeing the legendary protector finally step in, the relieved spectators whisper, "It's the guardian." It turns out that the legendary guardian of China is real. He finally stood up. The guardian has spoken. Stop, as the attackers halt their advance. Glaring at Ye Chen, the blue-haired elder slyly contemplates, although using secret techniques can gain extremely strong explosive power, it has a time limit, and this is true for any secret technique. It is in our interest to stop now. Once his secret spell expires, we can kill him at will. Suddenly, Ye Chen completely ignores the guardian's order and leaps forward with blinding speed, roaring, "Die!" as the startled elder reacts, Launching a devastating lightning-fast strike directly into the elder's chest, Yi Chen ignores his protests as the shocked elder screams, "Boy, how dare you disobey the guardian!" With a thunderous impact, Yi Chen's dragon-armored gauntlet punches straight through the elder's defenses, shattering his chest armor. The elder falls to the ground, spitting a massive torrent of blood as Yi Chen stands triumphantly over him and coldly commands, "Die!" The defeated Blood Alliance elder gasps weakly, clutching his throat as he chokes on his own blood, letting out a final, agonizing groan. Sensing his power fading, Yi Chen orders his gauntlet to dissipate before sighing heavily. 5 minutes is still too short after all. The onlookers sweat in absolute shock and panic, stammering, "He actually dared to disobey the Guardian's orders. What a crazy boy!" Glaring at the scene, the ponytailed patriarch mutters in fear, "This is finished. He angers the Guardian. Yi Chen will definitely not survive today." Walking forward with his hands behind his back, the furious Guardian Tu Yuantian glares from the shadows and mutters, "Well, well, the bold boy." With his eyes glowing pure white with absolute rage, Tu Yuantian lunges forward to attack, roaring, "If you dare to act in front of me, you will be courting death." Tu Yuantian sweeps down from the air to deliver a massive lightning-fast strike, sending a powerful shockwave directly toward Yi Chen with a loud slap. Seeing the Guardian Tu Yuantian lunge forward, the purple-haired subordinate Ye Lingtian frantically cries out, "Palace Master," as he leaps in to intercept the attack. With a devastating blow, Tu Yuantian's powerful fist connects directly with Ye Lingtian's chest, forcing him to cough up a torrent of dark blood. As Ye Lingtian crashes heavily onto the ground, Yi Chen watches in complete horror and disbelief, crying out his name in shock. Glaring down with absolute contempt, Tu Yuantian sneers, "Oh, you're just a dog. Do you really think you can protect your master? In my eyes, killing you is no different from stepping on an ant." But Ye Lingtian defiantly spits back, "Even if I am a dog, I am better than a sanctimonious and dirty person like you." Clutching his chest in agony, Ye Lingtian proudly declares, "In my eyes, Ye Lingtian, you are not even as good as a toe of the Palace Master," leaving the furious Guardian to growl, "Dare to insult me?" Gritting his teeth with veins popping on his face, Tu Yuantian snaps, "You should know what it costs," as cracking blue energy flares up around him. Yi Chen bursts into mocking laughter, roaring, "Ha ha ha ha! You are a filthy villain who forgets morality when you see profit and tramples on the rules? Are you worthy of being the Guardian of China? Ridiculous! Ridiculous!" Enraged by the blatant insult, Tu Yuantian's eyes turn bloodshot as he snarls, "Looking for death?" Leaping forward with a fierce battle cry, the Guardian channels powerful blue energy into his right fist to obliterate Yi Chen. Suddenly, Lei Shuwei rushes forward alongside his companion and desperately yells, "Senior, stop! Senior, you must not do this!" Trembling with sweat running down his face, Lei Shuwei anxiously contemplates, "I didn't expect Bai Ran to be temporarily transferred. I rushed here after receiving the news. I hope it won't be too late." Halting his strike, the Guardian turns back with an icy, questioning look and asks, "Lei Shuwei, what are you doing here?" Raising his hand to plead, Lei Shuwei urgently begs, "Senior 2, Mr. Ye is a person that Chief Number 1 values very much. Please show some mercy to him, just for Chief Number 1's sake." While Lei Shuwei and Ying Xing anxiously plead for mercy, Tu Yuantian coldly declares, "As the Guardian of China, I, Tu Yuantian, have the right to kill people in China, but since it's number 1, I have to consider it." Pointing his hand out authoritatively, Tu Yuantian demands, "Boy, hand over everything you have, give up your cultivation, and never set foot on Chinese soil again. In this way, I can spare your life." Yi Chen sneers in response, muttering, "Ha, you call this sparing me?" before turning his glowing pink eye towards his allies and declaring, "Lei Shuwei, Ying Qing, no need to beg him, he doesn't deserve it." While Lei Shuwei and Ying Qing gasp in shock, a colossal beam of bright pink sword energy erupts behind them as Yi Chen calls out, "Then try that trick." Standing confidently as his sword is enveloped in swirling pink energy, Yi Chen recalls his ancestor Chen Tianli's guidance. This sword is called Yu Yang Sword. It looks like a sword, but it is actually a sword technique. Take it and use your blood essence to activate it when necessary. No one in China can defeat you. With determination shining in his eyes, Yi Chen proudly declares, "Since Chen Tianli said that no one in China can defeat me, then no one can defeat me. You want my martial arts? Abolish my cultivation? Expel me from China? You are not qualified." Smiling with absolute malice, the cold Guardian mutters, "Since you refuse, I respect your will." Surrounded by floating debris and cracking blue lightning, Tu Yuantian boasts, "You are exhausted and extremely weak now. I want to see if you have what it takes to fight me." High above the cratered arena floor, the Guardian hovers with majestic power as Yi Chen prepares to meet his overwhelming strength head-on.
Flooded with divine aura, the Guardian of China stares down at Yi Chen with supreme confidence and disdain.
Watching from the sidelines, the Zhang family patriarch sighs heavily and thinks, the Guardian has been biased towards the blood alliance and the Lin family from the beginning. There must be some interest transactions involved. And my Zhang family can't even shake the Lin family. How can we fight against the Guardian? Looking down with deep regret, the patriarch contemplates, Yi Chen is facing a death situation. The only thing I can do is to bring Pei Rong back to the Zhang family after he dies. It's also a redemption for my mistakes. Whispering among themselves, the spectators pityingly remark, although we all hope Yi Chen dies, we can't help but feel sorry when such a talented person is about to die. He was already very strong, terrifyingly strong, but his opponent was too terrifying. Even if he begs for mercy now, there's no chance of survival. As Tu Yuantian gathers massive energy in his hand, the spectators note that there are 20 Chinese guardians, each holding the ultimate power of life and death. Forming a mystical sword seal with his fingers, the guardian declares, "Today I will let you see what the power of a guardian is," before commanding, "Go!" as he releases a glowing blue energy projectile. Yi Chen watches calmly as the glowing orb of energy shoots straight up into the clouds. With a thunderous rumble, the energy splits in the sky, summoning two massive black pillars that begin to plummet directly towards the ground. Maintaining his hand seal with absolute focus, the Guardian commands, "Cut!" A colossal, diamond-shaped blue barrier of energy manifests in the sky, ready to crush everything beneath it. Realizing the scale of the attack, Yi Chen bites down hard on his thumb to draw blood and activate his legendary weapon. A single drop of blood wells up on his finger and falls towards the glowing pink hilt of the Yuyang sword. The drop of blood makes contact with the powerful sword, beginning the activation of its latent, unstoppable force. Sensing the blood essence, the legendary Yuyang sword hums violently as it gets enveloped in a surging pink aura. Shockwaves from the Guardian's massive attack begin to blow the spectators back, leaving them to cry out, "The Guardian of China is so terrifying." Desperate to survive the collateral blast, a spectator frantically screams, "Quickly, quickly use the skills to protect yourself!" Ye Lingtian immediately orders his subordinates, form a formation and make sure to protect the palace master's family. Moving swiftly, the red-hooded warriors form a defensive line and channel a protective pink barrier to shield everyone from the devastating explosion. Believing his victory is secured, Tu Yuantian laughs maniacally, screaming, "Ha ha 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 ha! This is the consequence of disobeying me. You will die without a complete corpse, ha ha ha!" A blinding flash of yellow and pink energy erupts on the battlefield, releasing a massive shockwave that vibrates through the arena. The entire arena is completely engulfed in a raging storm of absolute destruction. Suddenly, the Guardian's triumphant smile vanishes as his eye widens in shock, muttering, A colossal pink crescent of sword energy tears directly through the middle of the massive explosion, shattering the Guardian's attack. Yi Chen emerges completely unharmed, kneeling in a low stance with his sword humming with divine purple energy. Smirking with absolute confidence, Yi Chen looks up and commands, "Go!" With a single powerful swing, Yi Chen releases a colossal beam of pink sword energy that slices through the heavens. The immense beam of destructive energy surges across the arena, heading straight for the Guardian. Staring at the incoming unstoppable slash of pink sword light, the Guardian's eyes dilate in sheer helpless terror. With a sudden and blinding flash, the glowing pink blade of the Yuyang sword pierces directly through the chest of the Chinese Guardian. The devastating strike sends the Guardian flying backward through the air as he coughs up a violent torrent of blood in utter disbelief. The immense force of the attack pins the Guardian high up against the shattered stone pillar, leaving him suspended and motionless. Gasping for his final breaths, the impaled Guardian looks down in horror and mutters, "This power is definitely not from China, nor does it come from Kunlun Shu. What on earth are you?" With his question left unanswered, the Guardian's head slumps forward as his life completely fades away while pinned to the wall. The onlookers stand frozen in sheer terror, their eyes wide and mouths agape as they witness the unbelievable defeat of a Guardian. The old patriarch of the Zhang family and his companion look on with absolute bewilderment and dread at the unprecedented scene. A man in a suit grits his teeth in sheer panic, sweating profusely as the realization of what just happened sinks in. Trembling with fear, a spectator stammers, "He's dead! The Guardian of China, who protects China's treasures, is actually dead!" The sky hangs silent above the arena as the heavy reality of the Guardian's death settles over the entire battlefield. A wide shot reveals the massive arena where the dead Guardian remains pinned high above the cratered floor as Yi Chen stands triumphantly below. Terrified spectators clutch their heads in panic, screaming, "Madman! Yi Chen is an absolute madman! How could he possibly dare to kill a Chinese Guardian in China?" Watching from the sidelines, the Zhang family patriarch wide-eyedly contemplates, "This is a monumental disaster. That kid has finally broken the sky." Pointing toward the empty side of the arena, a man exclaims, "Wait, where are they? Lin Juolong, Lin Al, and the two Blood Alliance elders have sneaked away while no one was paying attention." Yi Chen glares at the empty escape route and curses, "Damn it, they got away. Even though I broke their core, they managed to escape." The immense physical toll of the battle and the backlash of his powerful technique cause Yi Chen to suddenly cough up a spray of dark blood. Rushing forward, Yiling Tian frantically catches the collapsing Yi Chen and cries out, "Palace Master!" Holding his weakened master, Yiling Tian desperately shouts for help as Yi Chen struggles to stay conscious. Clutching his chest, a heavily weakened Yi Chen grits his bloody teeth in silence as his vision begins to blur. Recognizing the extreme danger therein, Yiling Tian supports Yi Chen and commands, "Retreat." Yiling Tian yells authoritatively, "Everyone in the Dark Palace, listen up. Retreat immediately. Anyone who dares to block our path will be executed without mercy," as his loyal warriors salute in unison. Carrying the weakened Yi Chen in his arms, Yiling Tian sprints through the chaotic arena to escape the hostile onlookers. Watching them run, a spectator in a wolf hood nervously asks his companions if they should stop them, only to be told, "He just killed a guardian. If you want to die, go ahead, but don't drag me down." Seizing the opportunity, a burly, opportunist martial artist leaps forward to block their path, shouting, "Kid, you are completely out of energy. This is my only chance to kill you." The greedy attacker pursues them relentlessly, laughing, "With your heads, I can easily exchange them for endless resources from the Guardians faction." Suddenly, a hand engulfed in blazing golden fire grabs the greedy attacker by his hair as a voice coldly remarks, "Beautiful thought." With a powerful battle cry, the old patriarch of the Zhang family strikes the attacker directly in the face with an explosive flame-infused palm strike. The heavy blow sends the opportunist crashing violently into the dirt, completely neutralizing the threat to Yi Chen and Yiling Tian. Yiling Tian stops in surprise and asks, "Who are you?" before recognizing the savior, the patriarch of the Zhang family? Clutching his severely burned face on the ground, the defeated attacker, Shu Liyun, whimpers, "I, Shu Liyun, have never offended your Zhang family. Why would you do this?" Pointing his blazing, flame-shrouded fingers at the fallen warrior, the Zhang family patriarch coldly commands, "Die." A massive, scorching pillar of golden fire erupts, completely incinerating the attacker on the spot. The remaining onlookers watch the brutal execution in absolute stun, stammering, "He's dead, just like that?" Standing protectively in front of Yi Chen, the Zhang family patriarch declares, "Yi Chen has the blood of my Zhang family flowing in his veins. If anyone dares to lay a hand on him, you must answer to me first." The surrounding crowd stands completely silenced and intimidated, sweating under the patriarch's intense aura. Staring at the patriarch's back, Yi Chen complexly thinks to himself, "If you had stood up for me earlier, I would have been grateful. But now, it is already too late." Under the secure protection of the Zhang family patriarch, Yiling Tian carries Yi Chen as they quickly make their escape from the arena. Yiling Tian safely carries the weakened Yi Chen through the facility's corridors toward the exit. A heavily armored black military SUV screeches to a halt outside, kicking up a large cloud of dust. A high-ranking military commander steps out of the vehicle and anxiously asks, "Mr. Yi, how was the battle? Did you win? I turned back as soon as I realized my transfer order was suspicious." Insisting on standing on his own feet, Yi Chen weakly tells Yiling Tian, "Put me down," as the commander and his guards salute. Gritting through his pain, Yi Chen commands, "I have only two demands. First, I must see my father within 1 hour. Second, surround the Lin family and make sure Lin Juolong and the Blood Alliance members do not escape." The commander is deeply shocked by the orders, sweating as he wonders, what in the world happened? Did Mr. Yi actually win? But why order a siege on the Lin family? Looking at the battered and bloody Yi Chen, the commander hesitantly asks, "Mr. Yi, what exactly happened while I was away?" Ignoring the question, Yi Chen glares at him with cold, unwavering eyes and asks, "Can you do it or not?" Recognizing the absolute gravity of the situation, the commander salutes and resolves, "Yes, I can. Since you won, I will make sure it is done." After Yi Chen nods in approval, the commander turns to his soldiers and barks, "Immediately lead the team to surround the Lin family. Do not let a single person enter or leave their residence." Looking back at the arena with a lingering sense of dread, the commander thinks, "I still feel incredibly uneasy. I need to go inside and see what happened." Stepping back into the arena, the commander's face pales with horror as he gasps, "This?" The commander stands frozen in complete and utter shock as he beholds the horrific sight of dozens of elite warriors lying dead across the ruined, blood-soaked battlefield.
Surveying the immense devastation left behind, onlookers ask in disbelief, is this the trace of the battle between Yi Chen and Lin Juelong? The two of them fought and even destroyed the martial arts square? A mysterious warrior with long gray hair stands silently, looking out over the crowd in the ruined battlefield.
Suddenly, a drop of fresh blood drips down from above, landing right on the military commander's nose, causing him to mutter,
Looking up in horror, the commander gasps, "Guardian," as he spots the dead Guardian pinned high against the wall.
Staring at the shocking, wide-eyed corpse of the fallen warrior, the commander trembles as he asks, "The Guardian is actually... What happened? What happened?" A panic-stricken witness explains the grim truth, saying, yes, it was Ye Chen. He destroyed Lin Juelong, defeated the Blood Alliance strongmen, and even killed the Chinese Guardian, leaving the commander to gasp, "What?" Back at the medical facility, Ye Chen lies peacefully in bed as his allies gather around. One of them asks, "How is Chen'er?" while another reassures her, it shouldn't be a big deal. The palace master is a miracle doctor. He had swallowed a lot of pills before falling asleep. What he needs most now is rest. Looking at her resting companion with deep concern, the young woman softly instructs, "Then don't disturb him for now. Let's all go out." As the door shuts with a quiet click, a majestic pink and purple dragon aura suddenly manifests over the sleeping Ye Chen, bathing his body in mystical energy. Sensing the profound healing presence of his guardian spirit, Ye Chen weakly thinks, "Reincarnation Cemetery? Blood Dragon? Do you also want to help me heal my wounds?" Inside a grand, high-ceilinged office overlooking a sunset, a military commander stands at attention before an influential elder seated at his desk. The elder peers over his glasses in utter disbelief, questioning, "In other words, that kid not only defeated Lin Juelong and the Blood Alliance elder, but also killed a Chinese guardian?" The commander nods solemnly, replying, "Yes, although I didn't witness it myself, I have done a lot of investigation and interrogation records. The evidence is irrefutable, and I still can't believe it." Massaging his temples in sheer exhaustion, the elder groans, "A guardian was killed, and the impact was huge. You also know their peculiarities." The elder explains the legendary legacy of their nation's protectors. The Chinese guardians have existed for 1,000 years, and there are a total of 20 of them. They generally don't show up rashly unless China is in crisis. This has been the case since ancient times. Throughout history, China has relied on these 20 people to resolve many crises. Silhouettes of the powerful guardians sit around a colossal table as the elder continues. To this day, although the guardians have changed from generation to generation, the number of 20 has never changed. They are outside the rules and have the right to kill any warrior. At the same time, martial arts trial meetings will be held from time to time to decide major events in China by voting. The commander chimes in, "I have also heard about this. As long as more than half of the votes are cast, they can make any decision, even if it means killing anyone or destroying any forces within China." Resting his head in his hand, the elder clarifies, "That's right, but the Guardians are not united. They have now split into two camps. The people Ye Chen killed were the camp Guardians headed by Fang Zhenye." The commander listens in grim, silent comprehension as the staggering scale of the looming political storm sinks in. Turning back to the battle's physical evidence, the commander notes, "In the end, it was that sword that nailed Tu Yuantian to death." Leaning forward with intense curiosity, the elder demands, "What about the sword? Did you bring it back?" Scratching his head awkwardly, the commander explains, "I have tried it, and at first the sword was still stuck in the body. But when I tried to take it, the sword suddenly turned into gas and disappeared." The elder contemplates the mystical phenomenon, wondering, could it be the legendary sword technique? But the sword technique is extremely rare even in Kunlun Shu. How could Ye Chen master it? Is there a master behind him? Shaking his head to clear his thoughts, the elder decides it's useless to think about these things. Slamming his fist onto the desk as he stands, the elder commands, "Baili Shang, you go and deal with the Lin family's affairs first and be sure to complete Ye Chen's request. I will go meet those guardians and find a way to save Ye Chen." Instantly saluting his superior, the commander firmly replies, "Yes." High above, under a clear blue sky, green leaves drift on the wind, signaling a shift in scene to the grand estate of the Lin family in the capital city. Deep within the lavish residence, two gravely injured warriors lie motionless on medical beds, hooked up to complex life support machinery. Shaking his head, the family doctor informs the attendants, "Their injuries are too severe. With my medical skills, I can only prolong their lives for a few days. Even if someone can be saved, they will lose all their cultivation and become completely useless." Enraged by the diagnosis, Lin Ah grabs the doctor by his collar and screams, "Damn it, aren't you the most powerful doctor in China? How could you not even save two people?" The muscular warrior from Kunlun Shu steps in, advising, "No matter how hard you push him, it's useless. Chinese medicine can only do this much. It would be best to take them back to Kunlun Shu for treatment."
Shoving the trembling doctor aside, Lin Ao barks, get out of here. Turning to the burly warrior, Lin Ao desperately says, there is no time to waste. I will get up immediately. Well, I'll rely on you, sir. Suddenly, a panicked guard bursts into the chamber shouting, my lord, something is wrong. The Lin family has been surrounded by soldiers from the Iron Blood camp and Bailey Shang breaks in. Stunned by the sudden intrusion, Lin Ao and his imposing guest gasp in unison, what? The heavy wooden doors are violently blasted open with a deafening crash as the military forces breach the inner sanctum. Marching in with absolute authority, Bailey Xiong declares Lin Zhuolong has been defeated in the martial arts arena battle, and he must hand over Ye Tianzhang immediately as agreed. Another leader ordered to blockade the Lin family. No one is allowed to leave today. Infuriated by the military's impudence, the muscular warrior glares at the soldiers and snarls, dare to block me? You're looking for death. Lin Ao quickly grabs the warrior's arm to hold him back, pleading, sir, please don't be angry. Bailey Shang has a special identity and extremely terrifying strength. Here's my arrangement. Bowing politely to the commander, Lin Ao attempts to negotiate, saying, I'll concede the bet, so let's talk about Ye Tianzhang. But can the blockade be lifted? My Lin family has always been law-abiding. Cold sweat runs down Lin Ao's face as a terrifying thought crosses his mind. Is the #1 leader going to take action against the Lin family? Refusing to budge, Bailey Shang states coldly, the orders of the #1 leader cannot be disobeyed. Anyone who dares to step out of the Lin family today will be killed on the spot. Losing his temper entirely, Lin Ao roars, you are such a good fellow, Bailey Shang. My Lin family is one of the top families in China. How can we keep our dignity if we are blocked by you? Do you really think I'm afraid of your Iron Blood battalion? Pointing aggressively at the defiant patriarch, Bailey Shang barks, fuck you, Lin Ao. You still dare to talk back to me? The Iron Blood Battalion obeys the order and immediately searches the entire Lin family. They are allowed to use special weapons against ancient warriors. Sweeping past the stunned Lin family members, Bailey Shang commands his squad, anyone who resists will be executed immediately. Moving with lethal precision, the elite soldiers raise their futuristic, high-tech firearms, their weapons humming with a dangerous green energy. Left utterly speechless and trembling, Lin Ao can only stammer, you! Enveloped in a surging blue energy barrier, the imposing Blood Alliance warrior sneers. Bailey Xiong, you'd better think it over carefully. You think you can stop even my Blood Alliance members from leaving? Standing resolute under a burning golden aura, Bailey Shang counters with absolute authority. The #1 leader ordered that no one should leave the Lin family, including the members of the Blood Alliance. Glaring with murderous intent, the muscular warrior narrows his eyes and asks, do you think you can do it? Bailey Shang warns the Blood Alliance warrior that although he is strong, thousands of men from the Iron Blood camp are coming, making it easy to kill both him and the Lin family. Bailey Shang breaks out in cold sweat as he senses a terrifying, overwhelming presence approaching. Suddenly, a massive shockwave violently blasts through the room, sending guards crashing to the ground in pain. Furious at the sudden attack on his men, Bailey Shang demands to know who dares to strike the Iron Blood Battalion. A mysterious figure slowly steps out of the billowing smoke and onto the wooden floor. Smirking with absolute confidence, a newcomer dressed in a grand gold and black robe boldly declares that he is the one who dares. Bailey Shang is struck with absolute horror as he recognizes the man as Fang Zhenye, a Chinese guardian. The grand chamber is left in ruins, with injured soldiers scattered across the floor as the formidable guardian stands tall. The Blood Alliance warrior looks on in awe and relief, realizing that the powerful guardian has finally arrived to back them up. Fang Zhenye confronts Bailey Shang, asking if he plans to blockade a Chinese guardian as well. Bailey Shang politely defers, asking the guardian not to joke, while inwardly panicking over why the leader of one of the major guardian camps would show up in person. Bailey Shang sweats profusely, feeling the immense, suffocating pressure of standing before one of the nation's strongest protectors. Fang Zhenye declares that he will protect the Lin family and tells Bailey Shang that if the #1 leader has any objections, he should come face him directly. The guardian then turns his sharp, condescending gaze toward the commander. Sitting regally with his arms crossed, Fang Zhenye coldly tells Bailey Shang that he is simply not qualified to negotiate with him. Showing his unwavering resolve, Bailey Shang replies that despite his respect, he cannot disobey the chief's direct orders. Fang Zhenye's eyes narrow in dangerous anger as he questions the commander's defiance. With a terrifying burst of fiery energy, the guardian effortlessly exerts his crushing aura, cracking the floorboards beneath him. Fang Zhenye warns Bailey Shang that only his past contributions to China have kept him alive, ordering him to withdraw immediately. Bailey Shang realizes in dread that a clash would result in the complete annihilation of his entire battalion. Bailey Xiang trembles in silent frustration, forced to weigh the lives of his soldiers against his duty to complete the mission. Hoping to find a compromise, Bailey Xiang argues that Yi Tianzheng is a regular mortal with no martial arts knowledge and should not be held by the Lin family, urging that he must be released. Amused, Feng Zhenye concedes that he can grant this small favor to the #1 leader, allowing Bailey Xiang to take Yi Tianzheng away. The Blood Alliance warrior is shocked by this decision and urgently protests, telling Elder Feng that he cannot let Yi Tianzheng go. Feng Zhenye dismisses his concerns, calling Yi Tianzheng just an ordinary person, and berates the warrior for failing to protect the Lin family, calling him an insult to the Blood Alliance. Bailey Xiang's jaw drops in utter disbelief as he realizes Feng Zhenye is secretly a high-ranking elder of the sinister Blood Alliance. The Blood Alliance warrior quickly leans down and whispers a critical, shocking secret about Yi Tianzheng directly into the Guardian's ear. Feng Zhenye's eyes go wide with absolute shock as he questions if the whispered information is actually true. The warrior confirms with absolute certainty that the secret about Yi Tianzheng is completely true. Going back on his word, Feng Zhenye demands that Yi Tianzheng must stay for questioning, telling Bailey Xiang to have #1 contact him if there are any objections. Bailey Xiang is left shaking with rage at the Guardian's blatant double-crossing, unable to believe his sheer arrogance. Suddenly, Bailey Xiang's phone vibrates and rings, displaying a call from the country's #1 leader. Answering the call, Bailey Xiang is given a direct order and heavily sighs, realizing they have no choice but to withdraw. With a tight grip on his phone, Bailey Xiang reluctantly acknowledges the chief's order, agreeing to stand down. Deeply remorseful, Bailey Xiang silently apologizes to Ye Chen, knowing he can risk his own life but cannot lead his loyal soldiers to their deaths. With a heavy heart, Bailey Xiang orders his squad to fall back, carrying their injured comrades away from the Lin family estate. Lin Ao laughs mockingly at their departure, sarcastically inviting General Bailey to visit more often whenever he has free time. Feng Zhenye inspects the severely injured Lin Zhuolong, noting it is a miracle he is alive, and warning that even if he survives, he will likely be permanently disabled. Lin Ao begs the Guardian to save his son, pointing out that Lin Zhuolong is also a Blood Alliance disciple. Feng Zhenye assures him he will help, but explains that restoring Zhuolong's strength requires seeking a master's aid in Kunlun Shu. Suspecting that Ye Chen is hiding a profound secret connected to Yi Tianzheng, Feng Zhenye orders a complete investigation into him and his inner circle. Meanwhile, a peaceful atmosphere surrounds a grand, luxurious Western-style villa on a bright, sunny day. Ye Chen sits up in his bed, astonished to discover that his cultivation has reached the 5th level of the Union Realm, attributing this breakthrough to the Reincarnation Cemetery. Ye Chen stares intently at the glowing artifact, anticipating his father's return through Bailey Xiang and realizing that his own life story is far more complex than he ever imagined. Suddenly, the silent bedroom is interrupted as Ye Chen's phone on the bedside table begins to buzz and ring. Expecting good news about his father, Ye Chen smiles and picks up the phone, glad to finally receive a message. Bailey Xiang speaks with a trembling, apologetic voice, confessing that he failed to complete the task and is ready to accept any punishment Ye Chen deems fit. Perplexed and alarmed, Ye Chen points out that the Iron Blood Battalion should have easily handled the Lin family, urgently demanding to know what went wrong. Bailey Xiang explains that Guardian Feng Zhenye personally intervened and that Ye Chen's killing of Guardian Tu Yuantian has enraged the remaining protectors, leaving even the #1 leader struggling to keep the peace. Feeling the crushing weight of failure, Bailey Xiang tearfully apologizes, stating that both he and the nation of China have failed Ye Chen this time. Yet Chen's shock instantly morphs into absolute world-shaking rage as a violent surge of blue spiritual energy explodes from his body. Ye Chen's overwhelming fury unleashes a devastating shockwave of lightning and energy, completely bathing his room in a blinding blue light. Enraged, Ye Chen yells into his phone, demanding to know where Feng Zhenye is so he can kill him, while Bailey Xiang desperately urges him to calm down, warning that the Guardian is unimaginably powerful and currently at an unknown location. Trembling with absolute rage, Ye Chen grips his phone so tightly that it begins to crack and shatter under his immense strength. Glaring with intense, dangerous anger, Ye Chen declares that the so-called Guardian of China is no longer worthy of protecting anyone. Standing alone in his spacious, modern bedroom, Ye Chen looks down in deep thought, his anger still smoldering. Clenching his fist tightly, Ye Chen stands in the dimly lit room, resolving to take matters into his own hands. Sudden footsteps echo down the hallway as someone runs urgently toward Ye Chen's room. Ye Chen's mother bursts through the door, asking in alarm why there is such a loud noise coming from his bedroom, with several worried young women close behind her. Stepping further into the room, Ye Chen's mother and the other women look at him with deep concern, wondering if something went wrong during his healing process. Lu Lingfeng and Ye Lingtian look on in absolute shock and confusion, calling out to their palace master. Ye Chen smiles reassuringly at his mother, explaining that he has fully recovered from his injuries and that the Lin family has hidden his father in a distant, secluded location. Looking out over the room, Ye Chen calmly informs his family that he must leave for a few days to personally rescue and pick up his father. Refusing to let him go alone, his mother steps forward and insistently declares that she will go with him. Ye Chen smiles warmly at his mother, gently reassuring her that he is strong enough to handle this task on his own. Walking toward the doorway, Ye Chen instructs his mother and the others to stay safely inside the dark palace and not to go anywhere until he returns. Ye Chen turns to Lu Lingfeng and Ye Lingtian, solemnly entrusting the safety of his family into their hands and demanding that they let nothing happen to them. Assuring him of their absolute loyalty, Lu Lingfeng declares that the Dark Palace is safer than anywhere else in the capital, while Ye Lingtian tells the palace master to rest easy. Confident in his men, Ye Chen walks out of the room as they respectfully wish him a safe and successful trip. Taking a firm, decisive step forward, Ye Chen prepares to set out on his perilous rescue mission. Suddenly stopping them in their tracks, the two guards turn back toward Ye Chen in confusion, calling out to him. Ye Chen looks back over his shoulder with a casual expression, casually ordering them to get him a new phone. Sweating from the sudden shift in tone, both men quickly bow their heads and answer in unison, agreeing to his request. Later that night at the teacher's apartments, an elder respectfully presents Ye Chen with the prepared medicinal herbs, confirming that everything has been arranged in the alchemy room. The elder marvels at Ye Chen's legendary status, noting that his battle with Lin Juelong has shocked the capital and made him the most terrifying prodigy in thousands of years, while Ye Chen rewards him with valuable recipe scrolls. Overjoyed and deeply grateful, the elder catches the precious scrolls and enthusiastically thanks Mr. Yi for the incredible reward. Ye Chen calmly dismisses the elder, telling him he may leave, and the elder happily bows and takes his departure. With a loud thud, the heavy wooden door swings shut, leaving Ye Chen alone to begin his work. Standing alone in the quiet chamber, Ye Chen resolves that since Bailey Shang is unreliable, he will rescue his father himself. Standing before a massive, ornate bronze cauldron, Ye Chen realizes he hasn't refined elixirs in a long time, and that his recent battles have depleted his supply, prompting him to levitate into the air. Extending his hand as a radiant golden aura erupts around him, Ye Chen prepares to begin the intricate process of refining new pills. With a powerful wave of his hand, Ye Chen uses his spiritual energy to sweep the rare medicinal herbs into a swirling vortex. Guided by Ye Chen's glowing golden aura, the stream of precious herbs and ingredients pours directly into the top of the massive cauldron. Outside, a solitary window remains brightly lit in the school building under the quiet, starry night sky. Meditating peacefully in midair, Ye Chen channels his fiery spiritual energy to heat the massive cauldron, surrounding the room in a brilliant golden glow. Enveloped in rings of radiant golden energy, Ye Chen hovers above the floor, satisfied that the refined pills will be enough to last him a long time. Ye Chen holds up a glowing blue crystal, planning to store the newly refined elixir safely within the reincarnation cemetery as usual. Sensing someone approaching his door, Wei Chen opens his eyes and calmly tells them to come in. The beautiful, purple-haired Wei Ying steps into the room, admitting she was worried because he hadn't answered her calls and came to check on him after hearing noises. Sniffing the air in surprise, Wei Ying exclaims at the incredibly strong medicinal aroma filling the entire room. Observing the steam rising from the cauldron, she notes how surprisingly fragrant and pleasant the medicine smells despite its potency. Walking casually over, Ye Chen dismisses her surprise, stating that he was simply refining a few medicinal pills. Wei Ying's jaw drops in absolute astonishment as she realizes Ye Chen is capable of performing legendary alchemy. Looking at him with starry eyes, Wei Ying asks if alchemy isn't just a myth, but Ye Chen playfully replies that her rare, cold and bloody body constitution is the true legend, before asking if she has considered his previous offer. Ye Chen looks at the pink crystal pendant around Wei Ying's neck, inwardly worrying that her physical condition is unstable and that her Earth Soul mysterious stone could shatter at any moment. Sitting on the couch, Wei Ying hesitantly agrees to start her cultivation under his guidance, but shyly asks if she can avoid calling him her master. Leaning back comfortably on the sofa, Ye Chen smiles and tells her that titles are just formalities, and she can call him whatever she likes. Ye Chen then asks her how she has been progressing with the basic practice technique he gave her, encouraging her to try demonstrating it now. Nodding obediently, Wei Ying brings her hands together to form a precise spiritual hand seal. Suddenly, a powerful and blinding surge of icy blue energy erupts from Wei Ying's body, lifting her into the air.
Ye Chen watches in awe, thinking that her innate icy constitution is truly extraordinary, as even basic frost skills allow her to emit such a terrifying chill. Suddenly, Ye Chen's eyes go wide in complete shock and disbelief as something unexpected happens during her demonstration. With a sharp cracking sound, the room begins to freeze as icy spiritual energy surges uncontrollably. Looking on in utter disbelief, Ye Chen exclaims in shock as Wei Ying is suddenly encased in a massive, rapidly expanding fortress of glowing blue ice crystals. Under the immense pressure of her power, the ice crystals begin to violently shatter and fly in all directions, forcing Ye Chen to take a defensive stance. Channeling his spiritual power with a loud roar, Ye Chen unleashes a brilliant wave of energy to contain the destructive icy blast. Thrusting his palm forward, Ye Chen forms a blazing protective barrier to shield himself and the room from the flying shards of frozen energy. Gritting his teeth against the freezing wind, Ye Chen is amazed that merely practicing the basic cultivation technique for the first time could trigger such a massive, unnatural phenomenon. Sensing the extreme danger, Ye Chen's red blood dragon manifests itself, roaring fiercely to protect its master from the freezing temperature. Ye Chen looks on in shock, realizing that her legendary extreme evil body is far more terrifying and powerful than he had ever imagined. Urgently telling her to stop, Ye Chen steps toward Wei Ying, whose face is already beginning to show the chilling effects of the frost. As ice crawls up her legs, Wei Ying's golden eyes widen in shock and confusion, completely bewildered by what is happening to her body. Surveying the shattered remnants of the ice crystals scattered around the room, Wei Ying asks herself in disbelief if she was really the one who caused all this destruction. In a panic, chibi-style Wei Ying sweat drops and holds out her bank card, pleading with Ye Chen and offering her salary of 30,000 yuan to compensate for messing up his room. Reassuring her, Ye Chen tells her that the apartment doesn't matter since he won't be staying there long anyway, reminding her that her safety and potential are far more valuable than any furniture. With starry, excited eyes, Wei Ying eagerly asks if she can really become stronger than him, and when Ye Chen replies that she must practice diligently, she enthusiastically vows to work as hard as possible. Striking a heroic pose, Wei Ying proudly declares that she will protect Ye Chen from now on, while Ye Chen just stares at her in deadpan amusement. Handing her a glowing gemstone, Ye Chen tells her to protect herself first and to replace the deteriorating stone on her necklace with this new Earth Spirit mysterious stone. While Wei Ying accepts the stone with a curious murmur, Ye Chen silently notes that he deliberately saved a portion of the Earth Spirit mysterious stone specifically for her. Suddenly, a loud knocking at the door echoes through the apartment, immediately putting Ye Chen on high alert as he suspects an enemy might have arrived. Stepping protectively in front of Ye Chen, Wei Ying bravely tells him to stay back and leave any danger to her, though Ye Chen can only sweat drop, thinking to himself that she isn't stronger than him yet. Opening the door, Wei Ying asks the visitor who he is, and the polite young man bows respectfully, introducing himself as Bao Xinhe and asking if Mr. Ye is inside. Stepping forward to greet him, Ye Chen assesses the visitor's strength, noting that he is a remarkably powerful ancient warrior, though he has no memory of ever meeting him before. Bowing deeply with his hands clasped, Bao Xinhe explains that his master specifically sent him to deliver an important message to Mr. Ye. Turning to Wei Ying, Ye Chen calmly tells her to focus on her own things while he handles the visitor, leaving her looking slightly confused. Wei Ying clutches her necklace, utterly shocked to learn that the young warrior's master is actually Miss Jilin. Bao Xinhe rubs his head in embarrassment, sheepishly admitting that Miss Jilin was indeed the one who instructed him to seek out Ye Chen. Instantly visualizing the chaotic, greedy foodie Jilin, Ye Chen sighs, realizing the visitor's delayed arrival perfectly matches her disorganized style, while Bao Xinhe explains he was held up by his monthly trips to deliver snacks to her in the Kunlun Mountains. Flexing his muscles, Bao Xinhe happily explains that eating Jilin's leftover medicinal pills greatly boosted his own strength, prompting Ye Chen to silently pity him while resolving to prepare some delicious food for Jilin to show his appreciation. Ye Chen asks if Bao Xinhe is aware of his reputation in martial arts, and Bao Xinhe reveals that his ancestor is one of China's 20 guardians who is currently preparing to travel from western Tibet to assist them. Clenching his fist confidently, Bao Xinhe assures Ye Chen that the guardian he killed belonged to a rival faction, meaning his own ancestor will gladly step in to help resolve the situation. Smiling slyly, Ye Chen asks when the ancestor will arrive while silently resolving to reward Jilin with double the snacks for sending such a valuable ally. When Bao Xinhe explains that his ancestor might take 2 days to arrive due to other urgent matters, Ye Chen decides that waiting is out of the question and resolves to take matters into his own hands. Wearing a dark, menacing grin, Ye Chen declares that he has important business to attend to tonight, and when a shocked Bao Xinhe asks if he plans to wipe out the Lin family, Ye Chen casually replies with a cold challenge. Placing a hand over his heart, Bao Xinhe solemnly swears to protect Ye Chen with his life as instructed by his master, asking to join him on his mission. With a swift agreement, Ye Chen and Bao Xinhe leap from the high-rise window, leaving a trail of shattered glass behind them as they set off into the night. Standing alone in the room, Wei Ying finally finishes putting on her new necklace, smiling happily as the pink gemstone radiates a brilliant, colorful aura. Wei Ying turns around to find the room empty, staring in silent disbelief at the wide-open, shattered window. Sweat dropping in annoyance, Wei Ying mutters to herself about their habit of jumping out of buildings, wondering where on earth they could be heading so late at night. Suddenly, a powerful, freezing wind bursts into the room, shattering the remaining glass as a chilling spiritual energy fills the air. Startled, Wei Ying looks down in alarm as a massive wave of icy blue energy begins to swirl around her body completely on its own. Frozen in place, Wei Ying's bare feet are trapped in a block of blue ice as the overwhelming elemental force takes full control, casting a dark shadow over her eyes. As massive shards of ice shoot upward, a sinister crimson glow suddenly flashes in Wei Ying's eyes, signaling a dark, sudden transformation. Wei Ying's physical appearance completely shifts as she's transformed into a majestic figure clad in an elegant blue and white ancient gown, her crimson eyes glowing with cold power as she floats amidst the ice. Under the quiet night sky, a massive surge of spiritual energy erupts from the apartment as the newly transformed Wei Ying slowly walks through the shattered window. Enveloped in a soft, mystical light, she stands at the edge of the broken window, staring out into the dark night in complete silence. Leaping effortlessly into the air, the transformed Wei Ying glides gracefully down from the high-rise apartment building. Her elegant blue gown and long hair flutter in the wind as she descends through the night sky, radiating a powerful, icy blue aura. Suddenly, Wei Ying's original consciousness begins to wake up inside her flying body, her eyes widening in absolute terror. Screaming in sheer panic, Wei Ying realizes she is falling from the sky and frantically tells herself that, unlike the powerful warriors, she will definitely die from a fall like this. Flailing wildly in midair in her beautiful ancient dress, Wei Ying desperately cries out that she is too young to die and has never even had a boyfriend. Looking down at the approaching ground in absolute horror, Wei Ying can only scream in panic as she continues her terrifying descent. Two figures of Wei Ying float in the air, with her original self looking stunned and confused beside her elegantly dressed, newly transformed physical body. Under the night sky, chilling blue mist and ice crystals spread across the ground near the apartment building, accompanied by sharp cracking sounds. The transformed Wei Ying descends from the air and lands gracefully on the frozen ground. Touching her chest with a sigh of relief, Wei Ying says that she was scared to death. Looking down at her beautiful ancient gown, Wei Ying wonders where these cold-to-the-touch clothes came from and who just spoke to her. A glowing spiritual double appears behind her, identifying itself as the evil blood cold body within her and urging her to hurry and leave to find Ye Chen. Startled to see a double that looks exactly like her, Wei Ying asks who she is, prompting the exasperated double to call her an idiot and reiterate that she is the evil blood cold body. Explaining that she manifested only because Wei Ying desperately wanted to catch up to Ye Chen, the double decides she will take full control of the body. The evil blood-cold body double channels a powerful stream of icy spiritual energy from her hand. Original Wei Ying looks on with wide-open, startled eyes. A sudden, sharp sound effect rings out as her eyes glow with a crimson, powerful light, signaling her transformation. Squeezed out of her own physical form, translucent spirit Wei Ying floats in the air, crying out in shock that her consciousness has been pushed out. Looking at her possessed physical self, Spirit Wei Ying is amazed to find that her evil blood cold body can speak, realizing she can regain control if she works hard. Deciding to see what her possessed body plans to do, Spirit Wei Ying floats after her as they fly toward their destination. At a park-like estate containing a circular pool, Bao Xinhe explains to Ye Chen that this area is actually the territory of the Lin family. Bao Xinhe warns that the Lin family is protected by an incredibly powerful formation that once killed a martial arts master, though Ye Chen notes that it seems far inferior to the Ghost Prisons formation. Declaring that he is different from that master, Ye Chen raises a glowing yellow spiritual talisman. Close-up of Ye Chen wrapping the yellow talisman around his fingers, preparing to execute a precise strike. Directing his talisman-wrapped finger at the invisible barrier, Ye Chen focuses his spiritual power on a single point. His finger makes contact, causing the protective barrier to crack like glass with sharp cracking noises.
Ye Chen calmly asserts that there is no need for brute force to break this formation. With a loud shattering sound, the massive blue protective barrier completely disintegrates into countless shards. A powerful gust of wind and energy sweeps across the area as the barrier collapses. Covering his face in sheer disbelief, Bao Xinhe exclaims in shock that Yi Chen so easily broke a formation passed down for hundreds of years. Yi Chen stands calmly in the wind as the remnants of the barrier disperse. With the protective illusion torn away, the grand and ancient mansion of the Lin family is fully revealed. Inside the mansion, the muscular masked warrior and the older mustache man are startled by the massive boom of the breaking formation. Sweating in panic, the muscular warrior turns around and asks in shock what just happened. The older mustache man gasps in utter disbelief, realizing their ancient protective formation has been forcibly broken for the first time in hundreds of years. Rushing out of the hall, the mustache man urgently demands that his men fetch the outdoor surveillance footage immediately. A panicked disciple runs up to him, yelling that they shouldn't bother with the footage because the enemy has already breached their defenses. The disciple adds that the guards who went to fight the intruders are likely no match for them, pleading with his master to take action. The mustache man's eyes widen in alarm as he senses something fast approaching from the sky. A streak of light cuts through the night sky directly toward the courtyard. The incoming object crashes violently into the ground, causing a powerful explosion. Shielding his face from the blast and smoke, the mustache man curses and wonders what kind of hidden weapon was thrown. As the dust settles, two motionless bodies are revealed, prompting him to gasp that they are corpses. Looking closer, the mustache man is horrified to recognize that the dead bodies belong to members of his own Lin family. The two leaders look down in disbelief at the bodies of their disciples cratered in the stone courtyard. Shocked by the brutality, the muscular warrior remarks that their enemy is ruthless enough to use their own family members' corpses as projectiles. The mustache man sweat drops, nervously admitting that he has no idea who could be doing this. Sudden whooshing sound effects cut through the air as more attacks launch from above. The mustache man is startled and looks up with a look of pure shock. Close-up of his terrified eye, reflecting the imminent danger. High in the night sky, a cluster of glowing, icy blue energy spheres hovers threateningly. Realizing the danger, the mustache man screams that it's bad while the muscular warrior steps forward to intercept the attack. The muscular warrior unleashes a green protective dome to shield them as the icy blue beams rain down. The powerful beams crash relentlessly against their shield and the surrounding ground, triggering violent explosions. The entire area is engulfed in a massive shockwave of freezing blue spiritual energy. Gritting his teeth against the immense pressure, the mustache man struggles behind the shield, frantically asking who could possibly possess such terrifying power. A sudden slash of energy cuts through the air, leaving a trace of cold wind and sparking absolute confusion. Emerging from the smoke under the crescent moon, Ye Chen stands menacingly with glowing red eyes, holding a defeated disciple by the head while Bao Xinhe stands guard with his spear. Looking down with cold fury, Yi Chen explains that he came to the Lin family to find his father, but they chose to play a foolish joke on him instead. Ye Chen's eyes narrow in a chilling grin as he demands of Lin Ao if they really thought it was funny to claim his father had already been transferred. In a fit of rage, the mustache leader Lin Ao screams at Ye Chen, furious that he dared to bring destruction upon the proud Lin family. Gritting his teeth, Lin Ao roars in absolute anger as the sheer scale of the intrusion and devastation sinks in. Screaming in horror, Lin Ao witnesses his men being ruthlessly torn to pieces as the battle escalates around them. A powerful pink slash of energy rips across the courtyard as a desperate battle cry echoes through the estate. With a terrifying, sadistic smirk, Yi Chen holds a defeated guard by the head, ready to unleash another devastating attack. A powerful shockwave of blue light flings another unfortunate Lin family disciple high into the air. Lin Ao rushes forward desperately in a frantic attempt to catch the falling body of his disciple. Suddenly, a brutal crimson slash rips through the air, dealing a heavy blow to Lin Ao before he can even react. Blood splatters through the air as Lin Ao gasps in agony, completely overwhelmed by the sheer force of the surprise attack. Leaping high into the night sky, Yi Chen prepares to deliver a finishing blow to the struggling mustache leader. With a powerful, glowing punch, Ye Chen strikes Lin Ao directly in the face, sending him hurtling toward the ground. A massive, explosive shockwave of blue spiritual energy erupts as Lin Ao crashes violently into the stone wall. Battered, bruised, and covered in blood, Lin Ao slumps against the shattered stone wall, completely defeated. Suddenly, Ye Chen's eyes widen in surprise as he senses a new, incredibly powerful presence approaching from behind. The muscular, masked warrior charges forward, enveloped in a massive, terrifying green spiritual beast aura to intercept the intruder. Seeing the incoming beast, Ye Chen grins widely and summons his own legendary power, shouting out for the Blood Dragon. A colossal crimson blood dragon erupts behind Ye Chen, roaring mightily as it envelops him in an overwhelming wave of red energy. The glowing pink aura of the blood dragon clashes violently against the brilliant green energy of the muscular warrior's beastly shield. The two combatants clash head-on, gritting their teeth as sparks of intense spiritual energy fly between them. A sharp cracking sound echoes through the air as their bones undergo intense strain under the massive pressure of the clash. The muscular warrior roars that he will kill Ye Chen first, throwing a desperate and powerful punch toward him. X-ray vision reveals the horrific impact of the clash as the bones in the warrior's limb begin to fracture under Ye Chen's superior strength. With a loud shattering sound, the intense pressure completely breaks the warrior's bones apart. The destructive shockwave ripples through the muscular warrior's entire skeleton, shattering his bones from the inside out. Delivering a spectacular spin kick, Ye Chen sends the defeated muscular warrior flying backward in a trail of blue light. Heavy steam rises from Ye Chen's body as he catches his breath, sweat dropping slightly at the intensity of the struggle. The muscular warrior lies completely paralyzed and defeated on the shattered stone floor, unable to move a single muscle. Coughing up blood, the warrior looks up in utter disbelief, realizing that Ye Chen's monstrous growth rate is completely out of this world. Realizing the danger Ye Chen poses to his organization, the warrior resolves to send a warning to the Blood Alliance, even if it takes his very last breath. With a final, trembling effort, his bleeding hand taps on his phone screen to transmit the critical message. Exhausting his remaining strength, the muscular warrior closes his eyes and slumps over, dead on the cold ground. Looking at the scene in utter awe, Bao Xinhe thinks to himself that a master this powerful has no need for his protection, realizing he is only fit to be Ye Chen's errand boy. Ye Chen turns and commands Bao Xinhe to search every single corner of the estate for any trace of Lin Zhuolong or his father, warning that anyone who interferes must be killed. Walking over to the defeated Lin Ao, Ye Chen ruthlessly grabs him by his hair and lifts his bloody face. Staring down coldly, Ye Chen demands to know the exact whereabouts of his father, Ye Tianzang and Lin Zhuolong. Spitting blood, Lin Ao laughs defiantly, telling Ye Chen that even if he destroys the entire Lin family, he will never find either of them. Lin Ao silently recalls that Lin Zhuolong, the injured Blood Alliance senior, and Ye Tianzang have all been taken away by Feng Jianye for treatment. Realizing some secrets are beyond his own clearance, Lin Ao tells Ye Chen that there are some things he will never be able to shake, even if he tries. Bao Xinhe returns to report that the rooms are empty and they may have been moved ahead of time, but reveals he found something else. Lin Ao bursts into maniacal laughter, mocking Ye Chen and gloating that his father will remain lost to him forever. Holding up a piece of fabric, Bao Xinhe explains that he found scraps of cloth hidden under the floor tiles, featuring numbers written in blood that look like some kind of secret code. Upon hearing this, Lin Ao's eyes widen in absolute horror as he gasps in shock, realizing his secrets have been exposed. A chilling silence sweeps over the courtyard as the defeated members of the Lin family lie scattered across the cold ground. Shaking in panic, Lin Ao wonders in disbelief how Ye Tianzang could have managed to leave a hidden message in blood under his nose. Bao Xinhe hands over the hidden pieces of fabric to Ye Chen, hoping that this clue will help them track down his father's location. Taking the stack of cloth scraps, Ye Chen stares at the blood-written numbers in quiet surprise, realizing they hold the key to finding his father. Looking closely at the piece of paper in his hands, Ye Chen realizes that his father has left him a secret code. Looking at the paper in surprise, Bao Xinhe mutters in disbelief, wondering how it could possibly be a code. Bao Xinhe asks if Ye Chen's father was a secret agent, expressing worry that the Lin family might have cracked the code, but Ye Chen confidently reassures him that only he and his father can decipher it. Clenching his fist with a confident grin, Ye Chen says he will deal with deciphering the code once he gets back. Looking down at the defeated Lin Ao, Ye Chen's expression turns serious as he realizes the code might not actually record his father's exact location. Bending down toward the bloodied mustache leader, Ye Chen tells himself that what needs to be done must still be done. Covered in blood and sweat, Lin Ao looks up defiantly, asking Ye Chen if he intends to torture and interrogate him. Slumped on the ground, Lin Ao sneers and declares that even if he dies, he will never reveal Ye Tianzang's whereabouts. Raising his hand as a golden floral ring of spiritual energy erupts around him, Ye Chen calmly notes that many are curious about where he disappeared to for 5 years, revealing that the answer is Kunlun Shu. Shocked and sweating, Lin Ao screams that it is impossible because no sect or power in Kunlun Shu has any information about him. Ye Chen's face darkens as he explains that he never joined any sect, but instead struggled in a darkness where life was worse than death. Summoning powerful glowing needles from his fingers, Ye Chen declares that his greatest skill is actually medicine, not martial arts. Lin Ao looks up in absolute terror as Ye Chen reminds him that doctors possess the power of life and death. Gritting his teeth in cold anger, Ye Chen unleashes his spiritual needles directly into Lin Ao's head, warning him that some medical techniques can make life worse than death. Golden needles pierce Lin Ao's forehead, causing him to scream in pure agony as blood pours from his eyes and mouth. Trembling and convulsing violently on the stone floor, Lin Ao begs desperately for Ye Chen to just kill him quickly. Standing coldly over the suffering leader, Ye Chen smirkfully warns him that he won't die easily, as the agonizing pain will last for at least 3 hours. Unable to endure the torture for even a few seconds, Lin Ao completely breaks, crying out that Ye Tian was taken away by Fang Zhanye and pleading once more for a swift death. Ye Chen's eyes flash with a deadly red glow as he repeats the name of his target, Fang Zhanye. Turning his back, Ye Chen coldly orders Bao Xinhe to execute Lin Ao since he has no more information to offer. With a swift, brutal strike of his sword, Bao Xinhe executes the defeated leader, leaving a splash of blood on the stone floor. Walking through the courtyard, Ye Chen asks Bao Xinhe if he knows where Fang Zhanye lives, but Bao Xinhe admits that the guardians rarely contact each other. Suddenly, a cell phone lying near a dead guard's hand begins to vibrate and ring loudly in the quiet courtyard. Close-up of the ringing smartphone screen displaying incoming green and red call options. Ye Chen walks over, picks up the vibrating phone, and prepares to answer the call. Ye Chen answers the phone to hear a voice asking if he has been captured, but Ye Chen mockingly interrupts, revealing that the Lin family has been destroyed and challenging Fang Zhanye to face him. Infuriated on the other end of the line, Fang Zhanye roars in anger, boasting about the grandeur of the Lin family and declaring that his approaching apprentice will leave Ye Chen dead without a burial. With a cold expression, Ye Chen crushes the smartphone in his bare hand, leaving it shattered and smoking. Holding the smoking, crushed remains of the phone, Ye Chen mutters to himself, mocking the old man for not showing up personally. Tossing the ruined phone over his shoulder, Ye Chen casually states that he will wait there to face his opponent's disciples instead. Ye Chen hops up and sits casually on a large stone monument, resolving to see if Fang Zhanye can keep his composure after his followers are wiped out. Bao Xinhe looks back at Ye Chen in surprise, wondering if they really plan to take on all the incoming enemies. Bao Xinhe suddenly alerts Ye Chen that the enemies have arrived, while Ye Chen calmly replies that he is already aware. 3 powerful martial artists stride into the courtyard, their leader smirking arrogantly as he remarks how long it has been since he heard such boastful words. The leader boasts that they have been training in the mountains with their master for so long that the world has forgotten them. The smug martial artist tells Ye Chen that the top master on the Grandmaster list is merely their weakest junior brother, demanding that he kneel and accept a quick death. Sitting lazily on the rock with his chin resting on his hand, Ye Chen completely ignores the threat and simply asks where Fang Zhanye is. Infuriated by Ye Chen's dismissive attitude, the 3 warriors call him bold and demand to know who he thinks he is to call their master by his name. In an instant, the lead attacker moves with incredible speed, turning into a purple blur as he rushes forward. The attacker draws his sword in a flash of light, sweeping past Ye Chen to deliver a lethal strike. Leaping high into the air, the warrior swings his glowing blue blade down with full force, shouting that he will grant Ye Chen's wish to die. Reacting instantly, Ye Chen unleashes his devastating burning heavenly palm, charging his hand with blazing bright orange fire. Ye Chen's flaming palm clashes violently against the attacker's sword, triggering a massive fiery explosion that illuminates the night sky. Close-up of the combatant's feet sliding back across the shattered stone pavement from the powerful impact of the clash. A massive dark mushroom cloud of smoke and spiritual energy rises from the courtyard as the shockwave of their clash settles. Gliding back, the lead attacker looks at Ye Chen with growing concern, silently realizing that his opponent's strength surpasses even that of the Blood Alliance. 2 fighters stand at a distance, staring each other down through the rising dust of the courtyard. Looking down at his trembling, smoking hand, the warrior is shocked to find himself at a disadvantage, realizing Ye Chen's strength is far beyond expectations. Recognizing the danger, the leader turns and commands his 2 martial brothers to join the fight and attack Ye Chen together. The other 2 disciples draw their swords and leap forward in unison, shouting in agreement as they charge at Ye Chen. 2 of the enemy disciples slash their swords in unison as a sharp swooshing sound echoes through the night. Bao Xinhe gestures frantically towards the ongoing fight, warning, "Mr. Ye, the 3 of them are extremely powerful, and they are indeed the strong ones hiding in the dark of China." Brandishing his spear, Bao Xinhe charges forward, shouting, "Let me help you," while one of the enemy disciples mockingly retorts, "Bao Xinhe, do you dare to join the war with your strength?" Bao Xinhe's spear clashes violently against the enemy's sword, unleashing a burst of bright sparks and a sharp clashing sound. In complete shock, Bao Xinhe gasps, "What?" as he senses the overwhelming counterforce from the clash. With a sharp, shattering sound, the tip of Bao Xinhe's spear is forcefully broken off by the enemy's powerful strike. Staring down at Bao Xinhe, the masked warrior sneers, overreaching as Bao Xinhe looks back in complete dismay at his ruined weapon. A swift, dark energy slash sweeps through the air, carrying a lethal intent. Swooping down from above, Yi Chen appears right behind the masked disciple, declaring, "You are happy too early," while the enemy looks back in surprise. Staring at the golden energy gathering around his opponent, the masked warrior breaks into a cold sweat of terror. With a devastating blow, Yi Chen unleashes a powerful punch directly into the masked disciple's chest, accompanied by a booming impact sound. The masked disciple is violently thrown backward, coughing up blood as he crashes onto the stone floor with a heavy thud. Close-up of Yi Chen's eyes narrowing in intense, cold fury as he stares down at his fallen foe. Raising his foot high to deliver a decisive stomp, Yi Chen coldly commands, "Die!" Seeing their comrade in mortal danger, the other two disciples rush forward in a panic, shouting, "Don't even think about it! If you dare to kill him, you will die!" Clenching his jaw, Yi Chen clicks his tongue in deep annoyance, muttering, "Tss." Reacting instantly, Yi Chen grabs the back of Bao Xinhe's collar to pull him away from the incoming danger. With a swift motion, Yi Chen drags Bao Xinhe out of the way just as a powerful dual sword strike from the remaining disciples slashes the empty air behind them. The defeated masked disciple lies groaning on the ground, while the other two disciples stand together, looking at Yi Chen with high caution. Looking down at his injured companion, the lead disciple orders, "Brother, you should keep an eye on him," while the injured warrior apologizes, "Sorry, his movements were so strange that I couldn't keep track of him." The three disciples stand together as the leader remarks grimly, "If he wants to escape, I'm afraid we can't stop him." Channeling a surging purple aura of spiritual energy, the lead disciple commands, "Use the secret method and make sure to kill this guy." Clenching their fists, the other disciples readily agree, shouting "Yes!" as the purple spiritual energy flares up around them. 3 massive pillars of purple light and energy erupt from the disciples, soaring into the night sky with a booming roar. Kneeling low, Yi Chen prepares himself for their renewed assault, but he is caught off guard as the disciples move with near teleportation speed, leaving him to gasp in disbelief. So fast! One of the disciples leaps high into the air, his silhouette outlined by purple spiritual energy as he prepares a downward slash. Multiple purple trails blur across the courtyard floor as the disciples move with near teleportation speed. Sensing the swift attack, Yi Chen pushes Bao Xinhe out of the path of danger. 2 glowing blades clash in a flash of bright sparks. Surrounded by a protective purple energy ring, Yi Chen uses his bare hand to block a high-speed sword strike from an attacker. As Yi Chen clashes with one opponent, another disciple leaps down from above with his sword drawn to strike from behind. Screaming with absolute rage, the descending disciple swings his blade downward, roaring, "Die!" Unleashing a defensive blue spiritual energy shield around his arm, Yi Chen blocks the blade and retorts, "Dream on!" Yi Chen holds his ground as he is beset from all sides by the 3 disciples in a blur of clashing steel. Watching the chaotic high-speed battle from the sidelines, Bao Xinhe calls out in panic, "Mr. Ye, be careful!" Yi Chen leaps backward to evade a devastating combination of a downward slash and a sweeping ground strike from his enemies. Mid-air, Yi Chen deftly kicks the flat of a sword away to deflect a lethal thrust. Yi Chen lands a powerful blow that forces his opponents back, their weapons clattering in the intense skirmish. Charging forward, the lead disciple mockingly praises Yi Chen, saying, "Good boy, you have so much combat experience at such a young age," but it's no use. The lead disciple delivers a heavy, straight kick that Yi Chen blocks with his arm, the impact echoing loudly. The sheer force of the kick sends Yi Chen hurtling backward through the air in a spin. With a loud crash, Yi Chen slams into the stone wall of the courtyard, shattering the bricks into pieces. The lead disciple commands, "Don't give him a chance to breathe," as another massive explosion of dust and energy covers the area. Emerging from the thick smoke, Yi Chen stands ready with his sword, realizing, "These 3 guys are too fast. We have to use secret methods." Suddenly, a powerful beam of golden spiritual energy pierces through the dust cloud directly toward Yi Chen. Yi Chen narrowly dodges the golden laser beam as it blasts the ground, thinking, "It seems they don't want to give me the time." Surrounded by a surging blue spiritual aura, Yi Chen prepares to unleash his own secret technique. The 3 disciples dive from the sky with their swords drawn, their attacks raining down on Yi Chen. Facing the onslaught, Yi Chen is forced to block a series of rapid slashes as the lead disciple gloats, "Yi Chen, I admit that you are a genius, but 2 fists are no match for 4 hands." Leaping forward with his sword raised, the lead disciple roars, "Facing the combined attack of the 3 of us, you will have no choice but to die." A close-up of a high-speed clash where an opponent's sword slices across Yi Chen's chest, tearing his clothing as both look on with intense grimaces. Gritting his teeth in alarm as blood drips from his mouth, Yi Chen realizes the situation is dire and thinks, not good. A sharp blue crystal projectile flies swiftly through the air, trailing a streak of light. With a loud squelch, the sharp blue crystal pierces directly through the chest of the lead attacker, drawing a spray of blood. Startled by the sudden turn of events, Yi Chen looks on in shock as a bright, sparkling light flashes behind him. The lead attacker stands frozen in complete disbelief as the massive blue ice crystal remains embedded deep within his bleeding chest. A close-up of the glowing, sharp blue crystal protruding from the attacker's body as cold mist and blood spill around it. Clutching his chest in agonizing pain, the wounded warrior gasps out in confusion. Who is? With a heavy thud, the lead disciple collapses face down onto the floor, prompting his shocked companions to yell in horror, "Senior brother," and "Damn it, who launched a sneak attack?" Spotting an opening while his remaining enemies are distracted, Yi Chen resourcefully notes, chance. Seizing the moment, Yi Chen launches forward and delivers a devastating blue-infused punch directly into the masked disciple's gut, forcing him to spit out blood. The masked disciple collapses to his knees, gasping in pain, as Ye Chen prepares to deliver a decisive follow-up blow. With a swift, brutal motion, Ye Chen delivers a powerful spinning kick straight to the masked disciple's head. Staring in complete terror at his fallen comrade, the final remaining disciple cries out in panic, "Dead? Dead?" Overwhelmed by fear and rage, the lone warrior grits his teeth and retreats, thinking, "Hateful, I'll remember this account." Speeding away through the courtyard, the fleeing disciple reasons, "It is impossible for me to kill Ye Chen by myself, not to mention the strong man hiding in the dark and attacking. I must go back to find the master immediately." Suddenly, a sharp blue ice shard pierces directly through the fleeing disciple's foot, pinning him to the ground in a pool of blood. A mysterious woman with long, flowing blue hair and glowing pink eyes appears, coldly asking, "Want to escape? Have you asked me?" Trapped and unable to move his pinned leg, the panicked disciple looks down in horror and cries, What's happening?" Stepping gracefully over the icy ground, the elegant blue-haired woman in a traditional robe approaches the battlefield. Looking back at her with a mix of fury and fear, the trapped disciple snarls, "It turned out to be your sneak attack," while the woman looks on with a calm, indifferent expression. The disciple tries to free himself, but another ice crystal pierces down, shattering the stone pavement and trapping him completely. Desperate and furious, the trapped disciple swings his sword with all his might, roaring, "Die for me, ah!" With supreme calmness, the blue-haired woman effortlessly blocks his desperate strike with a single finger, completely halting his blade in its tracks. The disciple's eyes widen in absolute disbelief, gasping, "What?" as he realizes his full-force attack was stopped so easily. With a series of sharp cracking sounds, thick pillars of ice erupt from the ground, completely enveloping and freezing the disciple. The frozen disciple gasps out his final choked breath as the icy frost completely encases his face. Having neutralized the threat, the blue-haired woman looks down calmly and declares, "That's enough." Close-up of the woman's cold, glowing red eyes as the icy mist swirls around her face. Suddenly, the blue hair and traditional robes fade away, revealing Wei Ying in her normal clothes, looking down at the frozen battlefield in a daze. Coming to her senses, Wei Ying looks down at her hands in complete terror and stammers in panic, Kill! Clutching her face in utter shock and dismay, Wei Ying trembles as she cries out, "I killed someone." Walking up behind her with a calm expression, Yi Chen gently asks, "How are you?" Desperately trying to explain, Wei Ying grabs Ye Chen's arm and pleads, "Ye Chen, listen to me. I really didn't mean to kill anyone. It was all done by the evil blood-cold body. If I get caught by the police, you have to help me." Looking at her with understanding, Ye Chen silently reflects, "I never imagined the legend of the evil blood-cold body controlling its host was actually true. If Wei Ying hadn't taken action just now, I would have been in danger." Just as Bao Xinhe rushes over calling, "Mr. Ye." Turning to Bao Xinhe, Ye Chen calmly instructs, "It was just an accident. You didn't see anything," while Bao Xinhe looks on in confused agreement. Supporting a still-shaken Wei Ying, Ye Chen says, "Let's go," and Bao Xinhe quickly responds, "Yes." A wide shot of the quiet, blood-stained courtyard of the Lin family as the group departs, leaving behind the bodies of the defeated disciples amidst the shattering ice. Close-up of a large car tire rolling to a stop, indicating the arrival of authorities or investigators. A high-ranking officer steps out of a dark military vehicle, looking down at the blood-stained swords and shattered ice shards in shock, muttering, This! Grimacing in disbelief, the officer declares, "It must have been that kid who did it. He actually destroyed the Lin family." Speaking urgently into his phone, the officer reports, Chief, the Lin family is full of corpses and they have been destroyed. 4 of the corpses are not from the Lin family. Examining the bodies of the fallen disciples, the officer continues, one of them is a member of the Blood Alliance that Lin Ao knows, and the other 3 look familiar to me. I'm afraid they are Feng Zhanye's 3 disciples. On the other end of the line, an older man with glasses gasps in shock. What? What's wrong with Yelchen? Is he really going to war with the Guardian? This time he's not facing a family, but an existence that is above China. Standing in his luxurious office, the commander barks into his phone. Bailey Xiong, come to my place immediately and hold an emergency meeting tonight. An establishing shot of the bright, glittering skyline of Hong Kong's special administrative region under the night sky. A scenic view of the dimly lit, forested Jiaodao Mountain where a traditional temple sits nestled among the trees. Inside the temple, a powerful martial master sits meditating in front of a table holding several wooden tablets, surrounded by a roaring, bright yellow aura of spiritual energy. Suddenly, the master's eyes fly open in absolute shock and rage as he senses a sudden disturbance. In front of the furious master, 3 of his disciples' life tablets suddenly burst into pieces with a loud cracking sound, signifying their deaths. The scene transitions to the majestic, forested Zhangjiang River Mountain, where a grand traditional palace compound is nestled high amongst the peaks under a clear night sky. Inside the temple, the powerful martial master grimaces in alarm, his teeth bared in absolute shock and fury. Looking down in distress at the table before him, the master gasps, life card explodes as one of the wooden tablets bursts into glowing purple fragments. Trembling with rage as stone debris shatters around him, the master roars, Yi Chen, how dare you kill my 3 disciples? Surrounded by a blazing orange aura, the furious master leaps off the ground, shouting, You are looking for death! You are looking for death! Landing heavily as the temple doors rattle behind him, the master declares, Boy, you know too little about this world. How can you, a little beast, be able to kill our people? The master looks down toward a large, high-tech black metal briefcase with a glowing red button on top, thinking, I want you dead. With a swift, heavy movement, the master slams his hand down onto the red button, snarling, I want you to be buried with my disciple! The metal briefcase opens to reveal a high-tech Asus TUF gaming motherboard inside, glowing with a brilliant blue light as it activates. A powerful beam of bright blue spiritual light shoots upwards from the activated device. The beam of light projects several glowing holographic silhouettes of other masters standing throughout the dark temple hall. One of the projected masters, wearing a cap and eye patch, asks, Boss, why are you activating this emergency device in the middle of the night? While another long-bearded master remarks, Old Fang, you don't look well. A wide shot shows the master standing before the glowing briefcase as multiple holographic figures appear around him, one asking, what happened? With a grave and solemn expression, the master announces, the judgment meeting is now in session. Today, I will pass judgment on one person. The master projects a shadowy silhouette of a red-eyed Ye Chen, declaring, This boy is named Ye Chen from Zhangcheng, China. He ignored the laws of China and slaughtered the Lin family in Beijing with horrific cruelty. I sent 3 disciples to stop him, but they were killed by him. His voice rising with intense fury, the master commands, From today on, I will not only kill this boy, including anyone who has anything to do with this boy, all of them will be killed. Hearing this, several of the holographic masters express their outrage, saying, What a little beast, how dare he be so bold? And he deserves to be killed, I agree. While another adds, I agree too. However, not everyone agrees. A master with sunglasses notes, I don't agree. The matter needs further investigation. While another master argues, that's right, Feng Zhanye's one-sided statement alone is not enough. And a third says, I remain neutral. This matter is a bit strange. Enraged by their hesitation, Feng Zhanye yells back, Do you think Feng Zhanye is lying? I am the guardian of China, and I lied to frame a young man? A senior long-bearded master strokes his beard thoughtfully and points out, Feng Zhanye, there are too many doubts about this matter. You only said that he massacred the Lin family, but didn't say why he did it. Moreover, the trial meeting has always been used to decide major events in China. Now it is only open for a young man. It is a bit too much. With a dramatic sweep of his sleeve, Feng Zhanye declares, Since there is a disagreement, let's solve it the old way. In 3 days, all the guardians will come to Hong Kong and we will vote. Meanwhile, at the quiet teacher's apartments under the night sky, Yi Chen and Wei Ying sit together on a sofa, and Yi Chen gently asks, Wei Ying, how did you feel when the evil blood-cold body dominated your body? Wei Ying looks at him in confusion and concern, replying, I don't know either. That feeling is very subtle and cannot be explained clearly. Ye Chen, do you think I am sick or schizophrenic? Yi Chen looks back at her calmly and reassures her, it's not schizophrenia, it's the power of your blood. It can also be said that there is another you inside you. Wei Ying's eyes widen with worry as she asks, another me? What if one day I am completely controlled by her? Would that mean I am dead? Prompting Ye Chen to answer, that's why I let you cultivate, so that you can control her in turn. A projection of the powerful, traditional robe-wearing blue-haired spirit appears behind Wei Ying as Ye Chen explains she represents one extreme of you, a desire for power and killing. Although she can't compete with you for the time being, she will become stronger as time goes by, until she completely takes over your body and slaughters everything. Ye Chen turns his head slightly and advises, the only thing you can do is cultivate. As your strength increases, your consciousness and spirit will also increase. Only in this way can you suppress the evil blood-cold body, or even devour it and strengthen yourself. Wei Ying listens intently, processing his words as she murmurs to herself, cultivate, devour, grow stronger. Suddenly filled with determination, Wei Ying pumps her fists with cartoonish energy and promises, Ye Chen, I promise to cultivate hard and never be lazy again. While Ye Chen looks on with a drop of sweat on his head, thinking, you should have realized this long ago. Wei Ying then blushes slightly and places a finger to her lip, shyly asking, Ye Chen, can I stay in your room tonight? I was scared when I saw so many dead bodies. Ye Chen responds firmly, stay here and focus on your cultivation, while silently observing, although Wei Ying has a special physique, she is just an ordinary girl by nature. Seeing that kind of scene, it's normal to be so scared that you can't sleep. Fulfilling her request, Wei Ying beams with a bright, happy smile and exclaims, thanks. Wei Ying gently closes her eyes as she prepares to focus. Sitting cross-legged on the sofa, Wei Ying begins to meditate as a soft blue spiritual aura begins to envelop her body. Watching her settle in, Yi Chen turns his head away with a serious expression and thinks, I should take care of my business. Ye Chen looks down with focused intensity, his mind shifting to a different task. He pulls out a torn, blood-stained piece of parchment containing rows of mysterious handwritten numbers, 113-1, 924, 1011-1, 624, and 1311-2, 912-3. Holding up a larger piece of torn parchment covered in similar rows of handwritten numbers, Ye Chen reflects, it's been a long time since I last saw my father's secret code. Ye Chen closes his eyes in thought and recalls, thinking back carefully, the last time I used this code was when I was in elementary school. I just thought it was fun, but I never thought it would be useful one day. A nostalgic flashback shows a young Yi Chen sitting on the floor as his father hands him a sheet of paper, asking, Chenner, do you want to share some secret messages between men with your father? Even my mother can't understand it. The young Ye Chen holds the secret code sheet with sparkling eyes, excitedly cheering, Encrypted Whisper, is it the legendary secret code? So cool, I want to learn. His father smiles warmly while holding up a small red book, explaining, the specific decryption method is very simple, but you need to use this thing. Back in the present, Ye Chen carefully examines the fragments of the secret code on the table, thinking even the most powerful masters would not be able to imagine this. He looks down at a common school dictionary, realizing the key to cracking the code lies in a dictionary for elementary school students that can be found everywhere. Pointing to a page of characters, Yi Chen smiles and notes, my father probably wanted to cultivate my interest in literacy by doing this. Since it is a code that even elementary school students can use, the decryption method is naturally simple. For example, the number 11.9.3 means the word on page 11, row 9, column 3 in the dictionary. Ye Chen crouches down and begins cross-referencing the secret numbers with the dictionary, thinking, record it first, then the next word. Ye Chen focuses intensely on the words, his lips parting in realization as he begins to piece the message together. Holding up the deciphered message, Ye Chen smiles with deep satisfaction and thinks, finally cracked it. It's amazing that my father can remember the location of every word in the dictionary. As for the contents inside, Ye Chen reads the message in the letter. Chenner, when you see this information, I'm afraid I've already been transferred by the Lin family. Even if you didn't see me, don't be sad. Although we are trapped, we are not in any danger. The scene flashes back to his father kneeling on the floor to write down the code. As the letter concludes, now you are the only man in the family. You must be strong and protect your mother. Reflecting on his situation against a fiery red backdrop, Yi Chen's father reveals, don't worry about my safety. I seem to have an incredible power in my body so that even the Lin family can't use force against me. I originally thought that the power existed to protect me, but after careful consideration, I discovered that it was actually protecting my memory. Looking back at his past as ghostly images of powerful masters loom behind him, the father notes, "The Lin family obviously had some purpose in taking me away. At first I thought they were interested in your mother's family, but in the end I found out that was not the case. So I thought carefully about my life and indeed remembered a lot of doubts about our Jane Chang Ye family." Ye Chen stares down at the decrypted message with intense focus, his eyes widening in complete shock at the revelations written on the paper. As Ye Chen reads on, a colossal, warm projection of his grandfather appears in his mind, with his father's letter confirming it's all about your grandfather. Under the quiet, starry night sky, a single window on an upper floor of the teacher's apartments remains brightly lit, glowing with a warm and peaceful light. Examining the sheet of squiggly handwritten secret codes, Ye Chen sits on his sofa surrounded by piles of documents, murmuring in confusion, "Is it about grandfather?" Reflecting on his childhood as soft white light particles float around him, Ye Chen thinks, "I remember that my grandfather died when I was young, and my parents never told me the cause of death, so I only have some impression of grandfather, but I don't know much about him." Staring down at the decrypted document, Ye Chen resolves to find the truth, telling himself, "Anyway, keep reading." In a dark, cold cell, Ye Chen's father kneels on the stone floor to write down the final details with a bloody finger, writing, "Chenner, although you don't have many memories of your grandfather, he knows you very well, as if he already knew everything." Ethereal flowers frame a beautiful memory of Ye Chen's pregnant mother cradling her belly, as the letter continues. "Ever since your mother got pregnant with you, your grandfather seemed to be preparing something. He knew your gender when you were 1 month pregnant and gave you a name early on." A memory displays his grandfather standing majestically in traditional blue robes on an ancient windy peak while unleashing a brilliant blue aura next to a young boy. The letter describes, "Your grandfather seems to have a special ceremony for you every year. Before you were 3 years old, he took you to 3 places, namely Hong Kong, Kunlun Mountain, and a 3rd place. I don't know where the last place is. He didn't tell me." A glowing blue aura envelops a floating diamond-like black crystal as the father's message reveals, "He arranged everything for you in an orderly manner, even a little mysteriously. Do you remember the stone I gave you on your birthday? This is also what your grandfather asked me to do. He even set the time for handing it over to you." A glitch projection of a man with a distinctive diamond-shaped tattoo on his neck appears as the letter advises, "If you have time to explore your origins, you can go to Shangjiang in Kunlun Mountain. By the way, your grandfather had a close relationship with a man. I don't know his name, but I remember he had a symbol tattooed on his neck." Shifting through the thick books, Ye Chen pulls out a small piece of cloth containing a hand-drawn red neck symbol, noting, "I drew the symbol from memory on one of the pieces of cloth. There's no secret code on the cloth, only that one symbol, and it is easy to find." Ye Chen sits back on the couch, carefully studying the mysterious red symbol on the cloth as he ponders, "Grandfather, the reincarnation cemetery. It seems things are more complicated than I thought. Grandfather actually took me to Shangjiang and Kunlun Mountain?" An artistic projection shows Ye Chen walking along a snowy, quiet mountain path beneath a starry sky with a glowing green crystal floating above him as he contemplates. An old man takes a 3-year-old child and travels thousands of kilometers to such a place. There must be some big secrets in it. It may be related to my life experience, the reincarnation cemetery, and even more so to my bloodline. With an intense and analytical gaze, Ye Chen looks out into the room, wondering to himself, what is hidden behind the seemingly insignificant Yi family? Suddenly, Ye Chen is startled when his phone on the sofa cushion next to him flashes brightly and begins to vibrate aggressively with a loud buzzing sound. Ye Chen picks up the phone and presses it to his ear, asking with a serious expression, "Chief number 1? On the other end of the line, the stern, gray-haired Chief number 1 sighs in deep concern, warning him, "Alas, Ye Chen, you shouldn't have destroyed the Lin family, and you shouldn't have killed Fang Zhenye's apprentice." Ye Chen stands up and paces around the room, demanding defensively, "Lin Zhorlong can destroy my Ye family, but I, Ye Chen, can't destroy his Lin family? Why?" Looking down at the active call on his glowing screen, Ye Chen points out, "And Fang Zhenye's apprentices wanted to kill me when they met me, so is it wrong for me to kill them?" Sitting behind a massive desk stacked high with paperwork, Chief number 1 explains helplessly, "Well, you did nothing wrong, but you were too harsh, causing the impact of this incident to be too huge." A close-up of Chief number 1 shows him sweating in distress, deeply troubled by the scale of the crisis Ye Chen has caused. A terrifying, dark silhouette of an evil, grinning Ye Chen with red eyes looms over a crowd of cowering people as the chief warns, "Even the Lin family, the most powerful family in China, was wiped out by you. How could other families not be afraid of you? In their eyes, you are a lawless, terrifying demon that no force can control. If one day the younger generation of their clan offends you, will you destroy them like you did to the Lin family? Although I know you are not a murderous person, they don't think so." Pacing anxiously around his grand office, the chief pleads, "In just 1 hour, I received 600 documents that were unfavorable to you. Some people even wanted to use official special forces to deal with you. Things are beyond my control. You better get up and leave the capital right now."
The chief urges him to flee immediately, but Yi Chen grips his phone tightly and responds with unwavering resolve. "My principle is very simple. I won't offend anyone unless they offend me. Even Fang Zhengye is no exception. Whoever wants to cause trouble for me, let him come." The call disconnects with a series of sharp beeps, leaving Yi Chen sitting back on the couch, massaging his temples in deep frustration as he realizes father has been taken away by Fang Zhengye, and Lin Zhulong must be with Fang Zhengye like him. Yi Chen stares ahead with cold focus, telling himself, the key question is, where is Fang Zhengye? I can't figure it out. I can only take it one step at a time. Focus on training first. Strength is the only way. Closing his eyes, Yi Chen hovers cross-legged in midair, channeling his spiritual energy as a bright blue, flaming aura envelops his entire body. Shortly after, Wei Ying happily approaches him in a light green apron, presenting a hot dish with a bright smile as she chirps, "Ye Chen, I have learned a lot of new dishes these days. You must eat it, and you can't stop eating." Ye Chen takes a bite of a freshly made steamed bun with his chopsticks, his eyes widening slightly as he comments, not bad." Resting her chin in her hand, Wei Ying beams with pure joy as she watches him eat, giggling happily, "Hee, then eat more." Cute, chibi-style Wei Ying blushes with pride, hearts floating around her as she boasts, "I learned it all specially for you." Suddenly, a voice from the doorway interrupts their meal, calling out, "Mr. Yi, I'm Bao Shenhe. I have something to talk to you about," prompting Yi Chen to swallow his food and reply, "Come on in." A young messenger in a gray tunic bursts into the room looking completely panicked. Yi Chen calmly hands him a steamed bun, saying, "Mr. Yi, something bad has happened. Speak slowly. Would you like some buns?" To which the messenger replies, "Thank you. Oh, that's not right." Chewing frantically on the bun, the messenger raises a finger and yells, "Mr. Yi, something has happened with our ancestor, so he can't come directly to the capital. He has to go to Hong Kong to participate in the trial meeting with other guardians." Ye Chen's expression turns deadly serious and sharp as he probes, "A trial meeting? Who do the guardians want to judge?" Bao Xinhe gestures frantically, sweating as he explains, "This is the ruling, Mr. Ye." Looking down at Ye Chen, Bao Xinhe delivers the terrifying news, warning, once the votes are high enough, not only you will be in trouble, but also everyone close to you will be in trouble. Ye Chen reacts with a cold, disbelief-filled whisper, "Huh?" Enraged, a colossal pillar of brilliant blue spiritual energy violently erupts from Ye Chen's body, creating a massive shockwave that sends Bao Xinhe flying backward. With eyes glowing red with murderous intent under a blue flaming aura, Yi Chen glares downward and growls, "Say it again." Cowering on the floor in absolute terror, Bao Xinhe trembles under the suffocating pressure, thinking, what a powerful murderous aura. Yet, Mr. Ye? Wei Ying gently reaches out and grabs Yi Chen's blue flaming wrist, looking up at him with deep worry as she softly calls out, "Yi Chen." Calming his explosive aura but retaining a look of icy, dangerous fury, Ye Chen turns his head and snarls, "You're so good, Fang Zhengye. You're actually dragging my friends and family into the feud between you and me. You're asking for death." Looking back at the messenger, Ye Chen demands, "Will all the guardians be present at the trial meeting?" And Bao Xinhe answers, "Including Fang Zhengye." Pointing frantically, Bao Xinhe gestures as a ghostly projection of the powerful cloaked Chinese guardians appears behind him, warning, "Yes, that's right, Mr. Ye. You're not planning to kill people in Hong Kong, are you? You absolutely cannot do that. All the guardians have gathered here. If you go, you will be sending yourself to death." Looking down with cold determination, Ye Chen objects. "Do I have to wait for Fang Zhengye to come and kill me? The message my father left behind also said that Hong Kong was related to my life experience, so I just happened to investigate." Suddenly, Yi Chen's eye widens as he senses a sudden change in the atmosphere outside his apartment, whispering in alert, Outside the apartment door, a heavily armed tactical squad wearing black balaclavas and body armor prepares to breach. One operator points an assault rifle at the entrance, while another behind him readies a heavy breaching ram. The apartment door is suddenly cracked and shattered with a loud wooden splintering sound. Armed tactical operators burst through the broken doorway as their commander barks, "Quick, surround them! We must not let Yi Chen escape!" The heavily armed tactical squad swarms into the room, raising their rifles to corner Ye Chen, Wei Ying, and the panicked messenger. Sweating in terror, Bao Xinhe raises his hands and demands, "Who are you?" A heavy tactical boot steps forward into the room as a voice declares, "Yi Chen, we are the Ancient Warrior Special Forces Battalion. This document was finalized by the higher-ups." The muscular squad leader holds up an official document stamped with a red seal, ordering, "Please come with us. If you resist, you will bear the consequences at your own risk." Wei Ying looks on with surprise and concern while Ye Chen stands calmly beside her, keeping his hands in his pockets.
Yi Chen's eyes narrow as a confident smirk plays on his lips, thinking to himself, he even brought weapons? Interesting. Turning his back to the armed squad, Yi Chen walks toward the sofa and remarks coolly, I like this door very much, but you destroyed it. Ye Chen sits back comfortably on the couch, stretching his arms as he casually warns, I'll give you 10 minutes to fix it, otherwise you'll be responsible for the consequences. Glaring at the relaxed youth, the squad leader bellows, Ye Chen, I know you are very strong, but don't think that no one in the world can deal with you. Because you saved General Bailey, I don't want to use violence. You just need to come with us and cooperate with the investigation. Resting his head on his hand, Ye Chen thinks mockingly, it would be fine if they knocked on the door normally, but what does it mean to break the door directly? Not to mention you, even if Bai Li Shang did this, I wouldn't give him any face. Close up on Ye Chen's smirking lips as he casually counts down 9 minutes left. The squad leader grinds his teeth, his expression twisting in absolute irritation under the immense psychological pressure. Looming over the couch, the squad leader warns coldly, in that case, don't blame us for offending you. With a swift wave of his arm, the commander directs his squad, shouting, get started. The operators raise their weapons and activate bright blue laser beams that crisscross the entire apartment with a low hum. Intersecting high-tech blue laser beams fill the room, generating a highly dense containment field. A massive blue energy cube materializes, trapping Ye Chen, Wei Ying, and the messenger inside a glowing containment barrier. Bao Xinhe collapses to his knees with a painful groan of ugh, while Wei Ying stands by looking utterly confused. Trembling under the intense pressure, Bao Xinhe gasps out, Mr. Ye, these guys' weapons are weird. I suddenly felt weak all over and could hardly move. Looking back at her companion, Wei Ying asks, really? I don't feel anything except a little heat. Ye Chen analyzes the situation, explaining, I see, the light shot from these weapons can combine to create a restraining formation. The stronger the ancient warriors in the formation, the stronger the suppression they will receive. Wei Ying's eyes widen in realization and embarrassment, thinking to herself, I didn't feel it because I was too weak. Believing his target is fully subdued, the squad leader smirks and says, I understand. Now you can finally cooperate, right? Staring back with cold, unwavering eyes, Ye Chen counts down once more. 6 minutes left. Enraged by his defiance, the squad leader snarls, presumptuous. If you still refuse to give in after this, I will have no choice but to take you back, as he reaches out to grab Ye Chen. The squad leader's hand lunges downward through the blue energy field to seize the youth. With lightning speed, Ye Chen blocks and tightly grips the commander's wrist, causing a sharp bone-cracking sound. Caught completely off guard, the squad leader grinds his teeth in shock and pain, gasping, you! In desperation, the squad leader uses his free hand to draw a tactical knife from his belt. He swings the heavy combat knife downward in a lethal stabbing arc. The squad leader yells in anger as he pours all his strength into the strike. To the commander's horror, Ye Chen effortlessly catches and pinches the sharp blade with just 2 fingers, halting the attack completely. Close-up of Ye Chen's fingers easily holding the steel blade, generating small sparks as the weapon is completely immobilized. Sweating profusely, the squad leader cries out in utter disbelief. How is it possible? You've been suppressed. Ye Chen stands up in a flash, wrapping his fingers around the squad leader's throat and lifting him off his feet with immense strength. Looking down at his captive with icy disdain, Ye Chen scoffs, how can a sheep subdue a tiger? You have 2 minutes. Choking and gasping for air, the commander pleads, Ye Chen, please don't make the same mistake over and over again. There is still room for maneuver. I am just following orders. Ye Chen's grip remains firm and merciless as he utters coldly, 1 minute left. Sudden heavy footsteps echo through the room as another figure enters the apartment. A man in a blue coat bursts in, yelling urgently, Mr. Yi, please show mercy. Just cooperate with us and go through the motions. The top management has not yet made a decision on your matter. The newcomer runs up to the scene, pleading, please let him go for my sake. Ye Chen looks back at the newcomer, silently reflecting, although these people have bad attitudes, they only want to take me away from the beginning, not to show murderous intentions. Deciding to show a rare moment of leniency, Ye Chen thinks, in this case, forgive them this time, and prepares to release his grip. With a casual shove, Ye Chen throws the heavy squad leader back, sending him crashing onto the floor with a painful groan. The newcomer bows slightly and explains, Mr. Ye, this order was not issued by the #1 leader, but was a joint decision made by other senior leaders. I can only ask you to go. Otherwise, both the #1 leader and General Bai Li Shang will face great pressure. Walking past the defeated squad leader, Ye Chen calmly replies, okay, lead the way. The newcomer turns to the tactical operators and commands, close it. An operator lowers his rifle and replies respectfully, yes. Sitting defeated on the floor, the squad leader watches Ye Chen walk away, thinking with relief, the mission is finally complete. Turning back, Ye Chen issues a cold final warning, declaring, when I come back, this door must be restored to its original state. Otherwise, you will bear the consequences at your own risk. Sitting defeated on the floor, the squad leader watches Ye Chen depart with a sweat-drenched, irritated expression, while Wei Ying and the panic-stricken messenger remain trapped in the background. One of the masked tactical operators approaches his defeated commander and anxiously inquires, "This leader, what should we do next?" Clenching his fist in absolute irritation, the squad leader orders, "What else can I do? Contact the relevant department directly and replace the door with an identical one." Under a clear blue sky, the grand traditional structure of the martial arts court stands heavily guarded by squads of armored patrolling soldiers. An aerial perspective reveals the vast stone courtyard of the martial arts court as soldiers march in organized military formations. Walking alongside the official, Ye Chen smiles confidently and remarks, "Martial arts court? This place has a rather impressive name." Observing a heavily armed operator, Ye Chen thinks to himself, even the patrolling soldiers are armed with special firearms, but this is only the apparent strength. Ye Chen's expression turns serious as he senses numerous hostile presences watching from the darkness. Analyzing, I can feel that there are many powerful people lurking in the dark around me. If they all attack, it will be enough to threaten me. Looking over his shoulder, Ye Chen reflects on the government's capabilities, thinking, it seems that the official strength is much stronger than I thought. It's no wonder, otherwise those extremely powerful warriors would be lawless. Reaching a wooden door, the official turns to Ye Chen and advises, "Mr. Ye, there are several important figures here who are as important as General Bailey Shang. Please be patient no matter what." Close up on the official's face as he tensely warns, otherwise even the #1 leader can't suppress it. Ye Chen casually waves his hand and assures, "Don't worry, I'm not the kind of person who likes to cause trouble," prompting the official to bark back, "How dare you say that? There's no one in China more capable of causing trouble than you." The official opens the door and urges, "Let's go, don't stand there," as Ye Chen calmly follows with his hands in his pockets. As they enter the massive courtroom, spectators in the audience seats gossip excitedly. "Look, that boy is Ye Chen. Destroy the Lin family and kill the Guardian? What a courage! Do you really think that no one in the world can control him? Hey, there's a good show to watch today." Suddenly, an officer's face tenses as he bellows a booming command, "Stand up!" A row of military officers in green uniforms instantly snap to attention and salute, shouting in unison, "Hello, instructor!" Smiling warmly at the saluting soldiers, Ye Chen greets them, saying, "Ying Ching and everyone from Dragon Soul, long time no see." The official sits down beside the saluting officers, nervously tugging at his collar and wiping away sweat as he says, "Please sit down. I hope today's events can be successfully concluded." Ye Chen stands alone in the center of the grand chamber, facing the long, high-seated tribunal table where the high-ranking leaders sit. A wide shot shows the assembly of powerful leaders and judges looking down upon Ye Chen with grave, unreadable expressions. Close-up of the elder, glasses-wearing leader at the center of the panel who sighs inwardly, "I told you to leave last night. You shouldn't have come. You really shouldn't have come." Pan Yang, the gray-haired chairman of the Chinese Martial Arts Family Federation, slams his hand onto the table and yells, "Ye Chen, let me ask you, you caused hundreds of deaths in the martial arts arena yesterday. Do you admit it?" Smirking confidently, Ye Chen scoffs, "Admit?" before unleashing a sudden wave of blue spiritual energy, declaring, "Since you ask me this?" With a loud shua sound, the massive, ornate wooden leader's chair is dragged across the floor by Ye Chen's invisible power. Ye Chen sits back comfortably in the grand chair, crossing his legs and casually mocking, "I'd like to ask you a question instead. Are you blind? Can't you tell who started it yesterday?" The courtroom erupts in a massive uproar as the audience members cry out in shock. How dare Ye Chen contradict Pan Yang? Does Ye Chen still want to oppose all martial arts families? Doesn't he know that Pan Yang was elected by many of our martial arts families? He represents the interests of most of the martial arts families. Pan Yang slams his fist onto the desk and counters, "Putting aside the fight on the martial arts stage, weren't you responsible for the Guardian's death and the extermination of the Lin family? Do you know how important the Guardians are to China? Without them, China would not be as peaceful as it is today." Pan Yang points a trembling finger at the relaxed youth, accusing him of breaking the rules, abusing power for personal gain, and showing blatant favoritism. Resting his chin in his hand, Ye Chen sits tall and retorts fiercely, "If all the Chinese Guardians are like that, I, Ye Chen, will kill them all if I see them." The spectators gasp in panic at his open defiance, exclaiming, "He is openly going against the Guardian. Ye Chen is crazy, absolutely crazy. I heard that this meeting was to investigate the truth of the matter, but what kind of investigation is this?" Looming forward, Pang Yang declares Yi Chen is bloodthirsty and lawless, relying on his powerful strength, which poses a great threat to China. Pointing directly at Ye Chen, Pang Yang demands, "I suggest we suppress him with force on the spot and eliminate him directly." Suddenly, General Bailey Shang stands up in a fury and shouts, "I, Bailey Shang, object!" Standing his ground, Bailey Shang defends, "Pang Yang, let me tell you, I have done a detailed investigation into the whole incident. I can confirm that every time Ye Chen attacked, he was passively killing people. How could he be considered a murderer? Moreover, Ye Chen has made great contributions to China. He holds a high military rank, is the chief instructor of Dragon Soul, and has even saved the Qinling Dragon Vein." Pointing to the records, Bailey Shang continues passionately. "Without him, nearly 10 million Chinese would have perished. His achievements are enough to offset any sin." Pan Guohua, commander of the Huasha Special War Zone, speaks up coldly from his seat. Ye Chen has made great contributions to China, but he holds a high military rank but remains murderous, which will inevitably affect the stability of China. Such people must not only be stripped of military rank, but also be suppressed and imprisoned on the spot. Otherwise, there will be endless troubles. The judges begin voting, with one raising his hand to say, "I agree," while another sits with folded arms, declaring, "I remain neutral." Enraged, Bailey Shang points back and shouts, "Bullshit! Could it be that the Guardian had murderous intentions and Ye Chen still had to stretch out his neck and wait to be chopped off? Pan Guohua, Pang Yang, don't think I don't know whose interests you represent." Pan Goha stands up and retorts defensively, "Bailey Shang, what do you mean? Of course I represent the interests of the entire Chinese nation, so don't spit bloody words at me." Pang Yang and Pan Guohua turn their accusations onto Bailey Shang, shouting, "That's right, who doesn't know that you and Ye Chen are good friends in private? What's your intention in always speaking for this guy? I suspect that you, Bailey Shang, have lost all loyalty to China. The Iron Blood camp will surely be destroyed in your hands." Bailey Shang points directly at his rival, roaring, "Bullshit, it's obviously you, Pan Guohua, who has two minds. Don't think I don't know what you do in private. You've abused your power to do a lot of evil." As Pan Guohua snaps, "Nonsense, do you have evidence? Bailey Shang, do you really think you are invincible? I am not afraid of you." The older leader with glasses leans forward and commands, "Enough. The people who have the highest decision-making power here are not you. I have a detailed understanding of Ye Chen's affairs. He caused all this to happen in order to save his parents. Although his way of handling the situation was a bit extreme, if I were in his situation, I would probably do the same." Pan Guohua breaks into a cold sweat of alarm, realizing, not good, the number one leader's intention was clearly to protect Ye Chen. The leader continues his judgment, stating, "Suppression and imprisonment are absolutely not an option, but Ye Chen's way of handling things is indeed inappropriate, and the appropriate punishment must be meted out." The number one leader pronounces the final verdict, declaring, "As a price, all the economic losses he caused shall be borne by himself." The courtroom audience responds with absolute disbelief, muttering, "Bare financial losses? What a joke! Who doesn't know that Tianzheng Group belongs to Ye Chen? In his eyes, what does money mean? He can earn tens of millions in the time it takes him to smoke a cigarette. Making him pay compensation? Can this be considered a punishment?" Pan Guohua stands up aggressively and demands, "This punishment is far from enough. At the very least, Ye Chen should be stripped of all his military posts and ranks." Gripping his uniform, Pan Guohua sweats as he thinks of his secret instructions, recalling Lord Fang Zhenye had instructed that even if Ye Chen didn't die, he would have to pay a heavy price. Bailey Shang slams his hands down and objects fiercely. "No, Chinese military ranks have always been promoted but never demoted. If they are removed, it will be a huge shame for Ye Chen." An official stands up in a furious rage, slamming his hands onto the chair and screaming, "You bastard!" In the audience, the military officers look incredibly tense and angry, muttering, "Damn it, that's too much. He wants to insult our instructor." Meanwhile, the glasses-wearing leader looks down in concern, realizing that such a harsh punishment is indeed a bit too severe. Pan Guohua leans over the number one leader and whispers threateningly, "Chief, please think clearly. You are not the only one who has the highest decision-making power here." Looming closer with a sinister smirk, Pan Guohua warns, "If you can't even manage this kind of punishment, then Ye Chen won't be the only one in deep trouble when the time comes." An aerial perspective of the grand courtroom shows Ye Chen sitting calmly in his large wooden chair, facing the panel of high-ranking leaders across the long red table. Standing behind the number one leader, Pan Guohua pressures him further, whispering, "Chief number one, you are responsible for the billions of Chinese people. If you make a mistake, it will undoubtedly be a heavy blow to the entire China." Looking down with a cold grin, Pan Guohua demands, "Are you sure you want to take such a big risk for Ye Chen?" as the number one leader sweats under the immense pressure. Down in the center of the courtroom, Ye Chen remains seated comfortably in his grand chair, looking completely unbothered by the tense atmosphere.
Standing up, Yi Chen firmly declares, I, Yi Chen, will do my own thing and will not implicate anyone else. If you want to strip me of my rank, I'll give it back to you. Yi Chen calmly closes his eyes and thinks to himself, position? Honor? Do you really think I care about these things? How ridiculous. With absolute indifference, Yi Chen turns his back on the judges and begins walking down the long red carpet toward the courtroom exit. Shocked by his sudden departure, an officer in the courtroom stands up and cries out, "No, Mr. Yi." The pink-haired Dragon Soul soldier shouts out in desperation, "You have done us Dragon Soul a great favor and are the most important instructor for our warriors. The Dragon Soul can never leave you, no matter who demands it." Standing tall next to his comrade, Lei Shuwei bellows, "Since Chief Pan insists on removing Yi Chen from his position as chief instructor, then today, I, Lei Shuwei, request to be discharged from the army. I'm leaving Dragon Soul." Pan Guohua points a furious, shaking finger at him and roars, "Lei Shuwei, as the person in charge of Dragon Soul, you actually want to quit? Are you kidding me? Do you really think Dragon Soul needs a leader like you? Get out now!" Suddenly, the entire group of military officers from Dragon Soul stands up in unison, their expressions stern and resolute. The soldiers shout out one after another, "If the instructor's position is eliminated, I will apply for retirement and leave Dragon Soul. I, Zhao Qi, am troubled by injuries and would like to request to be discharged from the army and leave Dragon Soul. I, Liu Long, request to be discharged and leave Dragon Soul. I, Li Tian, request to be discharged and leave Dragon Soul." Ye Chen stops in his tracks and looks back at them, utterly surprised and deeply moved by their loyalty. Trembling with absolute rage, Pan Guohua slams his fist down and screams, "Bastards! You all want to rebel, right? If you dare to mention resigning again, I will take you to court and deprive you of all your rights." Sweat pours down Pan Guohua's face as he realizes the devastating reality, thinking, if all the warriors are gone, what is the point of the Dragon Soul? Once the Dragon Soul disappears, it will undoubtedly be a catastrophic loss for China. Standing up calmly, General Bailey Shang scoffs, "Court, haha. Pan Guohua, what qualifications do you have to deprive them of their power?" Crossing his arms with a confident smirk, General Bailey Shang announces, "It just so happens that I, Bailey Shang, have been feeling unwell recently and would like to take a leave of absence for 10 or 8 years. Do I have to go to court too?" A panicking official jumps up and begs, "No, General Bailey, please don't be impulsive." Another high-ranking officer stands up in alarm, exclaiming, "The Iron Blood Camp only listens to you. Without you, the defense of China will be severely affected by the war." Hearing this, Ye Chen looks back at the general with wide, touched eyes, thinking, "Bailey Shang, even you." Walking over to the Dragon Soul members, Ye Chen says with a sigh, "Alas, I am not a competent instructor. I haven't even been to Dragon Soul more than a few times." Turning to leave, Ye Chen calmly waves his hand and says, "You can still live perfectly well without me, so you don't have to worry about me." Li Shuwei stands his ground and replies earnestly, "Mr. Ye, although you have come to Dragon Soul less frequently, the things you have done are extremely important. The elixirs and martial arts you gave us have saved countless Dragon Soul warriors' lives. We will always remember this kindness." The pink-haired soldier steps forward passionately and adds, "That's right, without your elixir, I would have died on a mission last month. Everyone has always been grateful to you, instructor. China can survive without Dragon Soul, but Dragon Soul cannot exist without its instructor." Pan Guohua's face pales in complete disbelief as he stammers, You guys." Resting his chin in his hands, the #1 leader notes gravely, "Dragon Soul is an important force that secretly protects China. I believe no one here wants to see Dragon Soul disband, right?" Leaning forward, the #1 leader proposes, "How about putting Yi Chen's handling on hold for now and discussing the details at a later date?" Hearing the leader's sensible suggestion, the other judges raise their hands in unison, declaring, I agree, and I agree." Standing up to finalize the decision, the #1 leader speaks authoritatively, meeting adjourned. Sometime later, outside the courthouse, Ye Chen walks along with his loyal supporters and says, "Don't send me off any further, just stop here. We are all busy with our own affairs." The pink-haired soldier looks at him with wide, pleading eyes and begs, "Instructor, please don't ever talk about leaving Dragon Soul again, okay?" Prompting Ye Chen to sweat drop and chuckle, Okay, I got it." Ye Chen pulls out a stack of papers and a small bag, handing them over as he says, "Here are some newly refined pills and some martial arts skills. Take them back and share them with the brothers. Dragon Soul's missions are often dangerous, and I don't want to see any casualties." Clenching the precious manuals and pills to his chest, Lei Shuwei bows and says, "Yes, Mr. Ye," while the pink-haired soldier smiles brightly and says, "Thank you, instructor." Ye Chen turns and waves goodbye, calling out, "You're welcome. Contact me if you need anything. Let's all go back." Walking alone down the street, Ye Chen looks up at the sky and reflects warmly, "I never thought the Dragon Soul warriors would take me so seriously. I was actually quite touched."
Closing his eyes with a peaceful smile, Ye Chen thinks to himself, I will try to help them as much as possible whenever I have the chance. But right now, I have more important things to attend to. A vision of traditional masters appears in Ye Chen's mind as he analyzes. At present, it is certain that Fang Jianye and Bao Xinhei's ancestors are in Hong Kong, and my father and Lin Zhuolong may also be there. Besides, Hong Kong is related to my life experience, making it a must-visit destination. Looking down at his phone as it vibrates, Ye Chen thinks, however, we can no longer rely on the power of the Dragon Soul during this trip. They offended Pan Guohua today because of me, and he will likely use that as an excuse to trip them up. Fortunately, the Dark Palace is already powerful enough to arrange my itinerary. Answering the call, Ye Chen asks Lu Lingfang, what happened to my mother and those girls? On the other end, Lu Lingfang reports, Palace Master, it's only been a day since you left, but they have been asking about you constantly, and some even wanted to leave the Dark Palace. Inside a bright, glowing chamber, several girls sit cross-legged in deep meditation. Lu Lingfang continues on the phone. However, for some unknown reason, they suddenly calmed down and entered the cultivation room to practice. Lately, there have frequently been signs of breakthroughs in the cultivation room. Listening to the update, Ye Chen comments, it's good that they're focusing on their cultivation. Lu Lingfeng, does our Dark Palace have any involvement or presence in Hong Kong? Lu Lingfeng answers, previously the Blood Plum Palace had some assassins stationed there as a branch, but their power was not very significant. Ye Chen firmly instructs, good, I'm heading to Hong Kong, so please help me arrange my travel plans. Lu Lingfeng immediately responds, yes, Palace Master. Ye Chen arrives at a large residential complex labeled Teacher's Apartments and looks up at the tall buildings glistening under the bright sky. Inside the building, Ye Chen stands before his apartment door, smiling at the gleaming wood and thinking, yes, those guys not only replaced it with a brand new door, but they also kept the original lock. Their attention to detail is very impressive. Holding his phone to his ear, Ye Chen thinks, but I probably won't be coming back here anytime soon. Let's see what the situation is like with Bao Xinhei first. Speaking into the phone, Ye Chen asks, Bao Xinhei, do you want to go to Shangjiang with me? On the phone, Bao Xinhei explains, sorry, Mr. Ye, I have already arrived in Hong Kong to welcome the ancestor. Ye Chen calmly replies, no problem, I'll go by myself. Looking around his room, Ye Chen holds his phone and thinks to himself, there's nothing to clean in the room, just get up. Suddenly, Ye Chen is startled by a knocking sound at his door and wonders, Opening the door, Ye Chen is greeted by a stylishly dressed Wei Ying, who smiles brightly with her suitcase and says, Ye Chen, I'm ready. Ye Chen stands completely frozen and sweat drops in sheer confusion, with question marks floating all around his head. After a view of the teacher's apartments complex, the scene shifts to the hallway inside, where Ye Chen and Wei Ying stand face to face. Wei Ying looks at him with confusion as Ye Chen sweats under the awkward silence. Ye Chen looks at her in disbelief and asks, Wei Ying, what are you ready for? Where are you going if you don't go to class dressed like this? Wei Ying leans in closer with a playful smile and says, I heard you called to arrange a trip to Hong Kong with Bao Xinhei, but it seems they bailed on you, so I thought. Blushing slightly, Wei Ying looks up at him and asks, can I accompany you instead? Ye Chen looks at her seriously and questions, do you really want to go? First of all, I went there to handle important matters, not to travel. Wei Ying clings tightly to his arm, pleading, Ye Chen, I have already taken my leave. Besides, I have never been to Hong Kong since I was a child. I really want to go there once. Can you take me with you? I promise not to cause you any trouble, okay? Looking at her sparkling, hopeful eyes, Ye Chen contemplates and realizes taking her there seems like it's necessary. Ye Chen looks thoughtful as he considers the potential dangers she might face if left alone. Remembering her past state, Ye Chen reasons, the last time she was controlled by the evil blood cold body, she was wearing the Earth Spirit Mysterious Stone. This shows that relying solely on the Earth Spirit Mysterious Stone is no longer able to suppress her. If I don't take her with me, something bad might happen. Ye Chen walks down the hallway and says with a sigh, let's go, but you have to listen to me when you get there. Got it? Wei Ying leaps into the air with joy, cheering, wow, got it, while Ye Chen walks ahead looking slightly exasperated. Wei Ying jumps onto Ye Chen's back and hugs him tightly, shouting, Ye Chen, I love you so much, to his utter surprise. Ye Chen's eyes widen in absolute shock as he realizes she has left red lipstick kiss marks on his cheek. Wei Ying laughs nervously and blushes, saying, ha ha ha, I couldn't help being excited, hee hee, before thinking happily to herself, it's great to be alone with him again. Sometime later, the two are comfortably seated inside a spacious private jet, with Wei Ying admiring the view from her window. Looking around the luxurious cabin, Wei Ying marvels, private jet? The legendary private jet. I've only seen it in movies before. Oh my God, I am not dreaming. Wei Ying turns to him and asks, Ye Chen, are you really extremely rich? To which Ye Chen responds, I guess so. I don't know exactly how much money the group has. Xiao Rakshu and her friends are in charge of it. Looking down at the purple stone in his hand, Ye Chen thinks, the Earth Spirit Mysterious Stone is intact, but it has no suppressive effect. It seems that the growth rate of the evil blood cold body is much faster than I thought. Observing her cheerful state, Ye Chen ponders, and after taking off the necklace this time, Wei Ying did not change at all. Could it be that the evil blood cold body sensed my presence and dared not show up? Or was she simply too lazy to show up? Ye Chen holds out the necklace and conjures a burning yellow talisman, deciding, whatever the reason, further treatment is necessary. Ye Chen uses the magic fire of the talisman to refine and infuse new energy into the Earth Spirit Mysterious Stone in his hand. The golden flames subside, leaving behind the newly refined and strengthened necklace sparkling in Ye Chen's hand. Ye Chen hands the necklace back to a delighted Wei Ying and instructs her, put it on. Admiring the glowing pendant, Wei Ying gasps, wow, it becomes so beautiful. Ye Chen explains, it's not just beautiful. When I strengthened the suppressing power of the Earth Spirit Mysterious Stone, I also planted a magic talisman inside it. Ye Chen continues, when you encounter danger, the talisman inside can help you resist damage at least once. Also, as always, don't take off your necklace unless absolutely necessary to avoid harm from the evil blood cold body. Putting the necklace on, Wei Ying smiles warmly and says, okay, I see, thanks, before blushing and thinking, this is the first time I accept a gift from a boy. The flight attendant bows and announces, Master, we have arrived in Hong Kong, as the scene transitions to the evening sky above the Rickerton Hotel. Wei Ying runs excitedly into their luxurious hotel suite, cheering, wow, what a luxurious room! Could this be the legendary presidential suite? Wei Ying suddenly blushes and fiddles with her fingers nervously, thinking, and Ye Chen only booked one room. Could it be that he... Ye Chen turns to her and calmly clarifies, I only opened one room to protect you. At night you sleep inside and I sleep outside, prompting a shocked Wei Ying to exclaim, can you read minds? Wei Ying stomps off angrily, grumbling, seriously? I'm going to cultivate. Seriously? I mean, I think I've got a pretty good figure. You could at least show some interest, leaving Ye Chen sweat dropping in silence. A man in assassin attire stands before Ye Chen, bows, and introduces himself. Palace Master, my name is Qian Jianzhong, and I am the assassin manager of the Hong Kong branch of the Blood Plum Palace. After the merger of Blood Plum Palace and Dark Palace, I am now the head of the Dark Palace's Hong Kong branch. Sitting back comfortably on the couch, Ye Chen gets straight to the point and asks, do you know anything about the Guardians? Qian Jianzhong bows and replies, unknown. After you caused such a scene on the martial arts stage, I learned that there are Guardians in the world. Ye Chen silently reflects, as expected, with their level, it is difficult to contact the existence of the Guardian level. Qian Jianzhong sweats nervously and says, that Palace Master, I have a request. I hope you will agree. Ye Chen looks at him calmly and simply asks, what? Qian Jianzhong requests earnestly, I hope you can allow the branch to take back the killer business. He explains further, since you reorganized the Dark Palace and the Blood Plum Palace, merged the two palaces and banned all assassin activities, we have lost our source of income. We are all trained killers since childhood. We can do nothing but kill people. Showing the impoverished state of the local members, Qian Jianzhong continues, furthermore, the situation in Hong Kong is complex. We're already under pressure from various forces, and with no income, our branch is almost unable to survive. Ye Chen looks down thoughtfully and replies, it was my negligence. I will arrange for headquarters to allocate funds to you later. He then thinks, the Dark Palace headquarters has the support of the Tianzheng Group and never has to worry about financial problems. I never thought that the branch would be in such a bad situation. Relieved by the generous offer, Qian Jianzhong bows deeply and expresses, thank you, Master. Suddenly, a buzzing sound comes from Qian Jianzhong's pocket, and he looks surprised, muttering, Checking his phone screen, Qian Jianzhong's face pales in complete disbelief as he screams, what? Turning quickly to Ye Chen, Qian Jianzhong apologizes, sorry, Master, you just got off the plane and have a good rest. There's an emergency at the branch office, and I have to go take care of it. If you need anything, just call me. Ye Chen can only reply with a baffled, well? Ye Chen looks determined and says, after all, I am a palace master. Let's go and take a look. A formidable, scarred man wearing a vest and tie swaggeringly walks into the hall where members of the Hong Kong branch lie defeated on the floor. The imposing muscular man flares up with a bright purple aura, causing one of the defeated guards to gasp in fear. A wounded, masked branch member asks, who are you and why are you attacking us? We have no grudges or hatred. To which the invader mockingly questions, no grudges or hatred? As he gathers destructive purple energy in his hand. The attacker smiles sinisterly, fully unleashing his purple energy and saying, in that case,
With an incredibly swift move, the attacker unleashes a devastating purple energy slash that cuts down one of the masked branch members. As the slashed branch member collapses to the floor, the attacker mockingly asks, "Isn't this the beginning of hatred?" The attacker continues to boast with a maniacal grin, saying, "You still don't seem to understand that I let you live until now just because I like to wait for everyone to kill me together." Looking down at the remaining defenders of the branch, the attacker proudly declares, "Now everyone is here." Preparing to deliver a final blow, the invader proudly yells, "From now on, there is no more Dark Palace in Hong Kong, ha 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 ha," as he unleashes a massive storm of purple blades. One of the branch members stares in absolute shock and panic as the devastating attack approaches. The devastating purple energy blast explodes, but the agile branch member manages to leap away just in time. The branch member with the headband gasps in disbelief, wondering, "Discovered? How is that possible?" as the attacker suddenly materializes right behind him and mockingly remarks, "Hiding pretty fast." Smiling menacingly, the massive invader asks, "So how are you going to deal with this attack?" The headband member desperately cries, "Hateful," as the invader strikes him down with a heavy blow of purple energy. The headband member is violently thrown backward, crashing heavily into a wooden wall and shattering it to pieces. The masked branch members look on in horror and scream, "Master Zhang," as their leader is defeated. Tian Zhang struggles on the ground and angrily demands, "Bastard, the Dark Palace has never provoked you. Why are you treating us like this? Who are you?" The attacker pulls out a sharp, gleaming dagger, ready to finish off his opponent. The invader answers, "You're all going to die anyway, so there's no harm in telling you. I came from Kunlun Mountain. I took action today because the elders of my clan ordered me to wipe out your Hong Kong Dark Palace." With a crazed look on his face, the attacker licks his blade and screams, "Die!" as he leaps forward to strike. Tian Zhang grits his teeth in terror, muttering, "Ah!" as the lethal blade plunges down toward him. In a split second, someone's eye dilates in complete shock as a sudden interruption occurs. A mysterious figure suddenly intervenes, catching the lethal blade with his bare hands and breaking it instantly. As the branch members gasp in shock, Palace Master Yi Chen calmly holds the broken blade as it begins to burn with a fiery orange talisman flame. The branch members are filled with disbelief and wonder, whispering to each other, "What? Palace Master? He is the master of our Dark Palace, Yi Chen? Isn't the Palace Master at the headquarters in Beijing? Why did he come all the way here?" The massive attacker struggles with all his might, sweating and gritting his teeth in frustration as he realizes can't pull it out. Yi Chen looks at him coldly and says, "I am from the Dark Palace," as the attacker gasps at the intense heat, thinking, "So hot." To the attacker's absolute shock, the metal blade completely melts in Yi Chen's fiery grip, leaving him staring at his burned hand in disbelief. Yi Chen delivers a powerful, fiery punch, sending the attacker flying while engulfed in roaring flames. The attacker screams in absolute agony as the magical flames quickly consume his entire body. Burning in pain, the attacker screams, "Damn it, how could China have someone as strong as you? No, you can't kill me. I'm from the Li family in Hong Kong, and my master is a peerless master deep in the Kunlun Mountains. You can't kill me." While Yi Chen silently reflects on the words Kunlun Mountain. Narration explains that Kunlun Mountain, located in western China, houses many powerful forces whose strength surpasses that of mundane Huaxia, but is weaker than Kunlun Shu, primarily because the entrance to Kunlun Shu is located there. The narration continues, explaining that although Kunlun Shu is geographically within China, it is an independent world with a vast space no less than that of Earth itself. The lore reveals that Kunlun Mountain benefits from the overflowing spiritual energy of Kunlun Shu and is inhabited by those exiled from Kunlun Shu who formed powerful family clans over generations. Yet Chen's eyes narrow with resolve as he thinks to himself, "I will go back to Kunlun Shu sooner or later, and Kunlun Mountain is a must-go place." The burning attacker foolishly threatens, "It seems you understand the power of Kunlun Mountain. If so, why don't you retract your flames? Otherwise you will die without a burial." But Yi Chen simply raises his hand and says, "It's so noisy." Yi Chen intensifies the magical fire, causing the attacker to scream in terror. "You monster, why are you making the flames worse? Ah!" As the attacker's charred corpse lies smoking on the floor, Yi Chen calmly remarks, "I've killed people from Kunlun Shu, so why would I care about you, a person from Kunlun Mountain?" Overjoyed and awestruck by his overwhelming power, the branch members exclaim, "Oh my god, it's our Shadow Palace Master! So strong, so powerful, it's terrifying!" Before kneeling and chanting, "Meet the Palace Master." Yi Chen turns to them and asks, "That person said he was from the Li family of Hong Kong. Do you know anything about the so-called Li family?" A sweating Chen Jianzhang explains, "The Li family is a top family in Hong Kong. They are extremely powerful in terms of wealth, power, and martial arts. We would never dare to provoke such a force."
Ye Chen questions them further, asking, then why would the Li family want to wipe you out? Think carefully. Is there anything you've overlooked? While Ye Chen stands looking slightly puzzled, a female branch assassin raises her hand and says, Palace Master, this matter may be related to me. The masked female assassin nervously confesses, last night I took a private assassination job and didn't report it to Master Chen Zhanzhong. The scene transitions as the group gathers inside the Hong Kong branch of the Dark Palace to address the situation. The female assassin explains, I guess today's trouble was probably caused by the assassination mission I took on secretly last night. One of the branch members turns to her in anger, shouting, You evil person! Chen Zhanzhong stands up, furiously yelling, the entire branch was nearly destroyed because of you! Ye Chen steps in, grabbing Chen Zhanzhong's wrist to calm him down and saying, listen to what she says first, and the reason why you are in such a difficult situation is because of my negligence. Ye Chen reflects on the situation, realizing that because of his own negligence, the branch members had to take on private jobs to make a living, and that he must bear some of the responsibility. Ye Chen commands her to tell him the whole story, and the masked female assassin respectfully agrees to do so. The female assassin begins her explanation, stating that someone contacted her yesterday. She explains that she was hired to assassinate a Hong Kong dignitary, and when she carried out the mission at night, she saw the eldest son of the Li family discussing Jiangdao Mountain and a guardian with the target. Hearing the term, Ye Chen reacts with extreme surprise and repeats, Guardian? The female assassin confirms it is indeed the Guardian, but admits she knows very little about them, noting that what concerns her more is the Jiangdao Mountain they mentioned. She explains that Jiangdao Mountain is a sacred mountain in Hong Kong that no one dares to enter, and is considered the most mysterious and top place in the region. She reveals that even the prominent local families do not dare to speak of it, yet they mentioned it multiple times, suggesting they are secretly preparing something. Believing the Li family sought to wipe out the branch because of the assassination, the female assassin pulls out her dagger, declaring that since this happened because of her, she is willing to die as atonement. In a flash of light, Ye Chen moves his hand with lightning speed to stop her from taking her own life. With a swift flick of his fingers, Ye Chen easily disarms the female assassin, sending her dagger flying into the air. Holding the flying dagger on his finger, Ye Chen tells her that while she indeed made a mistake and deserves severe punishment, this time is different. Ye Chen explains that the key information she brought is enough to make up for her mistake, while silently reflecting that he was already looking for a clue on where to find the Guardians. Ye Chen extends his hand and conjures several glowing spiritual pills, instructing the injured branch members to take them to heal their wounds. A branch member watches in awe as the pills float into their hands, marveling that such a miraculous method could only be possessed by legendary immortals. Ye Chen advises them that this branch base is no longer safe, telling them to return to Luling Peak to apply for funds to establish a new one. After telling them that he will coordinate the funds in advance, the branch members express their deep gratitude, while Ye Chen resolves that his next destination is Jiangdao Mountain. Walking down a hotel interior corridor, Ye Chen reasons that if his guess is correct, the gathering place of the Guardians must be on Jiangdao Mountain. He notes that since he knows very little about Jiangdao Mountain, it would be foolish to rush in blindly. Ye Chen decides it would be best to meet with Bao Xinhe, who is also in Hong Kong, before heading out. As Ye Chen enters the hotel room, he thinks it would be even better if he could meet the ancestor of the Bao family, but suddenly notices a wet trail leading from the bathroom. Ye Chen's eyes widen as he hears the sound of running water from the shower and notices the wet footprints on the floor. Realizing that Wei Ying is currently taking a shower, Ye Chen decides it is best to step back and avoid any awkwardness. Stepping out of the bathroom with a satisfied smile, Wei Ying stretches and remarks on how wonderful the shower felt. However, as she walks into the living room, she spots Ye Chen and gasps in utter shock. Both of them freeze in complete silence, staring at each other with wide-eyed surprise. Panicking, Wei Ying covers herself and demands to know why he is back, urging him to quickly close the door so no passers-by see her in this state. Taken aback by her sudden panic, Ye Chen can only utter a confused, "Ah." Ye Chen quickly shuts the door behind him and stammers, trying to figure out what to do next. Shaking with embarrassment, Wei Ying blushes deeply and screams at him to turn around. In acute panic state, she decides that turning around is not enough, worrying that he might peek when she isn't looking, and hastily runs back toward the bathroom. With a loud slam of the bathroom door, Wei Ying retreats back inside, leaving a bewildered Ye Chen standing alone in the quiet room. Trying to ease the tension, Ye Chen awkwardly suggests that he will wait in another room while she takes her time to get ready. The bathroom door creaks open slightly, releasing a soft puff of warm steam into the room. Peeking out from behind the door, a blushing Wei Ying sheepishly mentions that her clothes are actually still in the living room. She nervously asks if he can help fetch her clothes, and a surprised Ye Chen spots her undergarments lying on the table and responds with a hesitant, "Oh." Picking up her pink bra, Ye Chen notices that it feels slightly warm with her residual body temperature. Mortified by the situation, Wei Ying blushes furiously and urges him to quickly throw her clothes over, groaning at how incredibly embarrassing this is. Nodding, Ye Chen swiftly tosses her underwear over to the cracked bathroom door. Wei Ying's eyes widen in surprise as she prepares to catch the incoming clothes tossed by Ye Chen. Snatching her undergarments and leaning back against the wall with a sigh, Wei Ying mutters to herself about how close that was. Suddenly, she stops in her tracks as another realization hits her, and she gasps in shock. She panics upon realizing she doesn't have her outer clothes with her, meaning she would have to walk out in just her underwear, which is far too embarrassing to ask him to help find. Determined to avoid further embarrassment, she resolutely decides she must think of a clever way out of this predicament. Meanwhile, as Ye Chen sits on the living room sofa, his phone begins to ring, and he notices the caller is Bao Xinhao. Ye Chen answers the call, and Bao Xinhe informs him that his ancestor wishes to meet at the Nine Dragons Tea House in 2 hours, which Ye Chen gladly accepts, unaware that Wei Ying is quietly sneaking out of the bathroom behind him. Ye Chen notices her out of the corner of his eye but decides to pretend he didn't see anything, while a smug Wei Ying silently celebrates her stealth, believing she successfully slipped into the bedroom to get dressed unnoticed. Her victory is short-lived, however, as her stomach suddenly lets out an incredibly loud growl, causing her to freeze in mortification. Hearing the loud rumble, Ye Chen turns around and plainly asks her if she is hungry. Completely overwhelmed by this fresh wave of embarrassment, Wei Ying blushes deep red, steam rising from her head as she cries out in frustration. Wei Ying squats down, hugging her knees in embarrassment, and simply utters, Ye Chen gets up and says, "There's a restaurant downstairs. Let's get dressed and go eat together." Wei Ying remains curled up, hugging her knees as she lets out an embarrassed, A serene, traditional estate is nestled high atop a forested mountain peak under a warm dusk sky. Inside the grand hall of the estate, an investigator kneels respectfully before an elder sitting in a gold and black traditional robe. The sitting elder holds his sheathed sword and asks, "How's your investigation going?" The kneeling investigator holds out a modern tablet and reports, "Senior Fang, the latest news about Ye Chen is stored in this tablet." Presenting the device forward, the investigator says, "Please take a look." Senior Fang looks away disdainfully and replies, "I don't like this kind of modern things. Just say it directly." The investigator sweatingly reports, "Yes, I said it. According to the latest news, Ye Chen left Beijing at noon and arrived in Hong Kong by private plane." Senior Fang sneers to himself, thinking, "You are such a good person, Ye Chen. I didn't go to Beijing to look for you, but you came to Hong Kong to die." Senior Fang inquires further, asking, is he accompanied by a master or an old man whose strength is difficult to tell, while reflecting on how Ye Chen could have possibly grown so strong in such a short time. A close-up shot focuses on a pair of legs standing firmly in black trousers and shoes. The investigator kneeling down continues his report. "I didn't see any masters or old men, but there was a beautiful girl with no martial arts background following him. Her identity is an intern teacher at Beijing Normal University." Senior Fang chuckles softly, amused by the report. "Beautiful girl? Haha." Senior Fang sneers, thinking, "I thought he was a rising star, but I didn't expect him to be just a lecher. Is this kind of stuff worthy of my attention?" Senior Fang orders his subordinate, "Go spread the word to all the forces in Hong Kong. Whoever can take down Ye Chen's head will be granted protection by Zhang Daoshan." The investigator is shocked by the gravity of the reward, thinking, Zhang Daoshan's protection? Zhang Daoshan is sacred and inviolable, and a single shelter is enough to protect any family from catastrophic disaster. Such a reward is only used to assassinate a kid? It will definitely set off the whole of Hong Kong. Bowing out quickly, the investigator replies, "I'll go right away." An apprentice standing nearby asks, "Master, Ye Chen has killed the guardian and my fellow apprentices. Can Hong Kong's power really deal with him? And do they really have the guts to offend Ye Chen?" Senior Fang leans back with a knowing smile and says, "Han Guang, you don't understand this." Senior Fang explains, "The capital is far away from Hong Kong, and the major families in Hong Kong pay little attention to him. They still don't know Ye Chen's record in the martial arts arena. Will they be afraid?" Senior Fang adds, "Besides, I didn't expect them to kill Ye Chen. I did this to see if they could force the master behind Ye Chen to take action so that I could respond. As for their life or death, it doesn't matter." Under a cloudy night sky, the beautifully illuminated traditional pavilion stands tall and quiet. Outside the sliding doors, Bao Xinhe gestures inside and says, "Mr. Ye, the ancestor, and one of his guardian friends are drinking tea inside. Please come in and talk." Ye Chen responds calmly, okay, as Wei Ying stands beside him. Ye Chen and Wei Ying enter the elegant traditional tea room where two elders are seated at a wooden table. Bao Peimin, the ancestor of the Bao family, welcomes them warmly, saying, "Oh, the distinguished guest is here." The skeptical elder sitting beside him, sipping his tea, remarks, "I just don't know if this distinguished guest is qualified." The skeptical elder suddenly unleashes a powerful blast of blue spiritual pressure across the room, demanding to sit at a table with us. Standing firm, Ye Chen lets out a cold, unimpressed "humph." Ye Chen counters with his own colossal surge of red spiritual energy, clashing against and completely neutralizing the blue pressure. Both elders look on in absolute shock and sweat as their test is effortlessly broken. Pleased by the display, the skeptical elder laughs heartily and says, "He is so strong at such a young age. It is true that heroes emerge from youth. Ye Chen, please sit down." Ye Chen calmly sits down at the table and says, "Okay." The skeptical elder looks at Wei Ying and rudely commands, "You guys, please get out." Ye Chen immediately defends her, telling Wei Ying to sit and declaring, "She is my important friend, not just a random person." Irritated by his boldness, the skeptical elder thinks to himself, "I've heard that Ye Chen is extremely arrogant, and I thought it was an exaggeration, but I never thought it was true. He doesn't even care about the attitude of us guardians." Bao Peimin steps in to diffuse the tension, saying, "Old Wan, everyone who comes is a guest. This girl seems to be very important to Ye Chen. She is not an outsider." Bao Xinhe speaks up, addressing his ancestor. "Ancestor, this time you asked Ye Chen to come here. It shouldn't be just for tea." Bao Peimin takes a sip of his tea and begins, "During this period of time, I have fully understood the matter of the Beijing martial arts arena. Although the conflict was not provoked by you, you were too ruthless. Even severely injuring Tu Yuantian would have been acceptable, but you absolutely shouldn't have killed him, let alone slain Fang Zhenye's disciple." Bao Peimin explains the dire situation. Now Fang Zhenye has named you and wants to judge you at the trial meeting, and there are only 19 guardians left, which means it is impossible to tie to votes. Even most of the guardians intend to target you even if they know the whole story, and the situation is extremely unfavorable to you. Bao Peimin adds honestly, "If it weren't for your close relationship with Shenhe, I might have wavered." Ye Chen calmly asks, "I'm curious, with Fang Zhenye's strength, why didn't he kill me directly, but instead held a trial meeting? Why all this trouble?" Bao Peimin directly replies, "Because he was afraid." Bao Peimin explains, "Ye Chen, you disappeared for 5 years without a trace. All the guardians believe that you are not as simple as you appear. Fang Zhenye is not worried about you, but the masters or sects behind you." Bao Peimin continues, "If he takes action himself, it is very likely to attract revenge from the master behind you. But if holding a trial meeting means holding all guardians accountable, then even if they want to retaliate, they will have to consider whether they can fight against all guardians at the same time." Bao Peimin advises, "The best thing for you to do right now is to make everything public and tell the world who is the powerful guardian behind you. This is enough to make Fang Zhenye back down and bring this matter to a happy end." Old Wan observes silently, thinking, "This old guy won't show kindness to Ye Chen just because of Bao Xinhe. What he values is the master behind Ye Chen. If he could show his favor to that expert through Ye Chen, and the expert gave him some pointers in return, it would be of great benefit to his martial arts. Of course, I was thinking the same thing." Ye Chen raises his hand and firmly states, "You seem to have misunderstood something." The two elders, Old Wan and Bao Peimin, stare in complete shock and disbelief after their spiritual pressure test is effortlessly shattered. Ye Chen raises his hand dismissively and says, "Sorry, I'm really alone. I don't have any powerful influence." The revelation leaves both elders completely stunned, and they gasp in utter shock. Pointing an accusing finger, the skeptical elder exclaims, "No! What a joke! How could you possibly acquire such strength in just 5 years? Ye Chen, you have to understand, we are saving you." The skeptical elder glares at Ye Chen with irritation, thinking to himself that this foolish kid really doesn't know how to live or die if he dares to lie to a guardian. Unbothered, Ye Chen leans back and remarks, "This is the fact, believe it or not. If I were to say that there are 100 powerful men standing behind me, would you believe it?" Ye Chen reflects on his mysterious master, thinking that the old man who taught him medicine in Kunlun Shu prefers quietness and absolutely hates being disturbed. Ye Chen resolves not to reveal his master's identity, knowing Chen Tianli, the myriad sword master, should be returning soon. He remains unfazed by the upcoming trial because the shaking tombstones in the Samsara cemetery can be activated with just a bit more effort. Glaring forward with determination, Ye Chen declares, "Even if the guardians really want to kill me, it won't be that easy."
Bao Peimin sighs and thinks to himself that everyone has their own secrets, deciding it's better not to pry and instead offer to announce to the world that there is a powerful force backing Ye Chen to confuse his enemies. Bao Peimin promises to vote against the trial meeting as a way to help, before waving his hand and instructing Xin He to see their guests out. Ye Chen tells Wei Ying, "Let's go," and they turn to leave the tea room together. Suddenly, an investigator bursts into the room in a panic, reporting that Senior Feng Zhenye has issued a grand order offering Zhang Daoshan's sacred protection to any major Hong Kong family that can bring him Ye Chen's head. Bao Peimin warns Ye Chen that he has now become the prime target for all major families in Hong Kong, offering his assistance once more if Ye Chen is willing to share his secrets. Dismissing the warning, Ye Chen firmly replies, "No need, let's go," as he grabs Wei Ying's hand and walks away. Watching them leave, Old Wan sneers and tells Bao Peimin that the ungrateful brat deserves what's coming, suggesting it will be highly entertaining to watch Feng Zhenye execute him. Bao Peimin remains supportive of Ye Chen and immediately commands Bao Xinhe to keep a close eye on him and report back if he falls into any danger. Bowing respectfully as he exits the room, Bao Xinhe replies, "Yes, ancestor." Old Wan questions Bao Peimin's decision, criticizing him for wanting to protect someone who refuses to be honest, warning that it will bring him no benefits. Bao Peimin disagrees, explaining that Ye Chen's complete lack of fear in front of two guardians proves he is either a fool or exceptionally confident, and since he is still alive, he must be the latter. Bao Peimin adds that despite being guardians, there are far stronger beings out there, and he would rather take a massive gamble on Ye Chen to potentially reach a higher level of martial arts. Sipping his tea, Old Wan secretly mocks Bao Peimin, wondering if the old man has gone senile and blind to the reality that Ye Chen won't survive for many more days. Outside the estate under the night sky, a sleek luxury car pulls up and Ye Chen waves it down like a taxi. After boarding the vehicle, Ye Chen tells the driver, "Driver, go to the Rickerton Hotel," to which the driver politely replies, "Yes." The luxury car drives off, speeding down the road into the night. Looking out the window, Wei Ying grows anxious and asks, "Ye Chen, why do I feel like this road is different from the way we came here?" Wei Ying shakes Ye Chen's arm, warning him not to fall asleep because the eerie silence on the road suggests something is terribly wrong. A close-up shot reveals the driver smiling maliciously behind his glasses, harboring a sinister secret. Terrified by the complete lack of surroundings, Wei Ying panics and asks Ye Chen what they should do since they've been taken to a completely deserted suburb. Ye Chen opens his eyes with a knowing, fearless gaze and calmly answers, "Certainly." He explains to Wei Ying that only sparsely populated areas are suitable for committing a murder, sending a shiver of fear through her. The driver smiles mockingly as he slams on the brakes, screeching the car to a halt in a dark forest. A group of smiling, robed martial artists surrounds the vehicle, laughing at how easy it was to trap Ye Chen due to his foolishness in riding in the car. Dozens of armed fighters surround the headlights of the car, eagerly wondering if taking Ye Chen's head will truly buy them the legendary protection of Zhang Daoshan. The driver turns back with a smug grin, mocking Ye Chen for staying in the car despite knowing it is a dead end, to which Ye Chen calmly suggests they get out. The treacherous driver opens his door and steps out of the car. Opening the rear door, Ye Chen calmly tells Wei Ying, "Wei Ying, please stay in the car and play with your phone for a while. I'll be back in a short video." Clinging to her seat, Wei Ying frantically asks what he is doing and wonders if she should call the police since they are vastly outnumbered. Ye Chen steps out of the luxury vehicle and firmly shuts the door behind him. Placing his hand on the car, Ye Chen instantly activates a brilliant, glowing golden defensive barrier around it, while a worried Wei Ying presses against the window, screaming at him to be careful. The attackers are stunned by the effortless creation of a defensive barrier, but reassure themselves that arranging a formation doesn't mean he can fight against their overwhelming numbers. Leading the charge, a command echoes out to launch the assault, "Attack." The martial artists charge forward, with Hu Heng yelling out to avoid destroying Ye Chen's head since it is valuable, dreaming of using the reward to surpass the Li family and claim the top spot. Standing his ground as golden lightning crackles violently around his hands, Ye Chen mocks them, "You rubbish, you want to take my life?" Raising his hands as lightning swirls around his arms, Ye Chen unleashes his power. Thunder Talisman, Thunderbolt induced. The sky darkens as massive crackling bolts of golden electricity surge down, forming a towering storm of energy around Ye Chen. The charging martial artists suddenly freeze in terror as dark clouds block the sky and deafening thunder rumbles, realizing they are facing a terrifying thundercloud. Slamming both of his hands toward the ground with immense force, Ye Chen commands, "Fall." A catastrophic torrent of golden lightning crashes down from the sky, instantly engulfing the battlefield in a devastating wave of electricity. The explosive blast of lightning completely obliterates the charging forces, leaving the remaining attackers paralyzed in absolute terror. As the devastating golden lightning rains down, the panicked martial artists scream in agony, desperately shouting to one another to run and escape. Ye Chen mockingly asks if they really believe they can outrun thunder, while a terrified leader screams that he is from the Chu family and warns of retaliation before being engulfed by the deadly blast.
Peeking from behind the trees, the shocked survivors tremble in absolute disbelief, wondering if they are dreaming as so many powerful men are wiped out in the blink of an eye.
Surveying the scorched ground littered with smoking bodies and residual electricity, a horrified onlooker realizes in terror that everyone has been killed.
Standing silently in the aftermath, Ye Chen looks on with a cold, menacing glare, his eyes glowing red with formidable power as golden lightning continues to crackle around him.